Nothing amazing happens here. Everything is ordinary.
Give it all, give me love, give me time. To the side, to the side, to the side. If you're looking to stay, guess it could be okay. I could push those feelings to the side. To the side, to the side. To the side, to the side, to the side. To the side, to the side. To the side, to the side. Okay, Selena, okay, Mariah. It's just the three of us, no need to fight. Don't really dream much, go spend the night at in Serena. Let's make it fly. Hit me up tomorrow, maybe we can repeat today. I'm cool with whatever, baby, I'm with you either way.
Sunny Vega.
I've been thinking of my problems, but a lot of your face. There's some things that I'm beside of, but I gotta embrace. You get high, I get high, let's find things to do. I can put it off till later if you need me to. Give you time to decide what it means to you. I'm okay with the delay if I can cling to you. If my mind goes numb, wish I wasn't terrified. We could die so young, I'm so fucking scared to try. It's enough to make you wonder, where do we go when we die? Why would I not flirt with death if it hurts me more to survive? Hold my hand, she moves her hips, I point my face up to the sky. We both dance, we move our lips and sing the songs of suicide. I might lie, my gun, I'm a perfect pair of eyes. And the timeline runs, so their legs are paralyzed. Pay attention to my movements, I alluding to your feet. Keep my guard up, you see through it, you came through with the receipts. What happens to your excuses? Give me two of them at least. Before I jump to conclusions, I need new shit to critique. And my balance to the side. I can push them further if you need me to provide.
You're what's good, everybody? Young Nemo, thank you for the 46 months. Slum, thank you for the 33. Greatly appreciate that. Welcome back to the Asakura clan. How y'all doing? I feel like it's been a couple of days since I streamed. No Kami, I wish. I don't know where Kami's at, but I wish that dude well. Hope he comes back one day. I mean, I kind of know where he's at, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's been focused, sucked off, doing his own shit, focused on school and shit. So, you know, wish your homie the best, and I hope to see him again soon. Okay, what I don't need to happen right now is my fucking stream to start exploding, because my stream almost guaranteed fucks up when I have a big plan and something that's like happening. Right now, I see we are dropping a lot of frames. It's gonna be a YouTube video, yeah, probably eventually. Who's gonna be in this roundtable? So right now we got Daniel, Inzim, Jake, Ryan, Pred, myself, Raptor, Syriac, Sehan, Wade, and Zane. And I'm not sure, the invitation has been extended to a couple others, so more people might pull up, but that's what we got so far in the call, so I'm about to unmute.
Everything is ordinary.
Yo, Pred, thank you for the 36 months, by the way. 3 years, damn. Welcome back, homie, welcome back. Anywho, I guess I could just jump right into it. Oh, I see that in the Discord call, I can also tell them about to be lagging. Fuck, why is this every time without fail, every time I try to organize like a special stream or do something, my stream and computer always like, hey yo, what if we just fucking stopped working for no reason despite always working when it doesn't matter? Would fall asleep this roundtable like last time? I don't think so. Maybe, but I don't think so. Do I need to restart? Okay, no, it looks like everything's stabilized. Bet. All right, so check. Yeah, this is the little call we got going on here. So I'm gonna go ahead, jump in.
You trying to help us be racist?
Right
Is that
now.
what you trying to help us with?
Whoa, who's
God damn.
He's
racist?
unmuted now. He's unmuted now. Okay.
What a sentence to come into with no context.
As-
Hi Lotus, how are you doing, man?
Hey guys, how's it going, man?
G'day. How you doing, chat?
Yo, yeah, what's good, bro?
So yeah,
Absolutely not.
chat to my stream. I don't know how many of you guys are live. I know Daniel's probably
Everyone
still live,
forgot the
right?
bit.
Lotus, we don't talk about what I was streaming about, all right?
Guys,
Uh,
I forgot the bit. Wait.
Everything is
My
Oh
first
yeah.
England 26.
Well, we got jump scared by Lotus suddenly being there. We weren't prepared. We were too busy talking about.
We
Racism,
Oh,
apparently.
You guys complaining about this patch with those reactions?
Yeah, I bet. But yeah, so chat, as you can see right now, we got Daniel, Enzim, Jake, Ryan, Pred, myself, Raptor, Dion, or as many of you know him, Syriax, Sehan, Wade, who will actually be awake this time, and Zane. We might have a couple more heads pulling up. Like I think Nitro's supposed to be here soon. The Kill Sage might pop out. Who knows? You never know with him because he just be randomly showing up when you least expect. And yeah, I'm gonna have my alerts turned off for this, I think. And I see a bunch of you guys asking. I will put this on YouTube. I don't know if it's gonna be like in parts or if it's gonna be edited or just like straight up re-uploaded, or I'm gonna do it. And I don't know when I will do it, but it will be on the channel at some point. So if you do miss it, you can catch it there.
Make sure to subscribe if you're watching and hit the like button.
I haven't hit the
And
like
hit the
button
bell
yet.
notification. Never miss a video.
As soon as you say that, it shows up.
I'm late.
Yeah, it was.
I was late.
You know, we run on
don't
nigga
worry,
standard
Lotus was
time.
late.
Yo.
I wasn't late. I was here.
Wait,
I just,
before
you
we
know.
start, can we remove Daniel from the car, please?
What did I do?
Please,
definitely have him muted.
please remove him from the call.
I honestly, I invited him earlier today, and I almost didn't. I really wanted to retract my offer. I'm not gonna hold you,
I actually couldn't believe what I witnessed this morning.
son. I jumped in this nigga's stream, and I was like, yo, Dan, you trying to pull up the
Yes. Same.
This nigga T-heed at me, bro.
What?
I didn't open Daniel's stream today expecting to get T-heed at.
Yeah, that was.
Look, bro, it was part of the
absolutely
subathon. Let me rock.
Yeah. Go ahead, explain yourself, nigga.
Like so we hit the subathon, right? It was a sub goal, and it happened. And one of the sub goals was to be a VTuber. So I'd embrace my inner truth. You feel me?
Yo, inner
my inner
truth. Oh,
self.
so you've been waiting to do this for a while.
I've been waiting.
Daniel, I got sent a message saying, check out Daniel's stream right now. I turn it on and I'm like, why in the world did you think I would want to see this?
Bro.
That
So
nigga
you
would
have
have,
to-
a nigga
he
pull
was
it up.
powerful?
A nigga pull it up to my stream to tell me to go look at Daniel's stream, but I had to get shot.
Yeah, 100%.
I literally
100%.
pop open Discord and they're like,
I did consider it.
"Daniel's stream is unhinged," and I'm like, what happened? And then I look and I'm like, I don't want to go on Twitter anymore today.
Twitter, Twitch, literally anything that he might be on.
Dude, your chat was the worst part. They were loving it.
That's the best part.
Your chat. Your
Best,
chat.
worst.
Your chat
Then this nigga has a
feeds-
redemption that's called Jump. Like, okay.
Your chat feeds Jesus. No, jump is for more.
Now a
Jump is
couple
for
people on my
more.
chat were asking for it. I'm just like, oh god, what did you cause?
Jump is for the marble shirt.
Yeah,
It's
jump is for
different.
marble.
Oh, the marbles. Is that what the kids are calling them these
Yeah,
days?
Yup, mhm.
But good.
Oh,
I could beat
God.
the allegations. Trust.
I don't think you can, my nigga. I'm looking.
Dude,
for that.
you're done,
Like-
man. This is it.
Just
It's
don't show my
over.
kids in 10 years, bro. Please.
I will, bro, personally.
Everyone's gonna have this pinned ready to show anyone you meet
They're
from
gonna
this
set
point
the 10-year
onwards.
timer.
Bro, you about to get dis you for the next 5 years, minimum.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah, I know it's over. If I ever go famous, it's over, gang. It is what it is.
All
If
right.
you go famous, it's going to be over that.
Yeah, like that's the only way.
This how you want your legacy to be remembered, bro?
Honestly,
Hey,
it's
man.
not like Daniel had much to offer it, to be honest.
Damn,
Let
it's
me
like,
rock, yo.
damn.
You coming up about life. Nacho, when you gonna VTuber up?
I'm not, because I have a brain.
Oh shit.
God damn.
Hey, man. If you see me writing people's names on my body, gang, just know I'm making it back for real.
Seek Jesus.
Nitro's brain just says activate 18 barrier, call 17 barrier.
My God.
My goodness.
Jeez, covered up my whole livelihood right now. Come on, I don't think I deserve
Transition.
that one.
Lotus, let's get this fighters discussion going, bro.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and hit this record button real quick.
And ask
Wait.
me why it deserves the buff.
Oh,
that I
what
said.
did
now,
Syriax get here? What?
Slow it
He's
down.
Yeah, what? Yo, hold on. Let me look at these names real quick because I'm confused. Why is Seihan? He sucks.
Yo, that's crazy. That is a respected member of this community.
Speaking of which,
I'm sorry,
You know, that's the one
Seihan.
champion you're
You were the
talking to.
first name that I saw. You were the first name I saw.
I
might
mean,
not know any
I'm the
areas.
current wanted champ, so and I've beaten all of the current top players,
They I beat you.
including, huh?
Did I beat you?
No, you did. You're
Ah.
misremembering things.
I don't know. I definitely beat him.
I don't know. The nigga getting delusional.
Oh yeah, you
you
did
see what a
beat me in the
path
first
is?
fight, yeah.
He's my own.
Anyway.
he's my
Say,
own
Han, you should have admitted to it.
I'm gonna just go ahead. We're gonna get this kicked
Wait.
off.
Let me start my stream first.
Nigga, hurry up.
Oh, brother.
Don't rush me. What?
This guy's
I just got here.
He shows up late. Lotus is ready.
Who
did
fault
the
is
intro,
that?
And he's like,
Who fault is that? You
also
just got
showed
here.
up late. What?
No, I did not. I was here.
Lotus showed up late to his own show.
That's cap.
If
I was the first nigga in call. What you mean?
He's capping. Guys, he's capping, right? He's lying.
Chat, by the way, we're not. Hello.
he's talking to us like
I'm
the
sorry.
panel, like we're chat. That's
I-
crazy.
Not your teehee while you can, gang.
I hate you.
Everyone, can you mute deafen him? Get him out of here. Eject him.
All right, guys, hold up. Gotta take this bathroom break.
oh my god, no, you can't, bro.
5 seconds in. No bathroom break.
All right.
5
Take your
years
listen,
later.
ass.
We're a whole like 10 minutes into the
Yo,
stream.
what season
when we
is it?
should
Like,
be talking
it's
about
season
hitbox.
5?
Realistically.
I don't know. We're on like season
Come on,
9.
Lotus. Start.
Anyway.
Wait, I'm starting my stream.
It's a normal.
Yeah.
Let him cook. Let him cook.
This is why you can't take niggas nowhere.
Yeah,
Oh, look at this show.
Go ahead,
What's
Lotus. Go
good?
ahead, Lotus.
Oh,
Sage?
shit. Yo,
The
what's
stream's
good,
up. The
Sage?
stream's up. The stream's up.
Lotus is starting his intro. Go ahead.
What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lotus. Shut the fuck up, nigga. What's I'm Lotus. I'm the one who never knows best. And yeah, I don't know in what form or fashion you're seeing this on the YouTube channel, but as you can see, I'm here in a Discord call right now, joined by several other members from the Dragon Ball FighterZ community. Most of which, and all of which, I would say are players who are you should know, love, and respect. And I guess just going in order for who we got here. We got Daniel, the kill. Shut up. The Kill Sage, Inzum, Jake Ryan,
Sage
Fred,
is here?
myself. Sage is in fact here.
When did he get
Just now.
When? Bro, when?
Oh,
Bro, I promise you, I don't understand how you ever became a top player with these types of reactions, bro. I just
bro,
don't.
Sage literally just got here. Don't even talk to me. He literally popped in the
Anywho.
intro.
Nitro's
we
literally
got
gone.
Nitro, who's got the reactions of a dead cat somehow. Raptor, Syrax, Seihan, Wade, and Zane. And we may or may not have a couple other people pop in as this goes. Oh, Sage died.
And he's gone.
And he's gone.
And he's gone.
But yeah,
guy
honestly can't blame him.
I gathered everyone here today because I wanted to get as many players as I could to discuss the most recent and potentially, as far as we're aware, final patch for the game in the current state of Dragon Ball FighterZ. Obviously, I've got a collection of a lot of different players here, not only just from around the country, but from around the world. So we got a bunch of different perspectives. I think a lot of them will be similar, but I think that a couple of them will differ here. So I think it'll make for a fun and interesting discussion. So I'm live on the Twitch channel right now, twitch.tv/Lotus. Links, Lotus description down below. And some of these guys are live as well. Links to everyone and names will be on screen and in the description and stuff like that, where you can check people out, follow them, all that good stuff. And yeah, however this makes it onto the channel, it does. And hopefully y'all enjoyed it if you weren't here for it live. And with that being said, fellas, how we feeling about the patch?
I feel like calling it the last patch is just like cursing it to get an even more cursed patch in the future. Because we're on the final patch for real for like the 4th time now.
Yeah, they definitely made us believe that the final patch was going to be a couple patches ago, and they were like, "But wait, we could fuck this up more."
And
We made it.
I know a lot of you guys are professionals. You're gonna get mad, but the patch is kind of it. It kind of
Honestly,
so that's one of the reasons why. I mean, obviously you the homie anyway, but a big reason why I wanted you in particular to be here, and I invited Dotto as well, but he's got some stuff going on right now, so he unfortunately couldn't be here today. Because I know that you actually enjoy the patch and think more positively of it than I think some of us, and especially myself, do. And so I wanted some more positive perspectives on it as well, because I know that you're having fun with it. I mean, the combos are crazy. Your characters got buffed, well, aside from him getting nerfed with the meter game thing a little bit ago. But Yes, actually, Dan, I'm very curious to hear. Let's actually start it off with somebody who's got more of a positive perspective, and then we could probably go down the line.
I have a positive perspective, actually.
More organized.
Honestly, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start.
No, you're not. You gonna sit your ass there. You gonna sit your ass right there.
This is very important.
This
is very important. This is very important.
All right, what you got to say?
I'm gonna say some stupid shit.
John F.
Inbound.
Kennedy is in my lobby right now.
I knew it.
Oh my
This
god.
is literally the best patch.
Anyway, Dion, I'm very curious to hear what you have to say in regards to the patch and the current state of Dragon Ball FighterZ.
So when I was first playing it, I was like, this shit is so stupid. It's so dumb. Like everything I did, I was like, damn, this is so dumb. And then an hour passes and I'm just like, wow, this is so dumb. Haha. And then 2 hours pass. I'm like, dang, this is just so stupid. Next thing you know, I'm having the time of my life. It's like 4 hours. I'm like, damn, this patch kind of it. Like I didn't even notice all this time passing. I'm having fun. Like all the characters are crazy. I get it. It is chaotic. Like let me preface this by saying, if I was a professional player and had to like take this shit more seriously, then I'd be like, okay, this is kind of annoying. This is kind of like jank. Like all this random shit can happen. But like as a video game, this shit is like mad fun right now. Every character as an anchor can go crazy. And the linking the level 1s into the level 3s was like a really cool addition to me. Overall, and yes, all my characters did get buffed as well, but no bias. But yeah, I mean, I think the patch is kind of it. Every character is viable. I feel like we're getting as much character diversity now, like more so than we ever have in the past. It's not just like Fusion's Android 21. Like when I queue in, it could be really anybody. I'm hearing myself twice, by the way.
Yeah, I was letting you finish, but I think it's coming from Enzum. He's got an echo over there.
Is that mine? Oh, my fault. Hold on.
Yeah.
I actually agree with him a lot on that, because like initially I thought this patch was just for like as a competitive player, I thought it was completely garbage. But like the more I played the game, I'm like, you know what, this is actually pretty good. The fact that you can play a lot of your old teams that are viable now, like even characters like before that weren't really good, they're good now. So your season 2 teams are playable. Your season 1 team, season 3, whatever. I think this is probably the most fun the game's gonna be since season 3, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. I also feel like I'm sorry, mine's just like a short comment. That's like I feel like if there is any like IP for shit to just be like crazy and constantly like happening all the time, is probably Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Like a way to put the patch is they have made the game more Dragon Ball.
More
like characters, like the level one, like
that
the
is a
level ones
sentiment
into
that I've
level threes.
seen a lot in my comments on YouTube. Is that people are like, "Oh, the game feels more like
Yeah,
Dragon Ball than ever before."
Yeah.
For the casual players as well, it's a lot more fun.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not a competitive player, you're probably having the time of your life.
So,
I think the best for content.
To add on to that, like
I agree.
When I'm streaming, I actually noticed. I said it in my stream like a couple of days ago. I was like, yeah, this is very fun on stream. I couldn't imagine having to compete with this, but to like play just on
you
a
ain't
very
gonna have to
casual...
imagine it for very long, Bucko.
The duality of man.
It's perfect that you said that, Lotus. If I hit 100 subs, I'm at 35 right now. If I hit 100 subs, I will be going to see Otaku and play Dragon Ball. Thank you for mentioning that, Lotus. I can't believe you said that for me.
Did this nigga just ask for subs on my stream?
Yep, because you want to be a smartass, right? You want to be a smartass. Anyways,
this nigga don't know. I will kick him from this call right now.
Anyways,
go ahead, secure the bag, dog. I'm trying to see continue to play.
But my experience, like just playing casually, just chilling, just in my boxers, just playing TN. I'm just like,
why do we need to know that part? What made you go with that verse?
It's a figure
very
of
necessary
speech.
detail.
It is a figure of
attire.
Does it sound like that to me? I'm not gonna lie.
Nitro just adding to the list of reasons why he might get kicked out sometime.
No, should we invite Nitro to the call?
I just look.
He did
You won't got you much room to talk, Mr. T. Okay. So you guys are here on YouTube are gonna be missing some context, but that's a dangerous, vile person up there above me.
That bot is deleted.
You should have saw when he was a cat.
He was a what anyway?
Wait, hold on. I do want to hear everyone's like in-depth thoughts.
Yeah.
But like, can we get I don't know, a yes I like it or a no I don't like it? Just like
you just
really
want to
quick,
go down the line one at a
numbers
time.
are. Yeah, like overall, what's the majority like consensus here?
All right, let's start with Daniel, and then we'll just go down the line. Daniel, do you like the patch?
Yeah, I think it's good right now.
Enzim, do you like the patch?
Yeah.
Jake Ryan, do you like the patch?
It's growing on me.
Okay. Fred?
I only like it because the team gone.
Go figure. I don't. I don't like it personally, but that's just me. Nitro?
I like it very casually. I don't think I would like it competitively.
Raptor?
I like it casually as well, but I'm curious to see how it actually does turn out competitively.
Dion?
I think it's better for the overall health of the game in terms of the majority of people who are just like at the store picking up video games, like people who are competing. I understand where you're coming from, but that was a very long-winded yes. I like it.
Seihan?
It's better than the previous patch, but I still think overall it's not really growing on me.
For sure. Wade?
Okay, since the next tournament.
Zane?
Not a big fan of it, and I despise the idea of competing on it.
Gotcha. So, okay, I'm actually really happy to say this because we got a pretty good mix now of people who are like not feeling it, people who are feeling it, and then several of you are like, I mean, it's fun while I'm playing it on stream, but I ain't looking forward to playing this at tournaments.
Yeah,
And
that's kind of how all the competitive players feel.
Yeah.
Same.
And so my next question to you guys then is, do you guys feel like the patch was a success? And I ask this because it seems very obvious to me, and maybe obvious to a lot of you guys, that they are not worrying about the people who are playing in these tournaments. I mean, it's not that they're not taking it into account at all, but their focus definitely seems to be the more casual audience, and people who are still new and picking up the game, or people who are new to fighting games, or people who are more people who care more about the IP of Dragon Ball and playing as Goku compared to playing the game competitively. So from that perspective, do you guys think this patch was a success, and do you agree with the fact that that's what they're trying to do?
I would love to chime in on this and give it like a little bit more of an in-depth answer, because from a commentator's perspective, right, it's supposed to be exciting, flashy for the general audience. Like most of the time in Twitch chat, you're going to have a ton of lurkers, ton of people chatting, and they just want to see Goku do some crazy shit, right? That's what they want to see. They want to see somebody in Dragon Ball like connect to Kamehameha from full screen and then go in, or like before it was like you just vanish. But now it has that kind of impact, because anytime you've watched Dragon Ball, if somebody gets hit by a final flash or anything like that, they are getting absolutely blasted. You should be able to follow up after that. Like exactly what Cooler's 3H in the movie, for example. He goes straight through Goku's beam and then just starts delivering the hands. And I feel like that's where most of the combos have really like gone to. It's just these characters get to show how powerful they are. And it's nice from a commentary perspective because you get to pop off and go through it. But as a competitive player, it really turned me off from it. So like the casual base, absolutely making content for this is like booming. You could just show some of the craziest stuff. It doesn't even have to be a 7-bar TOD anymore. Like you can TOD off of like all these different situations, and the thumbnails make themselves. So I think content wise, it's wonderful. For the casual audience, it's great. And for what Bandai, I think, was trying to achieve, yes, they got there, but the competitive scene piece of it definitely got hurt. The execution piece of the conversation really got lessened. You can do baby's first combo with pretty much every single character, getting solo DRs in situations with Teen Gohan looking at you, Pred, and it's just creating these crazy wild situations where it's like, wow, you know, this character had to give this up to get this situation. Nope, everybody gets everything. And then the bad part is Goku. Yeah, the bad part is there's still some stragglers. Like there are still some characters that need that love. And like as a competitive player, I'm happy I'm a commentator. That's where I'm at.
You had a good run, Jake.
I just want to say one thing real fast though. Lotus, I'm going to go against you a little bit for a second there. I literally do not think for a second that they considered the competitive side of this game at all when they made this patch.
You don't think so?
Yeah, I was going to say.
I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt and say they didn't completely disregard it, but I'd be lying to you if I said it doesn't feel that way.
I'm not even going to give them the benefit of the doubt with some of the stuff they did on this patch.
I'm not going to debate you on that because it's not like I struggled to agree. Like it's just. And that's another thing with me and this game and with Bandai and Arc System. Whoever has the call, the most pull, calling the shots is that like I want to love the game so bad. I'm always giving them the benefit of the doubt. I'm always trying to be optimistic first, but I've just been hurt so much that it's like sometimes I can't help but to be like Mr. Gloom and Doom. But it's like, bro, I've been playing this game for 5.5 years and being one of its biggest supporters and content creators and pushing it and supporting it and doing everything that I can because I love that game so much. So
I think it's good and bad for the competitive scene. Now hear me out. Like I know for the competitive players, yeah, it's ass. Like, damn, I feel for y'all. But,
So where's the good part?
But
No sugarcoating it.
For the people watching, I guess.
No, for real. Like, think about it. Like, what they're trying to do, they're promoting these competitive events for a reason. They want like a wide audience to like watch this and enjoy it. And like Jake said, as a commentator, it's super hype and all this. So it's weird because it's like at the expense of the competitive player, the competitive scene can potentially thrive more because of the fact that there's a bigger audience and like, you know, people are super hyped. Like, think about all the crazy moments that are gonna, like, you know, clips that are gonna spawn from this patch when the next big major event happens. Like all the crazy you know, limit break character comebacks and hype shit like that. So again, it's weird. It's at the expense of the competitive player, but I feel like the competitive scene in a way gets like uplifted.
I see what you're saying. That's
So,
just so
sanity
fucked
is being
up.
traded for abuse.
But we're literally going to have that happen for a single tournament. Then everyone's going to freak out about it. Everyone who watches going to freak out about it. And then every single player who played in it that had happened to all gonna be like, I'm not doing that again. I'm just gonna go watch.
That's
Nah, but
my
to be honest,
fear.
that makes-
Is
that makes-
people.
that makes-
Unless you're France and
That makes a lot of
masochists.
sense though, because like the fact that this patch is so good for the casual base is gonna bring more players into the game. So naturally, the
Exactly.
competitive
More
scene is
casual
going to
players will be
thrive.
interested in the
So
competitive
instead
side.
of the 50 entries, the 100 entries we got out of major or whatever, we're gonna have even more players. Yeah, there'll be more casual to be weaker in terms of strength and terms of skill level, but we have overall more players because
Lotus, I
think
got
about everybody who came back to the game saying, "Oh my god, I could do level 1 to level 3," and they're like, "Wow, I want to play this game now."
Yeah,
right.
that's the
Lotus,
problem.
I got a perfect analogy or metaphor, whatever the word is for this.
For sure. Go on.
You know how like in the 90s basketball, like they all, or maybe even the 80s, they all like dribbled it like right below their hands, no crazy crossovers and shit like that. But like by the book, that's how you're supposed to play. Otherwise, it's a carry, whatever. So it got way more interesting when AI
showed it was like, hey, but peep this stuff.
Exactly. So I think it's a similar concept where like you can do all this crazy shit and you know you're gonna have like the people, like I'm gonna say it, season 2, I think Lotus, you said that was your favorite season.
The very beginning
As
of
a
season
viewer,
2, yeah,
as a
is
casual viewer, like I was even more casual, like I'm still casual, but I was even more casual back then. As a viewer, just watching Snap Meta was the driest, boringest.
Okay. No, I feel you on that, but I have to say this, right? So the reason why I say season 2 is my favorite, honestly, season 1 has a good argument as well. Not because of necessarily I feel like that was the peak of the game, but just because that's when the game first came out. It was the most hype. We were the biggest game at every event, and that shit was fucking nuts. And I just loved watching every tournament. But in season 2,
still like the biggest Evo finals viewing, isn't it?
I could not say, but I know that
Dragon Ball Fighters.
It was like
it was the highest viewed for Dragon Ball Fighters that season.
Oh yeah, for Dragon Ball. Yeah.
It was like
definitely the
160k or something absolutely absurd.
And that's great.
Of the game. Like, like
and
it's a 5-year-old
IP
game now.
Yeah, but all I want to say is that when season 2 first came out, I feel like myself and a lot of other players as well, we were like, yo, the game just like they really stepped it up another notch, and it felt like it had been refined a lot. And some of the things that we didn't like were improved. And obviously the game was still flawed, and we still don't have rollback to this day. And there was a lot of other things. But at the beginning of season 2, Snap was a mechanic that we were definitely using, but it wasn't as refined as it got later. I always say that season 2 before GT Goku released, because by the time GT Goku comes out, for one, we were on that patch for the entirety of the year, and GT Goku was very obviously the strongest character in the game, and he ended up being on basically every single team, and he was the first character that got introduced where we started to discuss real should this character be banned discourse.
Those were the worst days.
You kind of heard some rumblings about it with Bardock, but that never really went anywhere. But with GT Goku, really heard that, and then obviously Snap was already a thing, but then Universal Fuzzy was introduced.
Yeah,
and then
Universal Fuzzy.
Which is why I'm so sad Sage isn't here, that we can't ask him what it was like getting triple fuzzied with Z Broly.
Sage and Femich are also my examples as to why like it was obviously prevalent and it was an issue, but it's not like, oh, these characters are completely unplayable and completely unviable because Femich and Sage were winning tournaments and top 8ing at every event despite playing big body characters. You know what I'm saying? And did they get fuzzied? For sure. Did I watch Goichi call GT Goku A assist in neutral and then fuzzy Fremrich mid screen? Of course, I saw that happen.
That was hype. That was hype.
It was kind of hype. I ain't gonna lie though. But
it was a lot more hype. It was a lot more hype because it involved more skill. To be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I would argue that as well. But
you have to outplay your opponent so that you don't get snap fuzzy right over and over again. So you have to see the neutral be played. So you have to see red nitro.
No, listen.
Well, you could argue that there's more neutral being played now than there was then because once that started going, like you kind of just didn't get to play anymore. But like I get what you're saying.
Listen, yeah, I have a serious bone to pick with the meme of like the neutral was better in season 2 because as snap meta developed, the entire name of the game was to play as little neutral as possible.
Well, I feel like that's still the name of the game.
That was the best, to be honest.
I would say that the neutral was better in terms of how it was played, and you could argue that it took more skill back then, but you were playing less of it because once somebody got their snap shit rolling, then it was just kind of like you're guessing over and over again until a character dies.
The whole idea of the neutral was better was the fact that you ran the risk of only being able to play it once. So you had to actually be careful. Now that we get to play it multiple times, which is the argument here, is that
because as much as people have memed about like the recent patch being compared to Marvel, I feel like season 2 was going to get the closest to Marvel because there were absolutely games where you just don't get to play. Like you were just stuck in the corner. You just get mixed for like a full 60 seconds and you die.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I was about to say, bro, that's whack, bro.
But what I will say,
because it took more skill, that's like, for a competitive viewer watching a tournament, they're like, oh wow, I like people who understand fuzzies obviously are going to be like, oh wow, that's so hype that he got out of that situation after getting triple fuzzy, blah blah blah. But for the casual viewer, it's just like, oh, we're just watching DR over and over and over.
I see. I would argue against that because as somebody who obviously was restreaming like every single tournament ever, and I still watch a lot of them, right? Like obviously I only have but such a small like sample size in the grand scheme of things, but me and my chat, we were hype as fuck all throughout season 1 and 2, regardless of it. You know what I'm saying? Like
I was definitely dancing in my kitchen.
The streams was popping, and like, and obviously
for the competitive players.
In a situation like that, people also had the benefit of like me being the streamer and being somebody who is more in tune with it, and it's a little bit more knowledgeable than a lot of my chat. Yeah, like I'm able to explain a lot of that stuff as well. Right. So that definitely plays a part. But you know, I obviously, there are some people who are gonna watch that game and be like, I have no clue what the fuck is going on. But I feel like that's that game to this day still.
I definitely think those situations too, where it was really cool, because it's like, okay, this is such a really oppressive situation. You're dealing with triple fuzzies. You're dealing with fuzzies on incoming snap and everything, and then you see the top level players still blocking it out, dealing with it. And I think that was one of the coolest parts. It's like, look how strong this situation is that they've created, and you can get to it if you win that neutral once and really dominate the game. And then you see To Kill Sage dominate Japan for 2 weeks
with a character that they didn't think was good.
Character that they think that sucks, and they're like, I'm just gonna fuzzy him. It's gonna be easy, and he makes them all look like clowns because he was able to navigate through that, defend through that, and it even got to a point where Sonic Fox versus Goichi had to develop even further. Goichi had to figure out how to deal with Sonic's specific team to keep him in that position. And he figured it out, right? So like that was really cool because the high skill floor and then having that be exemplified was amazing. And then now it's like, okay, you got everything that skips neutral and you play it a lot more now. So, and people got better too. It's like people got better at moving, got better at navigating. And it's just different. It's a different game.
Also, one thing I just want to know about fuzzies and things in season 2. My biggest bone, because I'd never thought fuzzy was a big deal, that it should have been removed. Obviously, universal fuzzy should have been removed, right? I think figuring out how to get rid of that was necessary, but removing the idea of a fuzzy entirely from the game, I thought that was kind of whack. But also with me, as somebody who was like on both sides of like, obviously I'm very in tune with the competitive side, and I'm very much so in tune with the casual side because that's my audience. I felt like the majority of people who complained about fuzzies and was like, oh, I can't play cool or I can't play cell, you niggas weren't getting fuzzied. I'm sorry, y'all weren't playing at the level to where that shit was happening to you. You're not.
I actually want to. I want to add on to that because like the fact they removed fuzzies, and fuzzies is like not even just anime thing. It is like every game. Like we're still fuzzing people in what is it? Street Fighter.
In every game.
People are getting fuzzied in Street Fighter.
The instant jump overhead, right?
That is not something that's just like, oh my god, I can't play big bodies. That's never been a thing. People got fuzzy.
But
that's my thing because
fuzzy for years.
Because
it's
Dragon
still
Ball
winning majors.
Dragon Ball Fighters is Dragon Ball. Obviously, there's a whole new crowd of people who have never played a fighting game or haven't played a fighting game seriously, and so a lot of them first learned what a fuzzy is because of that game, and so in their mind, it's like, oh, this whole new like they just learned the word, and then it became like their new biggest fear. It's like, oh, I can't play Broly now because I'll get fuzzy. But when in reality, it's like unless you're playing at a very high level, that's almost never going to come up because you're not. In season 2, you're not queuing up for a game of ranked at Living Legend and getting fuzzied, but well, maybe Living Legend was.
Hold on.
Let me go. Are you trying to say you wish fuzzies weren't removed?
Yes,
honestly. Like, so,
I agree with that.
Again,
hold on.
Again, the universal fuzzy needed to be changed or removed or tweaked somehow.
Yeah,
but removing the concept or the mechanic of a fuzzy in general from the game, I felt like was a bad move.
You think it was a lazy change?
Yes.
So hold on again, for that casual audience and slightly myself, maybe describe like I know vaguely what a fuzzy is. Bigger body characters can get like hit by certain shit that other characters can't. But can you explain exactly like what is the definition of a fuzzy? So why is it good in your opinion?
So the theory of a fuzzy,
made other characters not getting played.
Let Nitro
to start with, the theory of a fuzzy is like you're locked in a standing state. So the next move that is hit, it would be an instant overhead if they did like jump jab or something, right? And typically for like, I'd say, how many? Probably more than 15 years, it has been a thing where it's like, this tall character has gotten fuzzied because they are tall. That is the weakness of a character with giant limbs, such as Broly. Like he would have giant limbs and zoning, right? So what's the weakness? What's the weakness for Broly? The weakness for Broly is he's gonna have to take more mix-ups now. So in the older games, they would have more health, and more health was like, oh, we need a trade-off for this. You take a bigger mix-up. That would be like the kind of thing that would make it good, you know?
See, that's fair. That's fair against Broly, but that's the perfect example because, like, obviously, fuck Z Broly, but like any other character.
You can fuzzy Frieza,
bad, bro.
You can fuzzy Frieza.
Yeah. Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like fuzzies in general, I felt like we're fine, but the universal fuzzy that was working on everyone. That I get.
Are we really as well? Wait, fuzzies in other games? Do they really give you as much reward as you were able to do with Bardock being able to like fucking?
They gave more,
like insta launch in the corner.
I mean,
they were giving full combos.
Also, like, Cloud, welcome to the stream, buddy.
Hold on. Let me answer that question for you, Raptor. Look at Street Fighter 6. When JP hits you with a fuzzy, you explode.
You actually take 50%,
bro. I was thinking earlier Street Fighter.
Like back to the Frieza point. Are we really going to defend a racist character from getting fuzzy?
Talk to him. Talk to him.
Is that what we're doing? I'm just saying, I personally would not. As a black man myself.
Personally, Frieza can get his dome piece cracked.
One of the things that I feel like this patch was trying to accomplish, and obviously it's very, polarizing whether or not they achieved it through how they went about it, but character diversity. I think one thing that they did succeed at, obviously the way they did it is, to be debated, but the character diversity, I think, is at the best that it's ever been.
I would agree with that.
At this, I mean, I guess we'll have to see how it, performs in a tournament, but I feel like it's at the best that it's ever been. And to bring back the fuzzy thing, wouldn't that just, turn people off of characters and then we're just going backwards in a sense?
It would to some degree, but I feel like that's a lot has to do with people being like misinformed. Because again, like the reason why certain characters weren't getting played or like people brought it up is because they thought they were going to get fuzzied if they jumped online, which normally wasn't the case unless you run into hook or something.
Similar to what I was saying earlier too. There's a lot of characters that are now playable. Your favorite team from season 1, season 2, season 3, whatever. Like now you can play those old teams, the GT, Bardock, Cell, whatever. SJ Vegeta, Bardock, Cell, whatever you want to play, you can play it now because they're actually viable.
And I'm gonna be honest and say the idea of the fact they can't be played because they're getting fuzzied would be literally debunked from 3 years ago, where 2 of the top 3 teams
had a tall character.
Tall characters.
And season 2 World Finals top 3 was Goichi, Sage, and Fenrich.
Like, season 1, one of the hardest matches that Goichi has won was with 21 on the opposite side of the team, which is a fuzzyable character.
21 Ansel?
Yes.
I don't remember this.
Leffen was playing 21 Cell, and I think Super Saiyan Vegeta.
The person that kept beating Goichi had 16, had Zamasu, all tall characters against Bardock. So that would just debunk anything. You guys are just
pussy.
I was gonna keep it PG, but yes, you guys
I'll give you 16, but Zamasu was there just to build meter and die.
It doesn't matter why Zamasu was there.
Just
He
there
was
to die.
I was just saying, regardless of what he was there for, he was there.
He was there.
I do want to say this.
Sound like a skill issue overall, though. No,
I do want to say this about character diversity, though. I've always understood, and obviously, I'm a fan of diversity as well. No one wants to see the exact same team all the time, right? Granted, there are characters that we all enjoy and like. So for me, it's like if Trunks is on every team, I would fucking love that. That ain't never gonna happen in this game, but I wouldn't be mad at seeing 7 Trunks as the top.
I want to see Vegeta. Let's go.
However,
with my favorite characters, I don't want to see them over and over. Then I'm turned off. I don't even want to play them.
Once I understand
playing
that.
Blue Vegeta, I was like, all right, now I don't want to play him because everyone's fucking.
No,
playing
for sure.
I mean,
I feel
to
that.
be
I feel
completely
that.
honest, that did happen because in like season 3 and season 2, like at least for the casuals, if Vegito or Gogeta got on the screen, the entire chat was hype. Like especially like every time Vegito was on screen in like season 2 and tournaments. And now people are just
while using vanilla.
They get so like you pick Vegito, the viewers get cut in half.
Go ahead, my bad.
Not you. Because everybody was playing Vegito, bro. So that was not.
And that is the thing. EU was definitely on the Vegito wave, like long beforehand. I remember Jilla being in Wanted way back then, just doing crackhead stuff with that character, and just being like, "Yo, fuck this nigga Vegito."
The whole Vegito has no mix thing.
Subatomic savers.
Yo, you know what's crazy about that, by the way? The meme for years about Vegito is that he has no mix because his 2L's not a low. Now his 2L's a fucking low, as if he needed that. But go off, go off. He finally got it 4 years later, as if he fucking needed it. But whatever.
Listen, they mildly nerfed his A assist. They were worried he'd be unviable.
Anyway, I want to touch back on the character diversity thing though, because even though I understood how much the casual audience cares about that, and I understand how much I care about it, I still think that I underestimated just how important that single aspect is to so many people who play and watch the game, because that is one of the reoccurring like subjects or topics or like lines of thought that I've seen in Twitch chats and in YouTube comments, and specifically whenever I bring the game up or talk about it, is people saying, "Oh, but the game is more diverse than ever before." And I'm like, yeah, I get that, and that is a good thing, and that's like one of people's biggest arguments as to why they like the patch or why the patch is good. And I guess for me, I always felt like there are so many more aspects of a fighting game or just games in general that are important to me or like that matter than just how diverse everyone's teams are. Because for one, this is a team game, and like we have a pretty decent roster in this game at this point. But there's always going to be crossover. There's always going to be characters that show up multiple times because that's just the nature of a team game. But also just beyond that, the nature of a fighting game is that whichever characters are the strongest will inevitably get played the most at every level, and especially at the competitive level. And I think that this patch is no different. Go on.
Lotus, would you consider yourself to be a casual or competitive player?
I think I'm somewhere in the middle. I've kind of looked at myself as the bridge between both since this game came out. Because like, yeah, like, you know, I very much was a casual player coming into this, but this is the first time I ever dedicated myself so much to a game. And like, I've competed, I've done little commentary here and there, and I've created my fair share of content both on Twitch and YouTube. So yeah, I consider myself somewhere in the middle. But that being said, while this patch does have, for sure, I won't argue that at all, the most diversity, at some point, like the quote unquote meta or the top tiers will get figured out. And while I do think that even once the meta does take form, you'll still see more diversity than we have in the past. The inevitability is that like you're still going to see some characters show up multiple times across teams. Like that's just how fighting games are.
I'm about to expose you, bro. I'm sorry, bro, but like, what if they just buffed Trunks and gave him what they gave him, and then they buffed nobody else, but Trunks got what he got? Would you then like this patch?
No, and I also don't even think Trunks would still be top tier.
Here's the thing for me, right? Sorry to cut you off, but they shot themselves in the foot. What was it, 3.5 when they put in special tag and they started giving characters crazy changes? They couldn't go back. That was the point of no return for them. It's like, oh, we did too much. We can't go back. We've already
it's over now.
Right? That was the point of no return. And they had to think. Their thought process from then on was we have to make it crazier, bigger. You know,
and boy, did they ever.
Everyone else needs to be equally as crazy.
I think that was a good change. The special tags, I think that was a good addition to the game.
But from there, they had to keep going crazier though, because they also gave people new specials. Was that the birth of Vegito A and 5M?
I think it
No,
also
No, that
reduced-
shit was strong before that.
No.
It reduced a lot of like required team synergy too, where you would be really thoughtful about picking your assists because of the deficiencies characters had at that part of the screen. Right now, it's a universal answer. It's homogenized. Oh yeah, you just special tag after the special move, you get a DR knockdown.
Okay, but that's
chime in on this real quick.
Have worse specials to
I would
tag
say
off
that's
of
my
them.
only. I think the mechanic is really cool, but my biggest issue is the characters who were already strong and top tier benefited from it way more than anyone else. Because the fusions utilize that shit way better than anyone else.
I'm going to be completely
literally
honest.
better than anybody else.
I don't think it was actually the tag cancel change that was the issue. It was everything else that came with that.
No,
patch.
That's what I was saying. It was that season where they shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah. No, I'm saying like it sounds like we're saying the tag cancel was the issue. No, I think that was a really good addition to the game. It was just
I think we all like the mechanic, but all the other stuff that came in that patch, it's like, we took this game to a point to where we can't go back now with all the other shit that we added.
They didn't balance
getting better.
the special tag around all the characters. They're just like, here's the mechanic, it's cool, and all of a sudden, who would have thought the top tier characters were like, damn, this really is a great mechanic. Thanks, dude.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
That Christmas came early.
Yeah, and everybody else was like, damn, I wish I could do that. Why do you get a DR?
Must be nice. Must be
Yeah.
nice.
Hey, it turns out though that all you have to do to make the meta a lot more diverse is just make characters like Gotenks and Beerus top tier because no one wants to play them.
That's also it also comes off of popularity too. You know, like how popular characters.
That's true.
Like,
I mean, you
that's a
can
fact, especially for the casual audience.
There is also like Labcoat, who even at the absolute peak of her power was like trailing at the very bottom of like casual online usage.
And I will
Where,
say,
like,
and
nobody actually wants to play this game.
Okay, no, I love Labcoat, right? Despite everything else, I actually think the character's sick. But here's the thing,
I'm not trying to knock it.
No, for sure. I mean, people can shit on Labcoat all they want. Like I understand all that, but I would like to offer the idea because I actually firmly believe this. The reason why a character like Labcoat, despite being as strong as she was, saw such low play even at a more casual level isn't because of anything other than the fact that despite what anybody wants to say, she was hard for like a new player to pick up. She's kind of weird. Her normals aren't the same. Like people think, oh, she's got the easiest rejump, and then they try to do the rejump and they still can't do it. Like I think, because I remember this being a conversation because when Lamlaka was coming out, Nitro said that she's the easiest character in the game. And while
I still stand by that.
Okay, and I understand why you would say that, right? And I think for everyone in this call, we'd probably think that she was dumb easy. She's super easy to pick up. You just do that. You spin to win, and yeah, right. But for somebody who's like brand new to fighting games or like at a lower level, I don't think that's the case. And the situation I brought up, the argument that I made is that if you give two brand new players, UI Goku and Labcoat's way better even still right now than UI Goku, I'd put money on it that the UI Goku player wins more by just slamming buttons than the Labcoat player does. Because he's a much more accessible and like
you talking about. And does this player know how to spin?
That is also true.
They just picked up the game.
Two brand new players.
Fresh installs. Fresh installs.
Yeah.
Two brand new players, and it could be launched Labco, and I still feel like
I
the
don't
UI
know.
Goku
That by
player.
them kind of crazy.
They're beginners.
Nah, because what's gonna happen with that is a nigga's gonna mash triangle, Labco's 5M gonna whiff, the other nigga's gonna be pushing square with UI Goku. He's gonna go a quarter of the screen with his auto combo, and then that nigga's gonna get yoinked. That's what's gonna happen there.
I think anyone that has ever touched the fighting game before would do better with Labco. Like even if it's only 5 minutes of a different fighting game, would do better with Labco. But someone who's never touched the fighting game, period, would do better with UI.
No, I think there is actually some credence to what Lotus is saying, considering there are still a lot of like casual players and new players who come into the game who genuinely believe UI is still like top 3, literally just because
when you're just mashing around, that character still feels oppressive.
I think another point where
I see it every week.
I would say I think another point we're also missing is she's not actually from the series, and as a Dragon Ball fan, why would you?
That is also I think important.
I don't think that's actually
my OC is so strong. My OC can do this. Like they really just took their OC and made it way stronger than
they Mary sued her into the video game.
As they should. Don't everybody didn't Daisuke do the same shit in Guilty Gear? Ain't Ken doing the same shit in Street Fighter? Like
that's his game. That's not even a thing. That's not even a thing.
So here's the thing. So for the general audience, when it regards to Labcoat, sorry to cut you off in some, but
no,
like
you're good.
for example, in real life, you meet another person who likes anime, Dragon Ball, whatever. I got a tattoo the other day, and I was like, "Yeah, so I do this," and we were talking. It was like an 8-hour
Just wanted
session.
to tell us that he got
No,
a tattoo.
hey, it's actually pretty.
I'm
sick.
kind of
It's not.
inky for real.
But no, the
Continue with your
point.
story.
The most long-winded way.
The point is, I brought up Dragon Ball Fighters, and I was like, "Yeah, everybody loves like the androids and everything," and I'm like. Yeah, and I brought up 21. He's like, "Who the fuck is 21?" And I was like, "Oh." And I showed him. And
That's
he was
how
like,
it is, though.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. Like, where is she in anything else?" And I was like, "No, just a picture of her in the superhero movie."
Yeah, I was
and
gonna
then,
say she just got like official with that movie.
It's a much higher chance somebody's gonna boot up their favorite fusion or UI Goku and have fun, and that's why
for
they
sure.
make characters.
It is no coincidence.
Every single Dragon Ball
It is no coincidence the fusions ended up being as strong as they are. I understood that from the beginning. The fusions are good in every game, in every Dragon Ball game, and they're super popular. You know what I'm saying?
You could have named me one Dragon Ball game where they aren't top.
And it's the same shit with UI Goku. Like UI Goku was such a big moneymaker. They were like, "Oh, this character gotta be broken when we drop him." My fault. Go on, Dion.
Nah, they did him dirt though.
I said go on, Dion, and these niggas started talking. Alright.
Let me just say, I think I speak for every UI player, dude. Where he even at his peak, dude.
He was never the
fine.
best, bro.
Yeah,
the best. He was never the best.
I still remember watching. I remember watching a Sage stream where he was trying to break this down for casuals, and everyone was just like, "You are lying." He's like, he's
in that
worst
chat
fighting game
cheering
character
for.
of all time.
I was in that chat cheering for Sage.
I mean, you thought he was the best
because he has Gila.
Yeah,
Japan thought it was the best too.
Yeah.
You had Goichi and Fenrich.
Wawa, Yasa, Jill, they always saying UI was the best.
Of course there was. Their overall brain power is room temperature.
I think he still did actually have flaws, whereas most top tiers that started coming afterwards, even if they were small, like most top tiers that started coming afterwards, basically did not have any. Period.
Also, here's my thing, right? KJ Pixel brings up a good point in the chat, and this is obviously important to remember, is that at that time, like, we were basically exclusively stuck online. And while I do feel like the character absolutely would have been easier to deal with offline than online, the fact of the matter is that we were online. And the other fact of the matter is that every single player who won the online regional had that nigga on his team. Every single one.
That was actually kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
Because more people didn't want to play Gotenks.
I will say this though, I do think even though you can make arguments that he wasn't the strongest, I'm just gonna give him the strongest only because I feel like the way he was strong was kind of the quote unquote issue a lot of these newer characters have. He was doing it before they could do it. Just the ultra ignorance into like, I'm going to do anything I want until you can't punish me, until you're going to explode if you accidentally mess up. Like he was one of the first to start doing that.
He was a pioneer of like, hey, I have all these
yeah.
defensive options then. I'm just like, I'm just not going to block no matter what. And you can knock me down no matter how much you try. I'm going to do something on Wake Up.
You know what's funny? Because when it was Wade versus Fenris, bro, they all just fucking did delay Wake Up, board frame. That's literally all he did. And we hated the game.
Honestly,
honestly, I miss the old 2-on-4H tracking. I miss the old EX tracking because that shit was just funny. No, it was so funny.
It was so lit.
You gotta remember, like at the end of the day, like Japan, France, all of us, right? We all have different tier lists. It's always been that way since season 1. Since the game came out, we've always had differences of opinions. We always thought like this character is good. Like for example, France praises Kefla when she was quote unquote the best, but we always like, nah, she's not that good. Like she's okay.
Or the character's brain temperature, IQ.
It doesn't even matter about the IQ at that point, right? It's just that we always had our differences. No matter what season it was, we always saw the game differently because we play the game different. We have different level of competition.
I would say I've always found it very interesting how
has changed in
like,
only one way from when he fought Sage. It was so funny seeing Goichi's tier list change from when he fought Sage because it was just Z Broly moving up there.
Hey, I remember Kazunoko had that nigga Trunks top 5 because Moke was that nice. Like I was like, nah, son, Trunks is not that good. Moke is not that good.
Like top 3.
Your true downfall was when Sonic and Goichi co-signed Trunks being top tier. That was the beginning of your downfall,
was
dude.
so cap, bro. It was so
entire community.
It was so cap. And then as every patch happens, I'm always like, yeah, y'all niggas gonna play this character, pick him up, see that 1, he's harder than a lot of other characters in this game. 2, he's not actually that nice, and y'all gonna drop him in a week. And what happened every time without fail? Exactly that.
He's been theoretically top tier.
And he's been literally in the trash can and on no one's team since season
feels
1.
like they've been like treading lightly with like who they wanted to buff and like whether they were really just paying attention the delicate balance of the game. But these last couple of patches, especially this last one, it was almost just like it was just like, all right, we're just gonna give everyone crazy stuff.
Dude, they smoked a fat ass blunt and just threw darts at a wall.
Because the kill stage isn't here,
Yeah.
I'm just going to speak for him and tell him what he told me, and it made so much sense. I was complaining about the game, hating it, until he made the most sense. He said, this character got this change because he can have fun. You had your fun with fusions. Now they get to have their fun. Everyone gets to have fun. And
so
when I really thought about it, and what is everyone's general idea about this patch? It's not that good competitively.
Yeah, I would also think like that if I was a
we're all having
moron,
fun.
But continue.
You said yesterday in your stream you were having fun too.
No,
so
I said it fun casually.
He said he was in the box.
Yes, but it's competitively it's not that good, but at least it's pretty fun.
The one thing about this game now is
looking in.
Oh, go on.
From the outside looking in, I feel like the development, because from what I've heard, correct me if I'm wrong, like ArcSys did the balance early on, but I heard that it's actually Bandai who's doing the balancing now.
Yeah, the team got.
I was gonna try
I
to
only bring that up to say.
for the first 2 seasons.
I'll be quick. I only bring that up to say is I feel like historically with Dragon Ball, like this is the first competitive Dragon Ball game ever, really, like with competitive scenes. It's at Evo and stuff like that. So I bring that up to say it almost feels like the balancing team or the development team is looking at this where they're trying to like walk the tightrope of like, okay, we want it to be competitive because it's supposed to be a competitive game, but at the same time, like this is a Dragon Ball game and every Dragon Ball game is just like crazy. We want to like appeal to that audience as well. So I feel like that's why on both sides, like there's some people who are extremely casual who are like, even now they're like, oh, this game is like too much. It's too complicated. And then you have people on the other side of the spectrum who are like mad competitive, who are like, oh, this game is like, Mickey or whatever. You know what I mean? Because they're trying to like walk that tightrope, but you can't like please everyone type of thing.
Yes,
they're trying to make their money. Truthfully, like from the casual standpoint, they just
want to hear.
I mean, they've already made their money. Yeah, they've already made their money.
Cool to hang out with you guys. Cool to talk with you guys. But I got to bounce right now.
Easy man.
Up on the stream.
Not for sure.
I'll miss you.
The one buff that Hit deserved, and I'm just gonna leave on this. The one buff that Hit deserved that he didn't get is I just wish his counter had a little bit of invincibility when he reappears, because if I counter against Labcoat 21 doing the spin and I appear on the other side and I'm still getting hit by the spin, that pisses me off. I should be able to actually counter him. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Goodbye.
No.
Jake, you had something that you were about to say that I wanted to hear you finish that thought.
Yeah. It was about the balance adjustments, right? So Arc System was in charge. I believe it was for the first 2 seasons, and then
season 1 and like
partway through Bandai took. Yeah, and that's when Bandai got the reins. So they have been making the exclusive decisions on balance, character implementations, and everything there. So Arc System hasn't had their hands in the jar for a very long time, and that's where the game has really taken a shift and like started to develop. And that's where you started seeing the conversations happen too, where people like started stepping away from the game. Maybe they didn't like what it was.
The game I loved.
Picture of the game that they liked.
Wait, around what time, Jake?
Yeah, exactly. What happened to my?
Around what time, Jake?
What happened to my Kid Buu? What happened to the game I love? Around what time? The end of season 2, or like mid season 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where's my cross-up ball?
Yeah, just bring cross-up ball back and leave the rest of the character alone.
I'm surprised ArcSys took away cross-up ball like by themselves.
I mean, it was. I feel like it was genuinely just so fucking confusing for everyone looking in. Just like, why did he get hit here?
Remember the days where the biggest and like free neutral tool was Bardock Lariat to know like the best thing
and now that Lariat kind of sucks.
We didn't know what we had.
We really didn't know what we had.
We didn't know what we had back then.
It was also a situation of in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, because nobody had like the neutral tools on the same level. So when there's only the one character, obviously it feels like so oppressive.
Right, and at the time, like other characters had a similar-ish move, because like Blue Vegeta's been here, Team Gohan's been here, Blue Goku's been here, but Bardock's was significantly stronger in comparison. But because the game was so different back then, it made a huge difference.
I mean, I'll say that. I think
it was also -1 on block.
I think it was fine for the most part for one character to be like that, right? It's cool. One character has that, it makes them special. But then once they started giving it to everybody,
well, if everyone's super,
like,
then no one will be.
Then no one's super.
Yeah.
They say it's everybody's a genius. Then you're
You know,
just normal.
it's interesting you brought up that Bardock point, right? Because like the fact that they gave him back his Larry, a lot of people that looking at the game now like, oh my god, like I miss Bardock. They removed this from the game and he has it again. And that 3 people were like, oh my god, I can play the game again. So that's also a factor.
Dude, Bardock's gonna be on every team at Evo now.
That's the funny part is that he absolutely will not.
So the teams at Evo are going to be the characters with the most invincible options, dude. Calling it now.
GT Goku, let's be real.
I think he's top 1, but that's just me.
I'm gonna keep it a stack with you, Cloud. I played against GT yesterday, bro. The monitor almost got deleted.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm sorry to the discussion.
Hey, but the game fun though, right? You know what I'm saying?
I've never had less fun.
I'm having so much fun.
GT.
3 reverse Kamehamehas. It's an 11 frame Vegito 5M with invincibility. Dude, that shit is great. Oh my god.
It's so silly. Also, real quick, I just want to say, you guys remember when the entire game was supposed to be bounced around Adult Gohan, Goku Black, and Super Saiyan Goku? You remember that?
That would have been a good game. That would have been a good game.
Golden standard, right?
Remember that was supposed to be the standard for all the characters, that they were trying to bring everyone like up or down to that level.
Which mind you, when Bardock came out, and then it changed again because of Vegito.
Mind you, at the time that they said that, Adult Gohan was way stronger than the other niggas in that group. But I digress.
Yeah, they were a lot better. I might hit EX Dark
Even
Fist.
16 was.
16.
Him
and 16 and what Gohan were like top 2 just because untechable.
It was like it was
Infinite block strings for as long as you
and 50-50 off everything.
Shit, it was worse than the 50-50. This nigga 16 with command grab, you mid screen, get hard knockdown, and get like high, low, left, right,
and then
plus command grab, plus dragon rush, plus super dash, plus like.
Remember,
he really grabbed you and said, "Try again."
Yeah, and 5H everything. Remember?
Yeah, 5H was just go straight through beams and shit. Man, season 1 of DBFZ was some crazy shit.
Yeah,
it was
and
hype,
Dark
though.
Cancel was bad.
Dude, yeah.
I feel like season 1 is also remembered fondly because we had no bloody clue what we were
What's
doing.
another thing too? Like if we still had like the season 1 version of the game now, or season 2, is like the shit we'd be doing to each other would be so fucked up.
People have gone back. Like, it's why when you watch the people who go back to the vanilla version.
Lotus 18 sucked back then, bro.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
With
that's where developers have trouble with balancing issues, right? Like they look at what's strong, especially in Arx's case, and we're like, how could we make it better? And then they're supposed to turn left, and then they run the red light and go straight.
100%.
Right?
But it's interesting how we define what's strong.
Season 1.
Oh,
honestly,
yeah, it is. I remember because
the phone was strong. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
Mixed.
Yeah, I remember at Cloud's event, talking about like season 1. He had the setup with season 1, and he ran a little bracket for it. And we get to the finals, and it's me versus Pred, and he remembered every single like Adult Gohan bullshit broken fuzzy.
Oh,
and
you're
I
a
was
loser,
like, wow.
Pred. What?
You lost first round. You suck.
I won the tournament.
But like the thing was, it's like now that we had the knowledge, it was like, damn, this was kind of messed up. And like there was stuff that was just really, really bad. And it was like, wow, Beerus can't do supers in these situations. It's just sad. And then like other characters were on the other spectrum.
And let's not think about the fact that there were like 3 viable assists in the entire cast.
Yeah, they were all beams.
Yeah,
no, that's not true. We had 16 assists, Kid Buu assists. What?
Nah, there was a bunch of y'all that actually tried to tell me Kid Buu assist was bad because you couldn't use in fucking neutral, like it wasn't the greatest mix-up assist in the goddamn game. I ain't never gonna let that shit go.
Who told you that?
I mean,
Every Kid Buu down player ever. They're like, oh, you can't combo with it and you can't use it in neutral, bro. It's not that good.
The only thing I didn't like it was you could throw it out in neutral back then because DP assists. All right, that was those fucking French kiss, dude. What you want DP
assist was a very cursed era.
You've awoken the trauma.
Y'all forgot about DP assist.
Oh no, I never forgot. I will never forget Kazunoko doing that shit to people on every fucking knockdown. No, that will never be erased from my brain ever. DP plus Yamcha assist, I'll never forget that.
That clip alone was more than enough to make that change like forever. Even if nobody else was ever using DP assist, just because Kazunoko did that, that shit was gone the next
Bro,
patch.
I'm gonna
Guaranteed.
be, I'm gonna be honest though.
and then DP into Spark into another DP. This is the funniest shit
like,
ever.
if we ever look back at like the games Kazunoko played back then, and like what he was doing in Dragon Ball, he just played he just
Same way.
played Dragon
Yeah.
Ball the exact same way as he played the other games.
Same way he plays
He
Guilty
found his
Gear
broken
and fucking
shit
Street Fighter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He beat Daigo at Street Fighter 4 with just dive kick.
That's so
Like,
funny.
he's actually the goat.
My man Yon with full screen EX lunge punch +1 hype.
Capcom Cup champion.
That's not hype.
Capcom champion. He's the goat. He's the goat.
That's why he's the goat.
That's why.
I mean, he did gatekeep how many Dragon Balls?
He got 4 of them.
Four?
in
He
season
got
one.
four.
He got
The best,
four.
the best
Yeah.
LCQ in history. I
He
cannot
had it.
believe it.
He had-
Sierra
I-
changed the rules because of him.
Yeah, that was next level dominant. He made Tachikawa cry, bro.
He's one of the most influential Dragon Ball players if you think about it.
No, absolutely,
assist,
100%.
Dragon, like the
Dude.
Dragon Ball collection.
Without him, we would have never gotten Apology Man losing to Aqua 4 times in a row.
Damn,
That- yo,
Kazunoko's greatest hits?
Bro,
Featuring Apology Man?
the season 1 LCQs were truly something special. You really had to be there, bro.
Run it back, bro.
Also,
That
fucking
that ran back, bro.
Nakil fucking
Right.
cooking and then losing to like Bumble
No,
Bumble
no,
level
Fred's
3.
right. No more participation trophies, dude.
You're
Yeah,
kind of
run that-
spitting. You
run
know
that
what?
to
Let him
Brad.
cook. I'm not going to be involved in it.
You
So
win
let
the
him
event, dude, or good luck at the LCQ.
No, I was there for the season 1 LCQ. That shit was
cook.
fun.
You got
Yeah.
washed.
Yeah, I remember.
Bro, I actually beat Moke and then I dropped level 1, level 3 on Yamcha. And then he like
So you
he
lost.
yes. Like, I saw his soul leave his body, and then he just jumped up when I dropped my level 3 and he killed it.
Goodness, Brad, you
Yeah.
stay choking, bro.
Yeah, bro.
All right, so hold on. I want to ask everyone in the call, and we'll go down the list. Do you see yourself continuing to play the game for any significant amount of time? Like whether
I'm
that's
so glad you asked, because in 100 subs.
anyway. So I'm gonna go down the line. Cloud, do you see yourself continuing to play the game for a while?
I'll give you two answers for that, right? The first answer is going to be the competitive aspect. Not so much the competitive aspect, right? As I'll notice taking a seat back, right? Because traveling's super expensive and the netcode sucks. But content creation side, yeah, dude, I've been popping off lately with like all the new changes, man.
For sure,
Now,
for
speaking
sure.
of content creation, the boss battle's ready.
I'm done.
Ooh.
But yeah, so when it comes
Brad,
to
Brad.
like to give you like the final answer for it is
Mhm.
like Dragon Ball's never been in a better place for content creation, right? Everybody's characters is sick nasty, you know, like there's like I want to play Marvel, mom. We have Marvel at home. That's basically what Dragon Ball is now. There's a bunch of crazy shit in the game. Everyone's having a good time, except the Yamcha players. But
Yeah,
who cares
Yamcha's
about
having a good
them?
time.
You don't think Yamcha's in a good spot?
No, he is not.
Shut up, Zane. Yamcha's chilling.
I mean, I don't think he's like top tier or anything like that. You think he still needs significantly more help? Because I think there was a couple of changes that might
They
help
didn't
him,
bring
but-
back they didn't bring back old EX Wolfang Fist, dude.
They need to
That's
fix
all I gotta
they
say.
do everything they've ever taken from him just to have him be viable.
All right, what about yourself, Daniel? I have a feeling that you're still going to be playing the game.
I think right now it's definitely worth continuing playing the game in terms like what Cloud was saying for content. I think the game is the best it's ever been for content current. I mean, since like the first year for sure. But I think
Oh,
now
yeah.
currently, if you want to play this game for content, for fun, I think it's the best time to do it. Even as I said earlier, like competitively is not the greatest. I think I'll still travel for the game. Just for the simple fact that, like I said earlier as well, there's more people playing the game at a casual level. So there's more people popping out to tournaments because of that. So I think that it's still overall a fun game. So yeah, I'll continue playing.
What about yourself, Enzim? I know we've exchanged a lot of words about this game.
Yeah, for sure.
Between each other.
He said for sure.
I'm still kind of on the same type of timing where, like, competitively, I do still want to play for the World Tour. So for however long that lasts, or my attempt to get there at this point. But if not, then kind of no. If for me at least, it's still also unfortunate that I feel like a lot of players also share the same sentiment of like not really wanting to continue competitively. And as a competitive player, that also kills my vibe a lot because if I don't want to fight the players that, in my opinion, are like extremely challenging or like the players that I wanted to beat, right? It's just not as fun anymore. But casually, yeah, the game is extremely fun, or as much as it's gonna be. I'll say that.
Got you.
As much as it's gonna be.
Jake, are you back yet?
Yeah, I'm here. I would say like the last season for Dragon Ball was it was really fun for me because I got to see like how far I could push myself competitively. It's like only like in tournament, really only losing to the 3 strongest New Yorkers in the call right here.
Let them boys know that's top 8 Jake right there. Talk to him, strongest commentator out there. Let him know.
I always said it about Jake too. I was like, he made a lot of improvements.
Did I just get called a New Yorker?
No, sorry, Enzum, you're East Coast. My bad. I just love being
everyone on the East Coast is just in New York as well.
Everyone on the East Coast is New York now.
Everybody, like so many mad niggas, and I don't. Maybe it's the way I talk or something. I don't think I sound like I'm from there, but so many people assume I'm from New York as well. I don't know if it's just because I associate with you niggas, or if it's something about the way I talk or what. But that's where everyone.
Or it's because you're black. Give me that.
Hey, yo.
I was like
I'm just saying.
I was like a 9.
I'm just saying.
Anywho, Jake, continue.
Yeah. But like that was what was super cool, and it totes back to Enzem's point where it's like if the strongest players aren't competing, it really takes away that drive. And I've really like just from being completely transparent, I love Street Fighter, and 6 has been like super fun for me. It's clicked, it plays fast, it can play slow, and I just love it. And I've been commentating more of it and playing with it. I still think that like once rollback comes back, I want to give it another try, but I cannot play online. I literally like cannot make myself do it after I've had good net code where I can play everybody in the United States with Street Fighter. It just doesn't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Offline,
I can't imagine you're alone in that sentiment.
Yeah, like offline, I'll still go. Like my boy Justin down the street is hosting locals, the Hyperbolic Justin Chamber, so that SoCal can still get practice.
Can I think of a better name?
Nah, that's
I got robbed from the Mario Party match.
And like as a commentator, it's like for spectators, it's great. I get to make these moments exciting and see like how far people can go. Because for the first time in a long time, I have questions about what's going on the screen. I'm like, how long does this combo go? What is the mix-up coming from here? Why is Nappa whiffing 2H 4 times in a combo? Like everything, it's like exciting, and you can bring that excitement to the viewer, and it makes my job easier, I would say. But it's discouraging seeing like all my friends either go on to a different game or just stop competing altogether. So
first time.
Yeah, Jake, do you think this gives birth to new?
First time is crazy.
For Jake, do you think that this will give birth to new players overall, new players that might be better than our current best players?
I would say it's all subjective, because if you drop those new players who are better at this patch and do a previous patch, it's like you can't compare it. Like if I'm looking at like Nitro performing last season versus like, we'll just call him Wheat Goku 69 420. Like,
I know that guy.
Nah,
yeah, exactly.
I already booked it, bro. Evo 2024 grand final is gonna be Hikari versus Garlic Bread. That's already what it is, man.
Oh, Garlic's
that's hype.
That kid's the future, bro. He's
yeah, that's hype.
Like this patch was made for him.
Yeah, but also like I think the touch on that. Oh, you can go first, Raptor.
All right. Well, I was just going to say the question of like, do you think new players are going to end up anywhere near the like skill level of the ones that we've been seeing? I think honestly, the brutal truth is probably not, because look at the online environment they have to play in currently.
Yeah.
Right. I do want to. I definitely
would honestly think.
I definitely want to talk about the rollback, because that's sure that's something that we all have input on and something that we wanted.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the follow up once I can finish coming down the line and hearing what everyone wants to say about whether they're going to continue playing or not. But you have something you want to chime in with real quick, Cloud?
I was gonna say, just to interject, right? Like we have a living, breathing statistic of old players leaving and then new players being birthed, right? Or like the players who are now placing higher because the old players are gone. Look at Marvel 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the old guards stopped playing, you know, like me, Justin, F Champ, right? Like Chris
Ryan
G, like
LV.
right. We all stopped playing, and those other guys,
The Terminator.
Yeah, right. Liberal Terminator pulled up, right? You have like Jabril winning everything, right? One Evo, congrats to them, right? But like,
shouts out Jabril.
The question, well, the people always hanging over their head, like, yeah, well,
you'll never be as good as them.
Exactly.
That's a whole other conversation I want to have about new players versus old players and like the skill difference between them, and that's something else I think that we can follow up with in this conversation, because I think it is an interesting one. I think it's one that like the viewers would really enjoy as well, as like are Nitro and Pred as good as fucking Sage and Sonic were back in season 1? We'll talk about that in a bit. I think that'll be a fun discussion. But that being said,
lost him 3 years ago.
Anyway, that being said, Pred, do you see yourself continuing to play the game?
I think I'm gonna play for fun. I think I'll go to tournaments that are like around, like locally. I'll go to one, and I think I'll probably travel to the one event, but not really for Dragon
This
Ball.
motherfucker
But
doesn't even go to his own local.
yeah, this is true because I don't like Dragon Ball right now. But I like Gohan, so like right now I'll see if I'll play the game. But I think right now I might move on to Street Fighter.
I got you. And what about yourself, Nitro?
I play Strive.
For sure. Congratulations, by the way. You
Thank you.
You won Dragon Ball as well, but you won Strive at Summer Jam. Good shit.
Thank you.
And yourself, Raptor, I presume especially for you, it's very dependent on this rollback situation.
First things first, I'm fucking Australian, so competing wise, like to put into context as well, when I went to Worlds, like however many years into the game's life, that was my first time playing international players.
Right.
Because it's fucking impossible to get out of this country.
Like 5 sets.
Or play, and it was man, because it was like, hey, don't worry, we're getting rollback, right? Don't worry, I'll play everyone then. I'll play everyone then. But
I was sitting here like, Raptor, this is your only chance.
Damn. But I mean,
listen, man, there were a couple people at that event that I had to play. Like, Acoustics called me the YouTuber, so I had to go on level 7 each of his characters individually.
No, man.
This is one of the things where like,
listen, man,
bro,
it had to be done.
Niggas be quick to throw out that YouTuber word, and then you have to humble people real quick. Because I done had that shit happen.
He made it sound like a slur.
I'm not even that. No, because like I'm not that nice, but because I'm a YouTuber, niggas would think shit was sweet, and so I'd have had niggas like try to be like, oh, he not that nice. He's just a YouTuber, and like I'm not that nice, but I'm better than you, nigga. Like I. Pull up. I'm just saying I had to do that. I had to do that a couple of times.
Respect your.
It's one of those things, though, right? Lotus, where
you gotta let them
people see you and they look at you because they're a content creator initially, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
But they don't know that you actually, I'm out here. I can play this game for real. But a lot of the times they don't respect players like you or even commentators for that matter.
Yeah,
like,
I would get that shit.
hard.
Bro, Jake is out here making top 8s and niggas still have the audacity to be like,
Jake
Ryan.
People in my chat disrespecting Jake OD.
Like Jake will whoop your ass. What are you talking about?
It's wild because they would always be talking shit in chat, and it's like, I have a Shenron list, and most of your favorite players are on it, right? Like
I avoided it for 3 years. I'll keep avoiding it.
No. I want to be real for a second, right? Like Jake, for example, when the whole player tier list I was making, when I was trying to put you at the top, he was like, nah, he's just a commentator. He's not really good. I was like, yo, have you seen his performances? He's being some of your favorite players. He's top 8, multiple majors, multiple tournaments in a row. How can you discredit him? He's like, oh, but he's just a commentator. I was like, no, just because you're a commentator doesn't mean that you can't play the game. Saint is just corny to me when people say that.
I was offending you like you were Jesus said I was the church.
It's too corny to this. I really don't like that when people discredit players because they're a commentator or a content creator or YouTuber. That's corny.
It's stupid.
I'm sure there's a whole bunch of times where someone sits down next to Jake to play and be like, oh, I saw this bloke at the desk like 20 minutes ago. This will be free. This will be free.
Then they get fucking bodied.
And then
they got auto comboed from 3/4 of the stream away. I'm like, oh well, out the tournament.
All right. But what about yourself?
Sorry,
Sehan?
back on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Back on topic. Yeah, no, it was just like I absolutely do want to continue playing because honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm like morbidly curious how this game's gonna turn out competitively, and I want to be there for it, and I want to try and do whatever I can because it's like, man. Like they removed the regional placings as well for Worlds, so it's like
they don't like you.
Just to qualify, I would be spending more on flights.
Yeah, move idiot.
Then I would be winning from like grand finals. If I come through and I just win the whole thing, I would not even be breaking even that it would cost the flights to get there just to qualify.
Yeah, that's
so I do want to keep like playing this game. I love the shit out of this game, but it's like I live in Australia.
Feel you.
And there's no rollback, so
feels Jace, man.
That's space, Australia. It's fucking different. Anyway,
Broncos.
What about yourself, Sehan?
Hell
you see yourself
yeah.
continuing to play the game, and I know that like I've heard a decent amount, not from like directly, but seeing like you and OB talk or like be in Twitch chats or like see you guys play, and again, like the sentiment continues like competitively. I don't know, but casually, do you see yourself continue to still play the game at all?
So competitively, I can say UFA is gonna be my last tournament for the foreseeable future, and it's honestly not necessarily due to the patch. It's more because I have zero motivation to lab the game because I can't play the game. Every time when I hop onto an online match, doesn't matter if I'm fighting against a top player who is only 30 minutes away from me, it's always laggy. and that kills my vibe with the game. So therefore, I don't have the motivation to play.
I want to ask this like as the follow for everybody, but since that's your reasoning, I want to ask you specifically right here. Then, so if let's say rollback were to come out next week, would that change it for you? Would that increase your motivation to be like, yeah, I'm gonna keep grinding this game, and I'm gonna keep playing it?
Oh yeah, 100%, yes. Like,
sure.
I have
Okay.
an offline scene, so it wouldn't really change too
Must
much.
be nice.
But see, and that's the difference between
You're
obviously like
No, for sure.
like all the Americans in the call
I-
versus like Raptor or like Seihan or like even
I'm
Wade.
just
to-
saying
not
from
even
my point of
Americans,
view.
New Yorkers. That is more.
I just say,
Well,
from
nah,
my
I
point of
feel
view,
you.
it's like,
You know, I feel you, but
on whether or not it would change anything, it wouldn't change anything because, like, I just, be like, hey, Posey, you want to go play? And then he'd be like,
right.
yeah, Buzzin', I'd love to go play. Bring the demons to the house.
Absolutely, my heart.
My heart,
my heart,
come through my heart.
Yep.
We can play as much as you want, Nitro.
But yeah, that's the truth though, Nitro. Like we're just privileged. Being
No,
in New
yeah,
York,
for sure.
We're all like
I agree.
15
Like,
minutes away from each other. Like, yo, Nitro, what you doing today? You want to play? Yeah, sure,
50 minutes.
whatever.
My local scene is an
Daniel
8-hour
be-
drive away.
Like,
Daniel be on his hands and knees. He'd be like, please come over, bro. I need content.
Like talking about the local scene too. It's like, yes, everybody in New York is like 15 minutes away from each other, and it's wonderful. We've had an issue in SoCal where it's like we're so spread out, and even though we have like a good chunk of players that play online, we talk through Discord.
California big as fuck for no
California
reason.
is big as hell, and it's like
place is whack.
it's always asking for the locals. It's like I try to host them, get them put together and everything, and then it's like 8 people will show up or like 11 people will show up because everything's so far, and it becomes it's discouraging at a point. So it's like
SoCal. Sorry, Jake, but SoCal is so mixed up at this point that like from like me to Jake's, it's like 25 minutes for me, but then for someone like Garlic, it's like 2 hours.
Jeez.
So even though we're
By
all
car?
even though we're all by
Yes.
car, so that way we're all with even though we're all in
Yeah.
SoCal, they're like a language is even further. So from Garlic, so like if we were going like to Lake for instance, Garlic would be driving like 3 hours. Or if you're very lucky like Varia, who can't get on the train very well, can't get any luck with public transportation, it takes them even longer than that. So it's not exactly, even though we're all technically in the same area, and so with us being in SoCal, it's the local scene is very, very spread out.
All right.
That definitely sucks.
What about yourself, Wade? Do you see yourself continuing to grind the game?
I'm gonna say yes because I'm a crackhead and I love that game way too much. So I'll play it.
So there's a couple of things I want to ask you and Seihan specifically because I feel like you guys have interesting perspectives with being in Europe, and obviously Raptor has one as well, being in Australia.
Also, you're French.
Well, yeah, but I just say like obviously like, I interact and speak a lot more with the American players than I do with obviously the French guys, or I believe Seihan, you're from Germany if I remember correct, right? And so we'll get to that in just a moment. But before I do, that's funny. Say, yeah, I'm a crackhead, so I'm gonna keep playing. And what about yourself, Zane?
At the moment, the plan is probably similar to many others. I'll keep playing it somewhat, but the plan is probably to go find a different game to be my main game, and then I'll just enter Dragon Ball kind of as a secondary, whichever tournament I enter.
I got you. Okay, so then my follow-up to all of this is, and we kind of already touched on it a bit, so I already know some of your answers, but I just want to go down the line and just get a yes or a no. If rollback is implemented anytime soon, or even just at all at this point, does that increase your motivation to play the game, Cloud?
Yes.
He said Cloud.
He did. Cloud.
He's on,
okay, I'm not bugging around. Like, did I hear different names?
Did Cloud die?
Cloud's on the bathroom break.
Oh man,
He's in the bathroom. He's on the pot.
Well, whatever.
He always is. It's Cloud.
We'll come back to him. Daniel?
Yeah, it'll increase my motivation, but at the same time, it's kind of like we were saying right before this. If I want to play the best players, I can be like, "Yo, Nitro, pull up." So
Like,
it's
they're literally a phone call away. Like, hey,
yeah, but I guess for like people that I want to play that are, I guess, West Coast or even in other countries, yeah, it'll be fun to play them. Like, I want to play Wade and casuals for vibes. Yeah, that'll be nice.
I agree with that.
I don't like you, bro.
Honestly,
What is happening?
My fault. You just got shot. That's all.
Soundboard.
Bro, just send your ass to the next dimension.
Wait. I would expose you right now. Don't do this.
I think we
that,
all
though?
have dirt on each other. I don't know if you really want to.
What do y'all mean by that?
Never mind, JK. Where do you, my bestie?
Anyway, what about you, Enzo? Would rollback change like your perspective, or like make you want to grind the game a lot more, or have you more motivated to keep playing?
Yeah, because I can start harassing Zane and like wait for games, and they won't be able to say no.
That's
I
OD.
think they could say
That's
no,
OD.
but-
What about yourself, Jake?
I think I'm in the same position, right? Because like right now with the netcode, it is a 50-50 chance that I can play Zane and it's a playable connection, and we live 20 minutes away from each other. That's
that's so rough.
That shit's
That's so-
unacceptable.
that is
See,
so
Like,
funny.
all right. I mean, you know, my problem when I'm into Zane is Zane. Have you?
You're not gonna come late and then interrupt the conversation. Shut up.
Eating at that nigga smacking them lips, boy.
Have you upgraded your PC?
Big ass
Cloud is
tits, and
no
he's like,
Cloud
"It's
is no
time."
Cloud is no longer allowed to complain about my PC, and Sage is no longer allowed to destroy it. I got a brand new one that just came out last night.
Wait, does that mean he can destroy? Wait, can he just destroy the old one now?
Invincible
It's technically just sitting behind me doing nothing right now.
Oh yeah, hand it over at Evo.
Sage probably already has dibs after the 30 or 40 or 50 times he's mentioned the idea of taking a hammer to it. So
Respectfully.
Continue, Cloud, and then I'll finish my point.
Well, I don't even know what this question at hand was. I just
I
came
hate
in
you.
interject.
It was just
Rollback.
It was just what rollback motivate you more.
I
to
didn't
keep
hear.
playing.
I just came back. I'm gonna go grab an Oreo.
God damn it,
A
John.
singular Oreo?
Oh, yeah, because I'll actually be able to play. Yes,
No
What
bad.
kind? Is it the yellow one or the black?
it's double stuffed. But
Okay.
yeah, rollback would be as sweet as a double stuffed Oreo, right? Because I'd be able to play people without worrying about connection if they handle it correctly.
Fair enough.
Which
That's
is
very
banned. I said they
scary.
won't.
If I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah, that's very
yeah.
if.
I like I think that for the competitive scene, if they release rollback and it's bad, oh no, it's over, bro.
over.
It's
Oh,
sorry.
it's
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 as the
Jover.
kids say, it's Jover, as the kids say.
yeah.
Yo, it's
Oh,
Jover,
Jover, bro.
bros.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
honestly,
if it's
Jake,
good,
that would
like,
be the final nail in the coffin, to be honest.
yeah, if
Yeah.
it's good, it's like, dang, I can play everybody on the East Coast. I can play people in Texas, like that's
Japan.
You can actually play the video game. It's fucking
Yeah.
crazy what
And
happens when you can, right?
because I can't
shit.
like it doesn't feel good to play online, especially with the new patch where it's like everybody's got a 4-frame reversal.
Yeah.
Let's deal with this,
Nah, how
and
am I
there's a
supposed
4-frame delay. Everything's
already-
invincible, baby.
It's already hard enough to meaty somebody as it is offline. Now you got to do it
Yeah.
online.
I want to scream
Uh,
eternally, dude, when it's just bouncing between like 2 to 4 frames and it just
Oh.
spikes and
Yeah,
like
get
everything just
ass.
falls apart. I guess
Because
my
one
offense-
frame, 1 to 2 frames literally is like it makes the difference
Yeah,
for
right
sure.
there and then. And yeah, it's
I'm
And
not
the
gonna lie though.
flipping-
The netcode is such a big thing too, because there's been so many times where I've like literally wanted to stream, and then I'll be in like Nitro stream watching him, and I would just see him getting trolled by like a time stone, and I'm just like, I don't want to stream
The
anymore.
Oh, yeah.
time stone is so
I was-
insane.
I was actually at one point collecting clips to make like a video complaining about it, but my folder got too full that I feel like it would just not be a fun video. It would not be a fun video. So I
And
just
eventually get
scrapped
old,
the whole
right?
thing. Yeah, it would get old because it's all the same thing where like the game stops, I drop an input, he super dashes at me, and I die. That's like that is the clip
Bro, I've done
times
that so
100.
much.
I had like 100 of those.
Yeah, you know it's bad when I've got a more consistent and basically similar connection against Seihan playing Street Fighter than I do with Jake playing Dragon Ball.
Bro, me and Jake got to play Street Fighter in the beta, and I was like, wow,
This is good. This is playable.
this is good.
It really doesn't hit home
It's
until you like
incredible, actually.
do something that you couldn't do before. It's just like I'm playing somebody from West Coast, and I did like when I'm playing like the few times I did play Street Fighter, I didn't even like realize I'm online sometimes. Like it's not even an afterthought anymore. Actually, it's like until you're done playing, you're just like, wait a minute. I was just playing online.
He's
I
like,
get
"Oh,
on
it's
Dragon
the lobby."
Ball. It's just, and then it hits me, and I'm like, wait a minute.
I'm
Like,
playing online.
You think it creates an opportunity to have more friends? To have more friends
oh,
overall?
for sure.
Oh,
for sure.
because I mean, it's you are able to connect people like crazy, like never before, where you can have a community of players from literally anywhere on the globe. and
Bro.
you can just all be playing and practicing and improving.
My first
I think
interaction
it
with
would definitely strengthen relationships. I would say as well.
No,
right?
no,
Like,
100%. Like my first interaction with Leffen was on Strive. We played a set. We played a tournament set for this team battle, and it was just like that. That was my first interaction, and we
Interact with
cannot get
Leffen.
that on Dragon Ball.
My condolences.
yeah. I think that's really good, right? Because even people like Seon, I've met Seon at the World Tours, but it would be nice to be able to play Seon for real, in a game with Robot. It'll create like that bond, like, oh, like now I
Man,
can actually talk
like,
to you.
everyone's saying they're
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, this
exactly.
patch is great for content. I'm like, nah, the patch that's gonna be great for fucking content is when niggas can actually play the goddamn game together when the rollback releases.
I'm still waiting to fight Lotus because even though you were at Evo, because I'd never been to Evo before.
Man,
we were both
I've been to
under,
like
the
6
notion that
tournaments
it was
where I'm supposed to
gonna
play
be
with Jake,
open
and we've
the
never
last day.
gotten the
Yeah.
chance.
Bro, we never overlap. I'm like, oh, Lotus isn't here, and then I'm in a commentator block, and I see Lotus out there, and I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, you do be grinded, but yeah, as they really pulled the rug out from under me at Evo last year when I was like, oh yeah, I was making all these plans, so like I'm gonna buy this tomorrow, I'm gonna be playing with Raptor, I'm gonna play with Jen, and then that shit was closed. I was like, hey, yo, what the
you don't
fuck?
know.
I didn't, like
did it to me
this
too,
year
bro.
I knew, but last year I didn't know. However, apparently next year it's gonna be like that where it actually is open, but I don't know if I'm gonna be there next year. We'll see.
It was a constant stream of people. It was a constant stream of people thinking the same thing we did,
Yeah.
and we
I was
had to
one of them.
turn them away because they didn't know.
Yeah.
Dude, there's no way Evo's gonna be open on Sunday. It's gonna be Thursday, Friday, Saturday because Sunday would impact their arena tickets.
That is also true.
Well, whatever the case is, there's going to be a third day. They made an announcement. I forget what it was exactly. I don't think I.
If it's a day before, I'm with that.
Yeah,
dude,
they had said it's now going to be 3 days and it's going to be at a different new location.
Whatever the case is, just having that third day, I think, makes a big difference because it just feels
Get
like you're
ready for Evo Australia.
You're trying so hard to cram
I
so much
would
stuff
lose my
into
mind.
those first 2 days, and it's just
Now you all know how, like, you'd all know how it feels to fucking travel to this country.
And we're not traveling to Australia.
I promise you, you could not.
Nah, they did have that one tournament that was out there because I remember the first time I got to see Raptor play offline.
Oh, yeah, no,
there was
they
like all the
did,
time. It was
and
like, yo,
that's-
it's the Australia hit player. You know what I'm saying? I think you ended up making like top 16.
I'm telling you, I've
It's
never
why they've
thought-
never
I've
done
never
another one
traveled.
since.
Yeah, it was
Because
just
nobody
it was,
wanted to.
It was just that one in
nobody
season
wanted to
1. Everyone was
travel.
like, I will never make that trip again, and I was like, damn, it's like that.
I'm never going to Australia again.
Again, you never win.
Wait, you went?
You don't know that?
No, you never win.
You don't know
Let me see your
that.
passport right now. What a stamp at?
I don't collect.
Still remember. I remember Lord
Cap.
Knight, like way back when, with Lord Knight during that trip. Actually, Lord Knight apparently had a great time because he stayed an extra 2 days
Of course,
just to
he
get
didn't. He didn't see a spider.
That too, but he stayed. He might have. He probably just doesn't remember because he spent the 2 days getting just totally shit faced.
Sounds about
that would do it.
Which is like,
That's okay.
yeah, the Australian pastime.
I bet
What
you,
the hell's Russia?
I bet you if people looked at my passport, it would look weird the fact that I didn't leave the country for like several years. The next thing and they know on my
France.
passport, on my passports over an 11-month period, I went to France 3 times.
That is kind of
Yeah,
wild.
I feel the exact same way. I'm just like, what am I doing here?
I bet that looks weird as hell.
They always look at my passport weird. Just like, yeah, you been to France? Sure.
I actually have a question for everyone then.
Go on.
If we were to get a rollback, would that diminish the offline play?
So that's an interesting discourse that I've been seeing in general. On
I
Twitter
probably
lately.
wouldn't have to talk to you anymore. So hopefully.
So
I still feel like
I am
I
of
still
the
feel like
opinion.
because
go on.
sorry.
No, you can go.
All right. Well, I was just gonna say like, it helps because you are able to bring more people into the game, and it's easier to get serious about the game when the online isn't just a complete circus show.
Shut up, did you?
So you can actually get people who want to continue to like improve at the game and then get competitive, which will then feed into an offline scene.
Yeah, I want to.
I have
I don't want that.
terrible news for you, Raptor. All offline events are dying. CO lost money last year.
Doesn't CO lose money every
I'm
year?
saying I see it going both ways. I do think that obviously there's a combination of factors that led up to this, but a lot of events are dying and some are legitimately dead. Like there are several like regionals and even in other events that we've lost in the last few years.
West
You know,
Coast
There's-
has nothing.
I would say there's no NCR, no
Well, does
SCR.
West Coast have anything to offer?
You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
we got
Like,
festival fights, baby.
bro, I remember really looking forward to
Jake,
fucking
please, that's a
NorCal and
local.
SoCal regionals and shit. I remember in season 1, seeing fucking Tatsu beat Moke and losing my fucking mind at that region. I was like, yo, what? Like this nigga nice, bro. Like that.
Like what can you do when like how do you beat the comfort of your own home? Like why would I want to travel spend $500,
and that's my thing.
$600?
While I feel that obviously good netcode would encourage people to practice more and be more motivated, and then as a byproduct, like, all right, well, now I want to go test my skills at an event. I got to practice whatever. I'm about to go to a tournament. Simultaneously, it's a lot of niggas because I feel like a lot of niggas is just lazy. They'll be like, fuck, I need to lead a grade for. I can just play online. You know what I'm saying?
It's not even a lazy factor though, right, Lotus? Because like, why do I really want to spend $600 to play my when I can just play online and it's the same result? And it's like this time, like, and I'm in my.
I can attest to that. I can attest to that because even as a nigga who like. I'm not like a tournament player. I'm not like super. I mean, I've played in tournaments. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a top level competitive player, right? But as a content creator, I'd be at some of these events. I'm like, I could really be home restreaming this and watching it and shit right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
even though I'm having fun while I'm there, you know what I'm saying? It's like one of the biggest draws is like I get to play this shit offline with some niggas. You know what I'm saying? And then also, you know, the events is cool. You know, you get to shop the artist alley and stuff like that. See people in person. You know, that's a whole vibe in and of itself. That's all well and good. But it's like, as somebody who already goes to events, sometimes I'm like, I could low-key be back at the crib though. I could see plenty of people who's like, nigga, what I need to go to this tournament for? Nigga, we got rollback. Like, I'm gonna just play online. It's the same shit.
I think it really ties back to the community piece of it too, because one of the times I was most motivated to go to tournaments is when every week I was going to Wednesday Night Fights. You're playing against some of the best players.
WNF.
Super Noon, Subatomic Sabers, Kuba at the time, Reynold, like at the peak of the game, and it's you want to show up.
Sorry, Jake. Enzo, you're echoing. Sorry.
That one time, Leffen popped out.
Yeah, and then exactly, and like Leffen showed up, played at the tournament, and like I had that kind of a resurgence too with the last season because it was myself, Zane, Garlic Bread, Alekovic, and all of us like going to these tournaments and training, and that's what does it for me. So I think again, rollback, I think that would make it even better because it's like, okay, now we're all practicing again and it's good practice. We want to go out and actually play at this event. So I think it would be a good thing because it kind of replicates that feeling that's now lost because not only have they lost these regionals, we've lost a lot of our locals.
Yeah.
So two things that I want to say actually is the only problem with obviously doing tournaments on rollback, especially like the big ones, right? That let's be honest, still the FTC, we don't have most people don't have good equipment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people have bumped into that a lot, like just a bad PC, bad connection. Or just like something happens that day, just causes their internet to blow up for some reason.
Not a word cloud.
That sounded personal.
Nah, we've all been there.
You know, like what if I had to play Zayn on Street Fighter in his little PC? I did. It didn't work. But continue on. Another thing is that like if you guys ever noticed, the big online tournaments that have happened recently haven't had as much viewership as the offline tournaments.
I've definitely taken notice of that, and I wonder how much of that is because there's such an oversaturation of it now. With rollback netcode obviously becoming the standard in so many games, and every new fighting game that's coming out releasing with it, we're seeing an increasing amount of online weeklies and like I guess what you'd want to call online majors, and we're even seeing something like Capcom Cup have a lot of its tour actually being hosted online, and it just feels like there's this oversaturation of this influx of all these events, and it's like causing somewhat of a burnout. Two, it's difficult for not only players, but obviously viewers and spectators to keep up with everything. And there's so many different events going on that it's hard to keep up. And like you either get exhausted of playing or exhausted of watching. And I'm wondering how much of that is actually a detriment to the scene. And I don't know. It's weird. I think it's an interesting conversation, but I don't know how both online events and offline events manage to coincide together and then entice people and convince them that it's worth doing one or the other, or like how offline events are going to continue to thrive or even to break even, because obviously, as we know, like some of them are losing money, and that's why some of them have died off. And incentivize, I don't know, advertisers to invest in them and feel like this is worth it, and to believe in esports and FGC, and incentivize players to come out and make them feel like it's worth their while and worth obviously all the expensive costs of travel and lodging and then food while you're there. And then obviously you're gonna want to have some fun, so you're gonna want to shop a little bit if you're like most people, because I know I can't go through the artist alley without buying a fucking keychain or some shit, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then when it comes to like the online shit,
there has to
like,
be an incentive.
Yeah, but it's like, how do you
it has to be an
like
incentive.
what is the incentive? How do you do that? I don't know. I don't have the answer.
More money in the tournaments, really. Like if you look at Evo, for example, it is what, 20K for first place.
But that's what I'm saying. It's
again,
like, how do you incentivize advertisers to contribute to that and invest in it, make it feel like it's worth them giving money to sponsor the events and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
To counteract that too, and about the money, and I like looking at the numbers for BBB versus the Street Fighter event that Bum ran. It's like even with the money behind it, sometimes the people just don't show up, and it's like really frustrating. It's like, damn, what do you do then?
$18,000, $18K.
And that wasn't enough to get more people to go. And
that's what I was gonna say.
It was a great event. It like the venue
was spectacular.
Was good,
Bum
all
always
these
does
things.
an incredible job at hosting these
and
events.
it's like even when he put that much in, people still didn't show up, and it's like
my house is more
what
comfortable,
next?
Jay.
Right?
I like being at my home playing.
See, the way I see it
some
is
people just can't afford it.
the future. I feel like the future way is going to be like, look at these other esport games, right? Look at like Apex Legends, right? They got ALGS finals this happening this weekend, right? It's criminal crop, $2 million pop prize, right? That people qualified through a bunch of online qualifiers, right? So I could see the future of the next fighting games, right? Or just how the direction it's going to go to is you go qualify online, and then you go to an offline finale, right? You spent all this time, you invested it, all this time to go make however much they're gonna have in the pop bonus input by whether, let's just say hypothetically TNS, right? Maybe, can opener series, right? Or like that, we once did for Dragon Ball, me and Rek and Co. That's a huge incentive for people, right? Like, oh, I spent all this time practicing, got my points, and now I got to travel somewhere in a enclosed space area with other people, other high level players that also grinded and put in all the effort and have a good time without. And don't get me wrong, offline events are great, but like just the time period of, as at least a competitor aspect, right? It's like having to sit down, wait an hour or two to play your game, right? Just stuck in the venue, not being able to do everything can be very off-putting for competitors, right? And if every competitor is like, oh, I don't want to travel, right? That also impacts viewership. Without the competitors, the high level ones, you're not going to have the viewers. You see where I'm going with this?
Right.
Yeah. Although I will say this, that I think one of the reasons why the offline still get a lot more viewers than most onlines is that even with rollback, a lot of online tournaments do tend to at least relatively be regional based, like NA tournaments or NA tournaments, Europe tournaments, even for Street Fighter for a lot of the time. So when people actually go to these offlines, and it's to the point where people from Europe flew here, or NA flew here, or Japan flew here, more people watch those because people get more interest, I think, in who's the best when everyone gets the chance to fight each other, rather than just these regional stuff.
Yeah, but those are
that too.
They're so far and few between, though, right? There's like maybe 3 tournaments, 4 that attract international competition. Everything else is kind of just hung out to dry, right? Like UFA is what, next weekend? 2 weeks from now?
No, Thanksgiving.
2 months.
When? 2 months? Oh shit.
2 months.
Well,
2 months.
my point is still going to stand that like you're gonna have, you're not really gonna have people. Who here is anybody here going to UFA from NA?
If I get hired,
so okay, it'd be for work.
I would have if it wasn't a holiday.
Yeah, maybe.
It totally made traveling another 46 hours to get there.
There you go.
100%.
Right. So
100%.
that's like the big issue too. If we just comes back to travel, money, time. Not everybody has the time for that. And if these TOs want to keep their events going, they're gonna have to probably double the price they charge already, and people are gonna be like, "Well, I already paid like $150 to go to Evo. Now it's $300 plus everything else." It's
like a double-edged sword at that point, no, Club?
Come again?
It's more like a double-edged sword at that point for the players and the TOs, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but TOs, if they just run online events for the comfort of their own home, like how much do you think TNS makes? Like running 3 tournaments a week, running all those ads, getting all the subs in the comfort of their own house instead of like running out a venue every week. They make plenty, right?
A lot, yeah.
Yeah. So the TNS is probably looking at it like, damn, we make this much, being at home, but we do the offline thing because we love the community. Financially, it's a terrible decision, right? But they do it because they love the community, But eventually, they're going to reach an impasse where they're going to have to make a decision. And I wouldn't fault them for them being like, you know what? We have to stay online. Maybe they'll switch to invitationals, but it's just so hard financially.
And look at this too. Like all these online tournaments are typically free to enter. The times where there has been an entry fee, the whole community was up in arms. And it's not like these brackets just run themselves. It's not like the stream production is getting run for free. It's not like all this equipment and the commentators are like appearing out of thin air. It's like the whole infrastructure of it is like 9 out of 10 times when you see a commentator on a stream and the producer and everything, like everybody's doing it because they love it. They're not getting paid for these positions.
Exactly.
Right? And it's like we ask, hey, can you pay $5 to enter this tournament that I'm hosting? It has 500 something people in it, or even like 60 people in it. And all of a sudden it's the worst thing in the world. It's like, why would you charge this? I'm sitting at home to play. And it's like, tournaments are a privilege. They're not a given. And it's not sustainable for like organizers to, I really think it's not sustainable for organizers to not charge, especially with how much work it takes to coordinate in the Discord, make sure that everybody's connections are fine, troubleshoot with people for hours, right? Like there's so many hands that go in the pot, and it's like there's a lot of people who just do it for free, and without them, if we get frustrated, it's over. Like it's hard.
I mean, we could look at Team Spooky, right? That's a perfect example.
Or even Bum, to be honest, because sorry, I was eating while I was letting everyone speak. Remember, Bum used to charge $10 to enter, City of Mayhem and shit, right? And eventually he stopped, and then he started grinding Match Arena really hard. He's always pushing, and he's done a very great job of like getting good prize pools for the players and everything, right?
Nobody can push a Match Arena like Bum.
Yeah, but there were a lot of people there were a lot of people that were coming at Bum's neck. I remember at one point, it's like, how the fuck you charging $10 for an online event? It's like, bro, because he's trying to pay the TOs that are helping him run it in the Discord. He's trying to pay the players, obviously. It's like, and like, yeah, I'm sure as anyone
greedy,
logically
bro.
would. No, but I'm sure logically as anyone would, he would also like to make a little bit of money. But a lot of that shit is either like breaking even or very little profit, because it's like,
he also reinvests pretty much everything back into the scene.
You know what I'm saying? Niggas out there buying $2,000 cameras and all these mics and equipment, consoles. You know what I'm saying? It's like
working out the venues.
It's like, bro, do y'all think this shit come free? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like, there's no sponsors here either. I mean, he's actually just a fucking one-man army. Like, he just books it out on his own dime.
Yeah, so it's
like
interesting because
the recent Street Fighter tournament obviously didn't have that many people, right? You definitely went negative on that one.
I would say like he absolutely had to have lost money on that, and that's just the bullet that he bit, because he wanted to do something like that for the community. I'm sure he expected a better turnout than that, and I was disappointed for him that it wasn't better, because I expected it to be a lot bigger. Right?
I thought it was going to be huge.
Yeah,
$18,000 in the pot, and what, 60 people entered?
Give or take.
Yeah, roughly. Without DQs, I don't even know. But you can, I don't know. It's unfortunate. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
It's just, people are so used to being in the comfort of their own home, right?
Yeah,
Especially like the
I wouldn't even say it's just that, because like
what I was gonna follow up with was like, especially the top level players are like, oh, I'll just enter can opener, TNS, and just win that, or get second place and like make the same amount through running ads and winning the tournament, or getting second and getting subs, right? Because it's a domino effect, right? Like I bet every time Punk wins a tournament, he gets like 50 subs or something, right? Runs ads.
I believe Strive players were having this like exact discussion quite a while ago, wasn't it? With the just complete oversaturation of online like tournaments and how easy it is to not go to offlines, which was a real fun suffering from success situation with Dragon Ball over here.
Don't ask me. I don't keep up with the online anything.
I mean, it's hard. There's so much now, which is like, again, it's a blessing and a curse. It's a double-edged sword. But this is like, I don't blame people for not knowing about certain events or not tuning in, because it's like, I mean, I'm sure there's tournaments going on for games right now as we speak that I.
Well, there definitely is one.
What's happening right now?
Pass by it.
I need to tickle my casual bone real quick. Look, I need to know. I have a question. I made a tweet not too long ago. I hate to switch the topic. We can stay on. Lotus, you're the moderator. Can I cook?
Go ahead, chef it up.
All right. So I made a tweet after I saw how the limit break characters were with the little level 1 and the level 3, and how crazy just limit break characters were. That got me to thinking, man. I was like, I found myself, at least early on, that it kind of died out eventually, but early on, right after the patch, I was like, damn, I low-key just want my first 2 characters to die real quick so I can like do some crazy shit with my limit break character. And then that made me think, I was like, what if Dragon Ball FighterZ had like just the option? I know they have the option locally for 1v1, but
the Skull Girls
break isn't on.
Oh, you want Skull Girls? Is what
Skull Girls.
I've never played.
I don't think Dion knows a lot about Skull Girls, but the option to be like, I want to go in with just having one character from the jump, or just.
You have a
No,
ratio
I
system.
just want it to be like a mode where it's just 1v1. So both sides, but like let's say triple the health or something, or double the health.
Yeah, that's
and
what it
then
is.
like limit break. Like do you guys think 1v1 in a competitive, because if you're playing locally you can do 1v1. Obviously right now FighterZ has it to where if it is 1v1 you're not limit break, because you have to like tag in for that to like activate or whatever. But yeah, I don't know, what would you guys think? Because I feel like adding a little more spice to the game, I know it's built to be a team game, and also the other question is, one, would that be dope? Two, would like, who do you think would be the best character in the game if it was just a 1v1, like with probably Gogeta, I would guess.
Yeah,
Gogeta 4 probably. Yeah,
it would be
Gogeta 4. I think the level 7 blue Gogeta would be insane.
Well, the cool part about the idea of a 1v1 for Dragon Ball especially is the fact that Dragon Ball doesn't really have much in terms of counter picking or anything like that. But in a 1v1 version, there actually could be counter picking in Dragon Ball, and I think that would be interesting to see.
Right, I think that would be sick. I don't know. Again, that's just the casual bone, but I'm
that,
just
that one touch game will go so crazy.
Yeah, we probably wouldn't be able to have the
it's a
situation
triple
where
health,
characters die in one touch. Or,
I was gonna say, yeah,
You gonna give Tien more health?
If we have triple health and don't change the damage,
What do y'all
then, yeah, it's fine.
what do y'all think the neutral would be like if that were a thing, right? Because is it people like, I'm about to just wild up from the start and get this hit right away, or do you think niggas would be like, I don't know, bro, because if I get hit once, it's a wrap for me, you know what I'm saying? Like,
suddenly these full screen anti-neutral lariats aren't exactly all that good anymore, because suddenly you do it and you can't have an assist to do it, so all of a sudden you're
right,
you're
now you're not doing full screen of lariat into assist.
That would
into
actually
mix
be
and
really
shit
interesting.
like that,
Yeah.
so
I think
the funny part is even. Oh yeah, but even with the triple health, S Broly would still find a way to TOD you.
Someone brought an interesting thing. Coach Steve used to win 1v1 tournaments back in season 3.
Oh yeah,
that was a thing.
Yeah, they're fun.
Those were that was an era. But yeah, Coach Steve used to do
You've
that.
just,
So shout outs to him.
You just reminded me of the 3v3 from the Summit House way back in the day.
When everyone played the
Team
the
Double
only thing I remember
and
that
all that
one
shit.
was Cell and the two Kid Boo's team named Cell's Daycare.
And then it was Piccolo Diccolo.
It was double Diccolo.
Oh,
It was Hook Apology Man, and it was Hook Apology Man, and I think Nakil. Didn't they end up winning? I'm pretty sure they ended up winning that too.
I don't even remember that myself.
I forget who the third member was.
I think it was Nakil, and I think he was playing Super Saiyan Goku.
This is also
that's fire.
Also casual bone, because we've been on the competitive shit. We talked about fuzzies. We talked about these characters and their buffs and stuff. Now we're in my domain. All right. I want to know.
Okay, Gojo.
Do we want to see more? Do we want to see more? Do you want to see more DLC like outside of characters? I want to see more DLC like cosmetic shit. Like
oh yeah, for
different
sure.
outfits,
Oh yeah, easily.
I would unironically, I would 100%.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Raptor.
Well, I was just gonna be quick because I was gonna say I would 100% pay the price of a full character for just UI Omen. Like side, just give me that shit. Just please.
Or Super Saiyan God Vegeta.
Yo, Super Saiyan God.
Super Saiyan Vegeta in the tank top. That's all I want. Like just put him in the tank top. I'm good.
No Majin.
I'd rather have Majin Vegeta be his own character because I feel like he.
That is true. That's true.
Yeah.
I think
does Bandai even realize how much money they've missed out on by not putting costumes in this game?
I don't know if it's someone up at Shueisha or someone at
say-
Bandai or what, but there's somebody out there that is just so overprotective of their IP that they just refuse to literally print money. Because I would buy the game 3-4 times over in terms of costumes and extra skins and shit.
Added new costumes. They could add a new costume for like a couple characters like once a month or something like that. Because I feel like it wouldn't be heavy development, strain or anything like that. So on their part, it's not like a lot of man hours being put in. And then
No
on
stages
we're
added,
gonna
by
eat
the
that
way.
shit up.
Dude, if I play,
This is the only Dragon Ball game without the time chamber, by the way. Like in recent years, the only game, the one where it would be the most relevant. The most relevant, where it's like, oh, instead of going into the lab to practice, like I'm going into the time chamber. That was like the easiest setup, slam dunk,
whatever the fuck that
imaginable.
is with the points in the background. The
Galactic
Arena. That's the only new map we ever got.
How about this as an idea, right? How about we have some Twitch drops? That would be great for everyone overall.
It's the game's too late, and that's why.
Yeah,
Watch
but
the
they
game
would
for 2
never,
hours, watch the streamer
they
for
would
2 hours, and you get an
never
outfit.
do that, dog.
But that would probably be the best thing they
It
could
would
do. For
it would
the
be
game.
sick.
Yeah, it would
I-
be.
How much?
I
are-
would just
how much
say as well.
If ifs and buts was candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry
No,
Christmas.
I
you feel
think
me?
it's just a case of like, so for anyone who doesn't know, FighterZ is currently still the single best and fastest selling Dragon Ball game of all time.
Yeah,
I think at that
and
point
by
they're just
far
like
and away,
they-
Arxis' biggest, most popular, best-selling
Oh
game
yeah,
of all
I
time.
mean it's still smashing the shit out of Strive. Like
No, literally, I think
sales-wise.
Strive is somewhere around like a milli, and DBFZ is like
Oh,
over
yeah.
10. So it's literally
But it's
10
like-
times. the
so
amount.
it's the fastest selling and best selling.
I just need
Yeah,
I just
Dragon
need
Ball
to have
game
a
of all
conversation
time.
with somebody, bro. Like I really
So-
wish I could just like hit somebody up on speed dial. Like you guys are missing.
I mean,
like, you
so
could make
many
so
people-
much
how
money
mu-
just with you don't
how
have to
many
worry about
times
all
has
the
Dodo tweeted
technical, like as somebody who I used to do QA testing, it wasn't for fucking Dragon Ball or fighting games, but as somebody who
2K?
did like bare bones quality assurance testing back before I did YouTube, like I know whenever there's any sort of update in terms of like something balance related, I couldn't imagine how hard it would be to like quality assurance test that. I mean, luckily for us, FighterZ doesn't seem to be quality assurance testing any of their fucking buffs and shit like that.
Oh,
But
clearly not.
nevertheless,
Lucky us.
I bring that up to say, like, you wouldn't have to do any of that if you're just adding a new costume or a new map or little shit like that. I mean, you would have to do a little bit, but nothing nearly as extreme as actually overhauling a character, which is what they have been doing every patch.
There's shit in the game files. Like Omen is in the game files. You just flip a switch. I'm pretty sure there's also like
It's
Super
a dramatic
Saiyan
finish for
Vegito.
it.
Just
Yeah,
like
it's a
in
dramatic
the
finish
files.
for it,
Like, it's in there.
Yeah, Super Saiyan Gogeta.
The saddest thing is that probably hundreds of people would literally spend $5 just to play Super Saiyan Vegeta with an M on his head.
Yeah,
I would.
No, that's
No, you're gonna color swap.
There are probably like hundreds to thousands of people that would spend $5 for it just to have.
I ain't gonna hold you
with
if
the gray outfit, like I would pay for that. Like honestly, I just
I'd have paid $5 for the Pigtail Videl.
This is the biggest one. This is the biggest one. The only reason I don't play TN is because I'm sorry, in my opinion, the green drip was way better than whatever, like the Dragon Ball Super.
You and Dotto both feel that way, and I don't get it because I like TN's outfit.
I agree.
Nah, I need swole Dragon Ball Z TN with the shirt off, bro. That's the TN that I like.
You just attracted
that
them,
shit
bro.
would be hype, dude.
Oh,
yeah,
just attracted.
I think the only costume that I like would want and I'd immediately pay for, and I'm surprised they never did it, is if they gave Super Saiyan Goku a Super Saiyan 4 skin and they kept everything the same and they just made it. No,
Shit's still in the game.
That
We
is
want them to have a what?
You cooking, but they would not do that
No,
because
but
it's not
all
Super Saiyan 4
That
Goku.
would be too
But
hard.
all-
You would
but
have
all
to animate
yeah,
the tail.
but all they would do is just make his beams red, like in the old games when he did 10 times Kamehameha, and I'm lit. I'm good.
Because
let him cook.
those audio files are in the game, by the way, and they sync up to Super Saiyan Goku's level 3.
Bro, just give me
That
base.
was way back.
Bro,
Like that shit's
give me.
it's in the files.
Just give me base Goku and take his shirt off, man. That's all I need.
Yep.
Oh, battle damage would actually
all
would
of
be
them-
easier.
If they just dropped a costume pack and then like half the roster gets a secondary costume, because why is Videl the only one who gets to like switch between the pigtails?
Well, y'all remember
he's
in the
I know.
in the
That's
files
how they get me. That's how.
in the files they actually found like that icon that shows that they had plans for there to be alternate costumes because there's like a whole like thing like a button that you're supposed to be able to push
Way
with a
back
costume
when,
swapping
yeah.
thing. And we found that
It
back in
says-
season 1. I say
Wait,
Also,
they found that
maybe
back in
they're
season 1
working
and it
right
never
now.
got
You know,
used.
there was also a thing where it was like instead of having like the idle characters for character select, they would like do motions like they would
Yeah,
try.
no, the idle animations, yeah, where when you selected them, like
Yeah,
Hit
when
would
you
pull his
select them.
hands out of his pockets.
Yeah.
Maybe they're working on it for DBZFC too.
DBZFC.
Okay, do y'all actually
DBZFC.
okay, how many people in this call actually think that there will be a Dragon Ball Fighters 2?
I hope
there
it
has to
is.
be.
It's
They
in like
won't,
in like
they
5
I
years.
do, but a better question would be: do you think there's one like near?
No.
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 There's
not
one
no.
near,
Listen,
but I do
Ox-
think there will eventually, at some
Yeah.
point, we're gonna get like hit with
Ox-
the craziest
yeah.
mix.
I would say
Arc
there would
System
be
works
one
are like
near if we
100,
didn't
there are
get rollback.
180 people, by the way. The entirety of Arc System works over every team. It's 180 people, so
I do
they
wanna
are
say
they
one
are
thing,
spread
though.
thin.
And you know that,
also-
you know
But we don't know
almost
if Arxis is
Bro.
even gonna make the next one.
Yeah,
It
I
ain't
think the most
DBFZ if they
realistic. I think I was gonna say I think the most realistic answer here is that they're designing this rollback as a stress test for something in the future,
Yeah,
whether it
maybe,
could be One Piece, Hunter x Hunter, right, or Dragon Ball.
I think
Bleach,
you have
Bleach,
to
Bleach,
understand
Bleach.
as well. They have made a Dragon Ball One Piece crossover before on the DS because it was the Extreme Butoden X, the One Piece game they made.
That shit was lit.
A stress
That's
test how
like,
though?
it's
'Cause,
real.
like, they already have rollback in every other fucking game that they've made. Except
Not
this
for
one.
a fucking tag fighter where everything's
Yes,
moving at a
because
fucking
it's a
million
custom
miles.
Yeah, I was
game
gonna say,
and these mechanics.
You
I
could not put
guess, yeah.
Street. You can't put
That's
Street
fair.
Fighter.
But here's the thing though. Remember, Arc System Works isn't working on Dragon Ball anymore. So this is
Yeah,
Bandai
it's
making.
Bandai.
Oh yeah,
This is
that is
Bandai
also
making
true.
rollback.
This is Bandai's rollback, and you know they have never made
we gotta
that.
be careful, you know, when
But
some of
didn't
these
they,
crazy changes happen, everyone's like, "Man, ArcSys, come on, ArcSys, like,
Man, I forget who, but maybe maybe one of you know.
I've had to correct so many people about the fact that
literally.
it's just doing these things.
Wasn't it confirmed though? I forget who he is, but there's someone notable and noteworthy that knows what the fuck they're doing with rollback. That is like the head, like piloting this thing to develop it for DBFZ. I don't remember who, but does anyone remember?
He probably got
modder, right?
He probably got moved to
That dude
Budokai 4
probably
at this
got
point.
that dude probably got booted from the earth as soon as Bandai heard about it.
I don't remember who he was, but he'd already developed rollback for another game. It might have been Strive. It might have been, I don't know.
I think it was Street Fighter, wasn't it?
I don't remember, but it was someone, and we were all like, "Oh shit, like that's what's up," and I just can't remember his name.
If you think about it, if they did drop Dragon Ball FighterZ
dude
2,
got erased.
wouldn't it low key, based off of all the patches that we've received for current Dragon Ball Fighters, like what if, let's say, they stopped updating Dragon Ball Fighters at season 2 or season 3, and then they dropped Dragon Ball Fighters 2, but it's just like how this patch is, because
Then I'd
that's
hate
the
life.
direction they wanted to take the game, obviously. So it's like, what if they drop Dragon Ball Fighters 2 and it's just like what this patch is? So in a sense, like, because this game is completely different than it was when it first came out. Like, this is damn near a different game. It just visually looks the same.
Yeah,
I think there's definitely some credence to that,
right?
since they did that same shit with Luke and Street Fighter 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the
It
thing:
doesn't have
people
to
would
be
be
a new
oh,
DBFZ too. It could just be a UI overhaul.
yeah. Well, people would be okay if the drastic changes came in the form of a 2 because it's a whole new game. People you can't compare it to the old game.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So it's like, oh.
that makes a lot of sense, 'cause that's a big thing for
honestly,
me too.
though-
Is that like it's hard to accept the game for what it is when I know what it used to be and how much I used
Yeah.
to love what it used to be. But when the game
Yeah.
if a new game just releases that way, like
It
you take
drops
it,
like that.
yeah, you take it for what it is. Like, oh, this is just how the game is. I'm not comparing it to like, oh, but I remember like 3 years ago when I played this game, it was this. It's like, no, this is just how the game is, and if you either like it or you don't, but you have a different perspective, I think, on how you view it because this is how it is off rip.
Yeah, made only worse by the fact that we had this. Sorry about that, by the way. Just the fact that we've literally had to watch it happen year to year. Like, it's not like
It's slowly progressing to what you guys don't like about the game, yeah.
It's every single year, every single patch. We're basically all saying we didn't want this, and then the next patch we don't care. And then just
Yo, son.
going.
These last like 4
want
patches
this point.
specifically, it's like, yo, we didn't ask for that, and they're like, well, we're gonna tell you what you want.
He's
Yeah,
like,
listen,
well,
You don't want
Guess I can't argue
Goku's
with
the
that.
only. You don't want
Hey,
the
don't-
only change to Goku Blue to be his fight meme down to flex small key blast.
And then
Too
Nerd
bad.
was
That's
command
not
gun.
hype.
Sorry, bud.
That's
Too
not
bad.
hype.
Yeah, that's not hype.
Anyway, I'm glad I could switch this conversation back to casual shit. I am gonna leave again. Goodbye.
This
I love you
kid,
guys.
bro.
I hate
But
this
who's-
guy.
But whose fault would it be, right? Like, is it their fault or our fault for continue playing the game?
Oh, it's a combination of both because obviously it's a matter of like
Gaslit.
it's a matter of like who do they decide to listen to? Clearly, it's not like us in
Hey,
this call,
don't
right?
forget,
But then
they
also-
remember they got feedback from us. They told us we gave them feedback that
clearly
we
told
don't
them we
want
wanted
this.
to That was auto combo that way, right,
I don't
Danny?
remember them giving us no email, no form to fill out. I ain't seen no Twitter posts.
Wait.
You see
I
the
don't
Reddit post, Lotus?
I don't use Reddit.
Daniel. Don't you remember that day that we asked for Vidal's auto combo to whiff on crouchers?
Oh yeah, you didn't see the Facebook or the MySpace Reddit post?
The
or whatever?
MySpace post?
I think
the MySpace
I'm
post.
gonna be honest. I don't want to say this because I feel like this might be extremely petty, but like I feel like they be making changes out of spite sometimes.
No,
Like,
they 100% do.
Nah,
the
I
entire
think so
community
too. They
asked
be
for
like,
us
"Here,
to
nigga,
it
damn."
was like, please
No,
remove
wait.
these special moves having extra properties like key blast involved, projectile involved. Gotta go. They're like, say less. Guard
Hold on.
point.
I gotta add to that, dude. I gotta add to that.
You're gonna put it on normals.
Someone at ArcSys or Bandai, I swear, had a hate boner for me, dude. Every character I touched just died.
Yo, funny
You
that
can-
you mentioned that.
you can-
Cloud,
you can-
Cloud,
Why did you play
Cloud.
Fusion's Cloud?
Wait,
Cloud.
hold on,
okay.
Hold on. So there was my friend said this. It was a couple weeks ago. My friend said this. He was like, "Have you noticed that they nerfed every black man's character?" I took off my glasses to say this. You
Lord
can't see it. I took off my glasses.
Lord 19 got it.
No,
Every black man's
they
character.
consistently fucked over LK like on a very regular
You
basis.
were following him, bro.
Kid, bro. Nerf. King Gohan. Well, Prad's kind of black.
Make him
Brad?
smoke,
You're
bro.
Wait,
adult
my man handing out
Gohan.
passes over here.
I don't know, bro. They seen Ray
Majin
cooking. They said
21.
fuck Janemba and hit. These niggas need to get meter nerf for some reason.
Dude, yeah, March 21 was my fault, dude. Sorry, I played her and then they nerfed her. That was my fault, dude.
It was definitely my fault. I'll take the blame for it.
Nah,
It's
nah,
okay.
I'm sorry if I hated Janemba, boys. Sorry for that.
There's no way that wasn't like a correlation of you being in like the finals.
These niggas saw
single
they
character
saw
in the
hit.
grand finals and nerfed him.
They
Every
saw
single one
hit
of
in
them.
a mirror match one time and was like, nah, that can never happen again. Like,
There's
yo,
something wrong
relax,
here.
This is gonna go.
relax. They seen this
Listen,
nigga
y'all-
hit in
y'all-
top 8
They
once
said
in
it's
grand
not
finals. They
It's
said that
not
cannot happen.
fusions, dude. It's not Goku. It's not Vegeta. Nah,
Hit's not hype.
can't have that.
No, bro, they literally went to grand finals just like every
They
single
kicked the
character
whole
here
pod.
packed up. Every single
Packed up.
Janemba, Hit,
Gotta
Lab
go.
Coat, Blue Cheetah, Vegeta, gotta go.
That's because the French are the one that write the patch notes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, they love
Wawa-
y'all.
Speak on
Wawa
it.
somewhere in there writing the patch notes again.
Okay, I actually, because it feels like obviously, and I don't know if it's just because most of us are familiar with talking with each other all the time, but I feel like it's especially like I don't know. I'm not as in tune with the French or the rest of the European scene as I am with like you guys, obviously. So I want to hear more from like Seihan and Wei, because I feel like obviously they've spoken the least, whether that's a matter of comfort or just because it's late over there and the niggas
They're
tired.
ugly.
We're just really fucking loud.
Sleeping,
We're
bro.
just really loud.
Well, that's also a thing, but I want to hear because like I don't actually know, for example, like what the scene is at all around Seihan. Like, do you have locals out there? Are there other people that are still playing the game? What the general like landscape is looking like? How people are feeling or anything like
Do you
that?
have friends?
I ain't. Why you been on this nigga head?
Hey,
Yeah,
let me defend this man. I have no friends that I grew up with that play games like this. All
No,
right,
I
I
don't think
got
any
you.
of us
Say
do.
I thought that shit was going to end that I
got you.
have no friends.
Damn, what
Appreciate
your
it.
friends?
But anyway, Seihan, go on, please.
So in Germany, we basically have like, at least in my region, we have no local scene at all. And even like throughout Germany in general, there are very few local scenes, even like at all. And the problem is the German players, we are like very few German players and we are all spread out throughout Germany. So if I want to like go play offline with a German player, it's easier to drive to France and play versus Wade than driving to the other side of Germany to play, I don't know, Haikai or
That's
Jaden
actually
or
insane.
whoever. So it's not really that good. And talking about drawback again, the big problem with Germany is we have very bad routing, and Germany's internet is also very inconsistent. So drawback for me especially is very important because I have no local scene and our internet environment is quite bad. So rollback is or would be a lifesaver for me to actually play the game. But well, if you don't have rollback, I don't have any motivation to lab and play the game because I can't. That's the issue.
That's
So does that
understandable,
mean
sure.
are you excited for Project L then? The sidebar a little bit.
I am.
Who
I
isn't?
actually wasn't interested at all in Project L, but after I saw some more gameplay, especially after Evo, I definitely got very hyped, and I'm definitely looking forward to playing it.
From what I got to play at Evo, the game does seem pretty fun, and I've been
The
interested.
game is actually lit.
Yeah, I've been interested in it from the start, but
happy to
like,
see another
Very
fighting
fun.
game with high mobility.
bro, I was so upset because like you only get to play like a couple of matches, and I felt like by that third game that I played, I was like, oh, I'm starting to understand how Arya works. I'm like, oh, little mix here, little convo there, and then it was
15
over.
minutes
Back of the line.
Yeah,
with you.
I was
Back
like,
of the
fuck,
line.
I would just start to kind of understand, and then it was over.
I mean,
I got to play one game.
All the content creators and top players get that shit too. Like,
No.
you have to go line up again.
Yeah, but I think we got lucky because we stayed there like for 1 hour and a half straight, and they didn't
Seriously?
say shit.
Oh.
Bro,
They
so-
didn't
but,
say
like-
shit. We just played.
Must be nice.
Funny that you mentioned that, right? Because like I had a meet and greet thing with FlyQuest, and like I was like at least 10 minutes late because I was playing Project L.
Damn.
I was like, damn, they're gonna hate me.
Hey, bro, who I need to contact at Riot? How come I ain't get the invite? Like, I know I ain't no one special, but damn, I want to make some content on the game. I promote it for you know what I'm saying? Who I gotta hit up to get the
I'll be honest, I am kind of surprised you weren't invited.
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't until I saw just how many people were, and I was like, damn, I kind of feel like
here's my
I
question.
feel like I could have been part of that group.
Here's my question for you, Lotus, because you definitely have the metrics for it on YouTube and on Twitch.
Mhm.
And I how many followers do you have on Twitter?
Like almost 60K, I think. somewhere
Okay,
around
cool. So here's the biggest thing. I need you to go follow the Riot FGC account and literally just open your mouth. Because if you don't open your mouth, you can't get fed, right?
Hey,
If
that's,
you would've
I do be
even
saying that
had
closed mouths don't get fed.
One
so
single,
that's facts.
one single conversation with anybody there, and they would have been like, "Yeah, we want this guy." If they knew you were at Evo, they would have given you a pass.
Say less. I'm following the account right the fuck now.
It's true though, because like, and when you think about it,
FGC account follows me.
When you think about it, like the content creators such as Lotus and stuff, right? They have the biggest reach for sure. I'm more than a competitive player, guaranteed.
100%.
They'll listen to you more before they
Okay,
listen to a
okay,
competitive player, just because.
That being said, though, I do. While that is true, I need to temper expectations and things like that, because as somebody with a following, and I'm looked at as like, you know, oh, I have this power, this influence because I'm a content creator and I have whatever, whether it's the 100K subscribers or however many followers, wherever, right? I just want people in the YouTube comments and in the Twitch chat to understand that yes, the influence is there to some degree, the impact is there to some extent, but I just feel like we are I think people overestimate just how much power influence that we have. Because like I remember I was responding to a comment the other day who was basically like, you know, you should be using your power to like make this change and that change. Like, look here, my nigga. If I had that level of impact or influence on the decision making behind the balancing of Dragon Ball FighterZ, the game would not look anything like the fuck it does right now. Okay, so like,
look at what No Kami did, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I do truly believe there was a single patch that was in fact the YouTuber patch, because they nerfed base Vegeta Rocket Kick, which was my doing. They nerfed Bardock B Assist, which was Kami's doing, and they nerfed the fuck out of Yamcha, which was Dado's doing. I truly believe that was a YouTuber patch, but we didn't ask for that. We didn't want that. We were just having fun making videos, and niggas like, yep, no fun. And I was like, all right, cool.
Nah, that's
I guess I'll go fuck myself. But like,
that's actually something I'd be like mentioning OD to like people. You got to be careful what you meme about, because that is the community.
No, because
feedback.
that's
like,
also
buff barrier is why we're here.
Memes are dangerous. Memes are dangerous because that shit got nerfed off memes, because the same thing applies to Super Saiyan Goku. Nobody, and I mean nobody, actually thought Super Saiyan Goku was overpowered or too strong or needed to be nerfed, or that his 2M was too good, right? But we memed about it. We called the nigga 2M-ku. And they thought we didn't like it, and so they nerfed it. They snapped his leg, and the nigga ain't never been the same since. He could walk again, but he still got a little bit of a limp. You know what I'm saying? Like he was never the same.
They proceeded to never
I have y'all to
nerf
blame
character
for this,
again.
Goku.
Yeah,
It's your fault.
That shit is unfortunate.
Nah, it's actually Wawa's fault. Let's be honest. Be Kazunoko, that was
Straight
over.
up, it's
I mean,
straight up 1984 out here. We're not allowed to talk at all. They're always watching. They're always listening.
But yeah, that being said,
if they're always listening, I am screwed.
Man,
I mean, no, you're fine, mate. No matter what you say about Beerus, he's getting another buff.
I say that to say that sometimes the real influence or impact that we have as content creators or people with a following isn't necessarily in the ways that you'd want or expect it to. And then when you actually ask out loud vocally for certain changes or to see improvements, it don't always work out the way that you would hope. Because I'm seeing it now with myself, but I've seen it for years, because obviously you guys know like C-Rex was just here, then like even like some of the homies with even bigger followings like Rhymestyle and Afro, who are obviously very close friends of mine. Niggas see like, oh, he got over 1 million subscribers, he must be able to do this and that. It's like, look, bro, for one, it probably be different with Riot because this is over here, but like them niggas in Japan don't give a fuck what a black nigga on YouTube got to say. I could help the voice be heard. I could talk to somebody at Bandai who could then send it over to there. It don't mean they gonna care or listen, but I just want to say that to just say that, like, because I've seen it multiple times. I don't have the power or influence over Dragon Ball FighterZ that I think some of y'all would like to believe. Because if I did, Trunks wouldn't have been this bad for this long. If I did, a lot of things would be different. But it is what it is.
He was broken. You didn't see Enzo's video?
Shit.
I think he got Intense videos.
I think he got a lot.
I'm not gonna say that character was in grand finals right before the patch. Just saying. Just saying. It wasn't Wawa, but just throwing that out there. That's it. I'm about to get attacked in the comments. That's it. That's all.
Any fucking way. DBFZ fucking Evo Grand Finals was a mirror match of the Fusions in 17 still. So I don't want to hear nothing about nothing.
I mean, that's Vegito. That's not a fair competition. That's just not fair. That's literally just not fair, and you know it isn't.
If it's not Vegito, it's not broken.
Anywho,
Wait, so real quick before we, because I actually want to talk about this. Do y'all think they actually like kind of sort of balance the game right now based off the lore of the series? Part of me feels like they kind of are, considering how like much they've been buffing the blue hell characters versus their base counterparts.
I think they just did it based upon how many the representation of the characters. So like they did this with Gotenks, right? Gotenks was one of the least played characters online for like a while, and they buffed him to God knows what. So I'm guessing they do it on that, and then they probably do it on DLCs. You know, the characters they want to be
DLC
played.
usually got to be juiced.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's
I mean,
definitely a
clearly-
case of like the fusions cannot be allowed to like be weak in any way.
Yeah,
But
sure.
they
It's
literally
like-
said they want a character that weren't played a lot to be played more often. That was part of the
You
passion.
know, 100% that character usage has a huge influence, and I feel like before in the past it was like, okay, characters that aren't played as much we're gonna buff them, and characters that are played a lot more we're gonna bring them down. Whereas it feels like now it's just like we're just constantly trying to bring everybody up. But 100%, it's like they do absolutely take lore into account. I mean, you look at the game, despite how it feels right now in terms of like some of the decisions they make with the balancing, they absolutely, like, the people that worked on this, they were either huge fans of it or they definitely did their due diligence. Everything from like the animations to the little references in terms of like certain characters doing damage, like, oh, this is Android 18 and her super does 1800 damage, or this is 21 and this does 21%, or whatever the case may be, or like certain like level 3s like or level 1s that had their super damage being the equivalent to like the year that the movie that they were in released, you know, shit like that, right? They obviously packed a lot of lore into this, and I have no doubt that the lore of the character's power in the series is meant to carry over to the game. But also just feels like, okay, now we just want the game to be as crazy as possible, and we want everybody to be able to compete. So while the fusions might still be stronger than everyone else, it's like, but we still want Krillin to be able to kick somebody's ass. So yeah.
I can.
Yeah, well, you know the lore is at least taking some part of the effect because of the fact that the Nappa Cybermen by themselves are stronger than Yamcha.
It's true, man. It's true. Those Cybermen do.
In Yamcha's defense, in Yamcha's defense, that Cyberman's better than like 80% of the cast to begin with.
That
so.
Cyberman is fucking OD, bro. That's got to be
at least lore accurate.
EX Cyberman has to be like top 2 or 3 moves in the game, right? Because I recently made a video.
I think it's probably one of the best.
Okay, so I recently made a video where I was like, what was it, the top 10 or top 15? Top 10 like special moves in Dragon Ball FighterZ. And like I didn't necessarily put them in order, but like the last couple that I talked about were like GT Goku, like Reverse Kame, and like Nappa Cyberman. I feel like those are probably like the top 2 specials in the game right now.
I agree.
And then Perfect Attack.
And yes, Cell EX Perfect Attack.
Yeah, that was
also on the list.
That one, I've been playing a lot of Cell actually recently and just laughing at how good that shit is.
It's so
Bro,
dumb.
I just been
It's so
online
funny.
just like hitting that move out of block stun, out of hit stun.
The ignorance is sick, right?
It's not even frame
No,
4, it's
bro.
frame 2 for
No,
what,
it's frame.
like,
It's
God
frame
knows
4.
what.
It's frame 4.
Is it
They
frame
looked at it.
It's still frame 1 anti-air though. That's the good
Yeah.
part.
Oh, I didn't get the memo during the patch notes. I'm playing Red Gogeta and I hit 6H and he died. Like, I lost the character. I was like, what's happening?
That shit is ridiculous. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I don't know if I just
welcome.
I don't know if I just missed it in the original translation or what, but I didn't realize how juiced that move got. And so I was playing online after the patch, and I was playing a Cell play, and the nigga just kept mashing that shit on block. I was like, yo, why am I fucking exploding?
He said, am I tweaking?
Right,
Bro, that was my exact reaction.
I had to pull
bro.
up the notes. I was like, okay, they made this shit. I was like, yo, am I tweaking? That was my reaction. I was like, what's really going on here?
Listen,
You were probably playing me, dude. That's the worst
this is
part.
what you do, Lotus. You pick GT Goku,
Oh,
and you
God.
just do reverse Kame. It's an
And then we go
unstoppable
past
force.
each other.
And welcome to the reason why I don't like this patch.
This shit is so
These
dumb.
invincible
How was that
moves
even on
are
here?
the moves I don't like the most.
At this point, we're just going full circle, right? It's just like GT Goku is back to being the best.
Towers on top again. It's like, damn.
I'd rather GT Goku and Cell be the best for what they did before, not because they have this one invincible move that they do 24/7. There's nothing you could do about it.
Oh well, I mean the crazy part. At least
now than he was in season 2.
Wait, what'd you say, Daniel?
Is GT Goku better now than he was in season 2?
Yes.
In a
Dude, yeah.
in a
I
very
mean-
in a very different way. But well, the thing is, I feel like
it's in a different way, yeah.
because season 2 GT Goku had a very clear cut win condition, whereas I don't feel like that's necessarily the case now. You could argue that the character is stronger now, but it's like, okay, you have a win condition. It's like, I get this hit, I'm in the corner, I spirit bomb, you get this disgusting level 3 mix, 2-touch, you die. And like the game is just 2-touch in general, so I guess it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna reverse Kame until it lands. And I guess you could consider that your win condition, but I don't feel like that's as like straightforward or as like season 2 was.
I'm gonna be honest.
Go ahead, Jensen.
I'll say I'm gonna be honest. I'm giving it to season 2 only because, like, in comparison to the rest of the cast, it's not a close.
True.
Like, he was a do-all character in season 2. He's do shit now, but he's not do-all. He's not like the best neutral assist. Also the best level 3 mix. Also some of the best corner mix. Also some of the best.
Also,
neutral.
he had that
also
ridiculous hip. He had that ridiculous hitbox.
It was also
and, and hurt box.
during the patch where they removed, like, because this was way back. It was so going into the next season, they removed all multi supers and then added a character who had the best multi supers
level
the game
3
had
into
ever seen.
special into level 1.
Like the best
Thank you,
multi
people of
supers
the
the game
universe.
had ever seen at the time.
But you never did level 3 because you just the Oki and saved your bar because they're never blocking.
Yeah, very true.
yeah.
You have like a 12-way
Best
mix,
mix-up in the
dude.
game.
I've never
You would
seen
still see
somebody
level 3 into
make-
level 1 a lot for the kill.
No,
But
but in Japan, bro, they didn't even do the mix. It snapped.
Yeah, and when they did
That's
the
that's
mix,
how
they
strong
had,
Snap was. It's like, well, I can snap for free.
There was
got spirit bombed into snap, bro.
listen,
Like,
when
the craziest
you're
part about
holding a
that?
level 3 mix up, there was a slight chance you might interact with your opponent. So there was no point in it. You just snap them.
Yeah, you get 250-50.
the craziest part about that is that they had like 8 different mix-ups. That was a 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The real way, but the real question is, do you guys still get PTSD?
Nah.
I'm past
I
that
mean,
point,
it's been so long since we've seen like
But
GT.
it's a birth of new PTSD though. He does a quarter circle back, and you're like, "Fuck."
Thank you, people of the universe. That don't echo in your head, like Professor Oak used to say. It don't.
He's using
not
them.
really.
He's using their powers in different ways now, bro.
Like also GT Goku was really annoying in the moment, but I liked the character himself. Like I think GT Goku is cool.
I never really liked him.
I
I
think
just
he's
played
fun to
him.
play. Well, you know, teach their own. But I actually like the character. I remember when he released, a lot of people were upset because they're like, this should have just been Super Saiyan 4, or they just
100%.
They just didn't give a fuck about
Well,
Kid Goku.
they tried to kill 3 birds with 1 stone. With
And,
like
and,
Kid
and
Goku,
they
GT
made
Goku,
they
and
made the
then
mistake of
Super
trying to
Saiyan
please
4.
everybody and ended up pleasing a lot less
Yeah.
people than they could have.
Pleasing
Like,
pretty much no one at that point. Because like the Kid Goku, like who want the actual Dragon Ball Kid Goku, weren't happy with him. People who just want GT weren't happy that, oh, like the only way you get to use like the Super Saiyan forms is just with his level 1. And then there's people like myself who just wanted like just a standalone Super Saiyan 4 character.
So you know my problem with it?
Yeah.
His tail never turned yellow when he turned Super Saiyan.
That's what you're upset about.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, they did
us
us justice in the future though.
You weep, bro.
why
please
are
talk
you
to
even
us,
still
bro.
here? You have nothing to contribute. And you're ugly.
Hey, let my nigga cut.
Damn.
Wow.
And you're ugly.
Damn.
Like 3 a.m. bro.
Not the soundboard, dude.
That's OD.
Like
Wait, you gonna take that, bro?
Going?
What?
You gonna let him say that to you, bro?
He
He
said,
left
what?
my
dude, you gotta hit him with one of these, dude. You gotta hit him with the.
Nah.
My man said.
Don't worry, I'll see Wade soon. I'll see Wade soon.
No, but like this nigga forget that it's fucking 2:30 a.m.
Why would I even know what time it is over there? Your place is not real.
It's a 5-hour difference from you, dude. Come on.
It's not real
Listen,
over there.
time zones are crazy. Out here. Do
Bro said you
like,
are not
the
worth exerting the
sacrifices
mental
I made?
capacity it would take for him to come
Nitro
over to clap
discovers
back at
time zone.
2:30
More
in the
news
morning,
at
bro.
5.
Yeah,
Or
the
do that.
sacrifices I made to be here today. I had to wake up at 7 a.m. Can you believe that?
I know, bro. I had to
Right?
wake up at 5 p.m. Like, fuck, man. Like,
I actually woke up like 30 minutes ago.
I'm just happy to be here.
yeah, no,
Damn.
y'all know me, and I know Pred been trying to hit me up for games and shit, and every day he hit me up. I reply like 4 or 5
Pred,
hours
nobody
later, like,
wants
hey,
to
bro,
play
I
you.
just woke up.
Yo,
Hey, I'll
can you
play with my
disconnect,
look.
nigga?
Look, I do not currently have the game installed on any platform, but I will reinstall it to play with Pred.
Which game?
This game?
This game.
Which game?
The game we've been talking about, by the way.
Dragon Ball
You could have
Fighter.
switched up on me real quick, all right?
You mean we haven't been talking about Mario Party this whole time?
Damn.
Roundtable.
Listen, dude. Mario Wonder's coming out, and I am so fucking ready. Versus
Yeah, I will watch anybody in here Mario Party. What's up?
No, Nitro, no. Zane is definitely the best person I've ever seen.
Nah,
at Mario Party. He is such a sweat. Like
you
no.
haven't seen Hook Gang God.
I will.
I will.
Listen. I'm gonna say this in front of all of you, dude. I have noticed far and wide ranges that fighting game players suck at everything but fighting games. Except
I can play real games.
Okay, hold on. Cloud. So it's.
I'm a Gears of War player, so
yeah, I was gonna say Inzem.
And Inzem is a god at Gears. He gets an asterisk.
Cloud, when are we going to do that Sonic Adventure race that we talked about a while ago?
Speedrun one, dude. I am so down.
So what I'm hearing is when is the Zane versus Hook Mario Party money match?
I have money on Hook. I'm sorry. That's he does it for a living. He literally does it for a living.
Hold on.
As a gamer, when I played League of Legends,
only beat Silver.
I was on the #2 ladder team. So like, get fucked.
Speak on it.
Jake, nobody
Cloud,
cares.
I got a particular issue with that.
So in other words, you niggas is getting washed in Project L.
Can we jump Nitro?
Listen, I have 10K hours at arena shooters, FPS, which was my background before I started.
Yo, my man playing all the Quake.
Yeah, listen, man. You want to try that shit at Quake?
When's Apex, bro? What's happening?
Anyways.
Apex. I mean...
Niggas is not seeing me Connect 4, bro.
Nah,
hold on. Wait. Fred's kind of nasty. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait,
I mean, at this
he
point,
actually
since we
did beat me too. I'm not gonna lie.
Run the marbles. What's up? You're not seeing me.
Anyways, I wanted to ask y'all a question before we keep getting too off topic. What's the most out of pocket character for everyone right now in this current version? Like it's just like, yeah, you're doing way too much. It's like if I had to compete against this, I'd rather just not play. Like, everyone has that one character.
Let's
Goku now.
I was
gonna say I have actually been playing someone trying to abuse GT Goku.
Good things.
I haven't seen enough characters yet, but it might be GT Goku.
Wait, y'all want to go down the list just so we can hear everybody's opinion?
Yeah, go down the list.
All right, so Cloud, you already said GT, right?
Yeah, just free, dude. 3 invincible moves back to back that end on 0 on block. Or I call an assist, or I do beam into super dash and 50-50. It's fucked up, man. All right, next.
He felt very strongly about that one.
I'll say GT, but at the same time, I still wouldn't say he's the best in the game.
No, that's fair. They don't have to be the best. They just be like you're doing.
Yeah, they don't have to coincide.
Okay, but he's definitely AIDS. So yeah, GT.
Are we talking about most toxic character in the game or something?
Or that you fight and you're like, I hate this shit. I don't want to play.
And I know mine already then.
All right, Enzim. I think it's
I'm own name.
Chill. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I gotta give it to Beerus or Cell because that's actually no. Wait, hello, Nappa. The fuck?
Yeah, I was gonna say Nappa should be yours.
No, it's literally Nappa. No,
I'll let you in on a secret, Inzem. You don't gotta worry about that shit if you play GT Goku. I'm just saying.
Right? Like, also Inzem -5 friend points for that because you're a weirdo.
Hello?
You called yourself Inzem in third person for vibes.
Oh, because I'm going down the list, bro.
I know. He is not talking.
Jesus Christ.
We're exposing ourselves, Nitro? You want to go down that route?
Oh, yeah, you got to V2.
You want to go down this route?
I
know you don't want to go down this route, bro.
Nitro has went down the list attacking everyone here at least once.
Right? Anyway, Jake.
All right, Jake.
Yeah, so I gotta go after this, but I would say after fighting Garlic Bread so much, it's got to be Krillin or Baby. Like it's up in the air between those two, especially with the Krillin changes, dude.
Fair.
Baby,
changes are disgusting.
Krillin is he's it. I think everybody's sleeping on him. I think that character is top 5, like easy.
That's I can see it with the assist at least.
Yeah. He's so well rounded. He's safe. He's got so much shit. Yeah, his assist is the best in the game. But yeah, I gotta go, guys. Have fun discussing the rest.
All right, AJ. Tell Monica I said hi.
I will. Don't worry, Johnny. She knows.
Right. And she's stupid.
Whoa, that's mean.
Damn. It's spreading. It's spreading. Wow, the hatred is spreading.
I already called her Bloodline Week, bro. I don't think I can do
Bloodline Week. Now that's a good one. I'm stealing that.
Take it easy, Jack.
Brad, what about you?
Nah, I don't play the game enough to know.
Oh, brother.
Respectable.
I literally don't know.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
It's a don't go on right now.
You haven't contributed anything thus far, so I'm not surprised.
Damn.
It is spreading.
Fucking hell.
Lotus?
I think Lotus is still lagging, so just go.
I'm lagging, so I'm sure my voice is coming through to y'all mad delayed. I'm sure I was quiet there for a smooth ass second, but regardless, I'm kind of with Pred on this right now, where honestly, because I just genuinely have not been enjoying the game that much, even from my casual perspective, I haven't been playing it a lot. Like I already just said, like I literally don't have the game installed anywhere at the moment because I just wasn't having fun, so I uninstalled it. So I can't say that I played on this patch enough to have a singular character that I feel like now is like my new kryptonite or the new one that I hate. I guess because like the characters I hate have always been the characters I hate. Like I still fucking hate Vegito. I still can't stand Broly, and them niggas ain't even particularly necessarily top 1 anymore. But like it's still just fuck them niggas forever. I will say though, Jiren been giving a nigga hands when I have played, so I don't really have any particular feelings against Jiren, but that nigga been fucking my shit up.
Hey,
wait,
not like where that was going.
Listen. Anyway, yeah, no, Jiren been giving the nigga hands, bro. So all I know is that he got to be one of the stronger characters.
Yeah, it sounds like he giving you more than that.
I'm about to give you more than that. Keep playing cards right.
What?
Don't promise Nitro with a good time. Don't threaten him with a good time.
Let's stay on topic. Let's stay on topic. Nitro.
Stay on topic.
I already said GT.
Right, GT. Well,
wait, you said who, Nitro?
GT.
was
so far.
Because I was definitely going to agree and point out it'd be weird if no one else mentioned it, but I cannot stand Jiren at the moment. I'm gonna say like they gave him a 1-button DP before Street Fighter 6 with that 2L.
I thought you were gonna say 2S.
And that shit. No, dude.
2S.
How about every single bro?
It might be because we're still in like a delay-based hell. But dealing with Jiren 2L still gives me fucking.
No, it won't change.
Nah, I'm of the opinion that Jiren 12 is one of the absolute
reverse
best
speed it
buttons
now
in the
for
entire
5M.
game.
Yeah, I hate that shit so much. I hate it so
probably
much.
the best button in the game currently.
Yeah.
It's what, -2? Mad pushback? Oh shit.
It can be reversed.
Big ass hitbox, reverse speed, medium
From 2
scale.
different
Yeah, he
moves.
needed that.
Same.
I'm not gonna lie, hitting that move makes me feel good about myself.
No, don't get me wrong.
It makes me feel awful when I get hit by.
I assume Jiren players feel the same way when they hit a 2L as I did hitting fucking EX spin with lab coat. This guy's got to be the same fucking feeling.
The dopamine receptors are happy.
Nah, you know what really pisses me off about Jiren? When they super dash at you and then do J2S and they feel so nice.
Bro, you know what I call that move, Cloud? That move is just zero buster.
Yeah, that's a strong ass statement,
just
dog.
buster.
That's a strong ass statement.
All right, say on.
I think it's gonna be like Jiren, Gotenks, and if you look at it from an offline perspective, I feel like Ginyu is gonna be a huge problem.
Ginyu is the
on
truest
PC, it's way
darkness in
easier
this
to block,
entire
but on
game.
PS4.
The
don't
only
think
reason
it's
I didn't
gonna
see
block.
Ginyu actually is because they nerfed him. They
The body
nerfed him
change?
the way he can't go into body change off of Goldo anymore.
Dude, that was I can't believe they did that.
cannot believe they did
I
that.
honestly still can't believe that either.
Damn, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's
I'm
the
not
only
gonna
reason.
lie
I
though,
didn't see
like him negative edging Jace though is crazy, bro. He's like running at you with
He's got
Vegito,
some
Walmart
annoying-
Vegito assist.
He's definitely got some crazier combos, but it's like you're gonna have to spend another 5 years labbing them to get them all down because a lot of them are manually timed.
That is true.
Yeah, but I feel like you shouldn't really factor in execution to a character's strength because at some point it's not going to be a factor. Like look at Garlic Bread.
Yeah, that's fair.
So one thing that's actually
Oh.
no, I was just saying like one thing that's actually really interesting that what you said though, Seihan, is I've noticed like on Twitter and stuff, your entire region's kind of been going through it with Jiren and Gotenks specifically. You're not the first I've seen from that side of the world complain about like those two together. Actually,
Who be playing them over there?
I don't know who plays that. Who's doing it to y'all with those characters?
I feel like many like French players, not like Wade, Yasha, but the not so well known French players are playing like the show Jiren and Gotenks
Brave?
a lot.
Yeah, Brave.
And yeah, Brave was one of them, and I feel like I wasn't like necessarily getting like completely destroyed by those characters, but I feel like if I'm pressuring them, I'm like one challenge away to literally die because his twirl is 7 frames, and if they are like near the corner, they can do the side switch into basically kill me from one singular challenge, and that just feels like very disgusting to play against. And goating's Beyblading and crossing your
yeah,
Dude, the
sides
fact that
over and over again is so annoying.
they didn't fix the special bug is crazy to me. That he could do Beyblade, Die Missile Barrage, and then 2 more specials is fucking crazy.
He called it a bug.
He can
Yeah,
Beyblade out and then just
yeah.
yeah, he Beyblades out and you can do beam from that, which you can hit confirm into Super Dash, into relaunch, into I hate this character.
into Ghost Oki.
Again, I'm
fucking
lagging. I'm sorry for cutting
You
somebody
ain't gonna
off right
sit
now,
there and tell
but
me
I
him
definitely
doing
got
4
Gotenks Beyblade as another one of the top 10 special moves in the game. That character is also really stupid right now.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Oh,
for sure.
Yeah, true.
Easily. Just everything it does. But you're not gonna sit there and tell me that shit ain't a bug, dude. That you could Beyblade into 3 more specials.
Nah, that's hype. Can't lie.
That is not hype, but it is pretty funny.
That is hype.
It's
It's very obnoxious, which in my opinion feels right for the character that's literally a little ass kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's lore accurate.
Like if anyone were to have it, I think it makes sense for him to have it.
Yeah, but when I have 8 invincible options, you guys Goku, I'm the problem.
Yes.
Wait, did
I'll drink to that, dude.
Did Wade say who's his most annoying character is yet?
No, that was the next.
Yeah.
Because they just keep taking because you can barely use the 6S in combos anymore.
Wait,
Who's
what's your
Still
most
upsets me.
annoying character, and why is it 18? That's my hard read.
Why is it 18?
Nah. I play 18. I love 18 right now, but
I tell you, she lit.
I think
Self-admitted crackhead.
Nah, it might be good things. Like I'm fucking tired to take one random spin and take like Ghost Oki and die after that.
My fault.
Because I just take like a beam, random beam,
Well,
or
that's not
spin
hype.
and
That's not hype.
combo. No, that's not hype. Like fucking 6 special moves in one combo. Yeah,
Sounds hype to me.
that's not hype.
That's hype to me.
I think I hate it more because Gotenks just destroy hit stance. I can't hit him because the tracking is so bad. I can't hit him. So
It's
just
moron.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Seeing a hit enjoy your crying is giving me life right now.
Why do American players hate
Enjoy
hits so fucking much? I'll never get it, bro. That
No, we
character is
don't.
sick.
don't know how to play the matchup.
No
It's 'cause you
one
niggas
wait,
don't
wait,
laugh.
We don't.
It's not
let me explain.
American
Let me explain.
players.
Hold up. Let me explain. We don't hate hit. We hate hit players. There's a
No, that's
difference.
fair. No, that's
I
That's
don't know,
so
man. I
weird.
would go to a pub with Raptor and get shit face hammered with it.
hell yeah. We still gotta fucking do that, man. I was too
Yeah.
flat out at Evo. I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know why you said Americans. Like, no, if you do not play hit, you do not fuck with hit. That is like
Nah, that's
everyone
true, 'cause
knows.
I
the
remember even
character's
Wawa
scrubby.
was
Like
bitching
it's
about
literally
that
the guilty
character
of your
and saying he
rule.
was
If it's
top
not your
5 and shit.
character, you don't like it.
You used to hate him,
Hold
bro.
on. Also,
Shit makes
correct
no
me if I'm
sense.
wrong. Wasn't it it was before Worlds or it was before the big tournament? And it was Wade. I believe you were over. Was it with Daniel? And you were just fucking cooking everyone, and the NA players were still like, "No, this character's fake. No, don't worry. The tournament's gonna roll around, and we're gonna fucking just crush him. It'll be
Bro,
fun."
he was waking up full frame every single knockdown. He thought he was
Every
good.
time.
No, that's why I pick Gotenks. Try that shit again. See what happens.
Bro, look at the VODs. Look at the VODs on the YouTube, right?
See what happens.
Every match Wade is playing, he's literally just wake up 4th frame, and then he just wins the game off
I
that.
had to pick Blue Goku after like 3 months of not playing the character to fight that. I was like, this is impossible.
Bro, I had to. Like they give me that shit, so I use it. I still do it with 18.
No, you're actually spitting. If they give me this shit, if they didn't want me to abuse it, they wouldn't have given it to me.
He said, "I'm playing the game I'm supposed to be playing."
Unfortunately, he is.
But when
That's not the
Cell,
worst part.
when Cell does it.
Yes.
Listen, yeah.
But when
Yeah,
Cell, okay.
When,
You see,
when
now we got to deal with that shit in fucking a die. Like there's no guessing after. There's no next character.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to this in like 8 frames of rollback. By the way, so when it
your health
actually
bar-
looks like he's time skipping, where
It's gonna
he's
be
there's
legendary.
no
that's
animation.
gonna be
He's just
so
behind
hype.
you. Yeah, it's gonna be so hype. Can't wait.
But Zane, what's yours? What's your?
Yeah,
Why
last
go
but
Gogeta
not
4?
least.
Let's go Gogeta 4.
My 2 that I hate saying. 1, because if I go about time, freaking Krillin is an abomination right now. And the other one is Cell, because I hate always being 4 frame and vulnerable move away from an actual TOD.
puts you in the 50-50.
I honestly, I actually love the EX Perfect attack because it's funny.
No, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny if you're the one doing
It's
it, but
really
if
funny.
you're anywhere near the character, you either get hit for doing literally anything, and guess what? There's 80%, like 70% of your health gone without supers.
They did not adjust the scaling.
And if they block it, it's a left, right, high, low. It's like what? It's like
It does like a light DP anti-air scaling.
Wait,
but it's a frame for.
let's be honest. Put yourself in that situation. Not our fault. Come on.
What?
Go
Listen,
on.
man, if it gets Cell at another Evo finals,
It's not my fault that Beerus keeps getting buffed and everyone keeps blaming me anyways.
Yes, it is.
Well, we need
Yes, it
listen,
is.
Zane. We need someone to blame, and you play Beerus, so that's good enough for me.
Beerus is one of the best freaking characters in this game, and I'm still the only one playing the damn cat.
So you gotta
Why
keep
is
being
that,
the
by the way?
scapegoat.
Can we talk about that? Why? Because this
I don't know what to tell ya.
nigga's been strong for a minute now, and he keep getting better. And I'm not seeing enough niggas talk about it. And I'm not
He's
saying
weird, bro.
I'm not saying he need to get his claws
weird,
clipped.
bro.
Or
No one wants
like-
all right. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. No
They
one
ran out
wants
of
to
ideas on how to make him good besides just having free 50-50s and plus frames.
What were we gonna say? Say what you're gonna say?
No, I don't think
Yeah,
anyone
sorry.
willing to try to play a character that main game plan is to play with balls. Like no one's trying to.
I mean, I already played Jacko, so
Anyway,
I'm basically halfway there.
I have one last question.
And he's
I
a fucking
wanna,
weirdo. Like he's just the way he works.
To be fair, I'm also a weirdo, so it kind of
I'm
matches.
fucking dying and exploding over here. So as much as I would love this to continue, I know it's getting super late for the EU boys, and well, it's very early for Raptor. But regardless, before my stream actually fucking collapses, I have one last question I'd like to go through the line and ask everyone about. Who do you guys think is actually still like really lacking in this patch? Then, like, who do you think is the weakest character? Or the character still
UI
in need of more help?
Probably
UI.
This is why I like
UI.
this. Is why
They took his success away.
They took everything from him. They took.
I can throw on that. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. This is like the one patch where I'm kind of on some like he might need the bus driver back.
Bro, he needs everything back.
Dog,
bro.
yeah, give him back everything.
Give him 2-2S back.
That's
Fuck
the
it.
that's the
Just-
funniest shit about like
Give him
certain characters
2-2S.
getting nerfed is
Let me
that
have-
because of
let me
the
have a
direction the game has
safety
gone, you get all this power creep, and now we're at a point where like the game is so fucking ridiculous. It's like a lot of characters. It's like, hey, yo, Loki, he need that shit back at this point. You know what I'm saying? And UI, I guess, kind of.
Yo, let him cook, bro.
What is that one SpongeBob meme? Every morning I break my arms, every night I break my legs. That's UI right now.
Not the SpongeBob, dude.
All right, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, especially among like the more casual audience. This might sound crazy, but I think Base Goku still sucks.
Yeah, I agree.
Like he needs help.
Still sucks. Yamcha still
Every
sucks.
patch, there's always those like it's just Twitter memes of like someone just does a really high damage super. Just at the end, like way back when Hit got the cannon, there were so many fucking tweets of people you just like in Spark, 5H command grab, and a level 7 will TOD. I have still never landed that once in an actual match ever.
And
That shit is not real.
I've been hit by
They're
it.
just Twitter clips. They're just Twitter clips.
I've been hit by it.
I have to ask this because I've been told this by a couple people that I would never have guessed it would happen. They would come from opinions on Bardock right now.
Bottom one.
He's in the retirement home.
I love Bardock.
I actually think he's
Yeah.
the worst character in the game. Like on
He's in the
he's the
retirement
worst.
You think
It's because I
he's
play
the
him
worst
and I'm black,
character?
so you know how
He's
that go.
strong now, and I'm like, how in the hell is he strong now?
I'll put it like this.
I play the
I can
nigga, so he
find a
gotta be
reason-
trash. You know what I'm saying? Also, Trunks
I
is
can-
still overrated. I'm just gonna hit that
shut
out there.
up.
No, fuck you, suck my dick, bitch.
Let's see
I
you
can
feel very
find
strongly
like
about this one.
at least one reason to put any character in this game on a team and actually be like, yeah, you might not be trolling with how like this works because they're actually contributing something, except for Bardock.
Yeah, I can say.
He's
What is UI
better,
contribute?
but still bad.
Yeah, UI can, bro. He can give you a
UI
beam
contribute
assist, a
to my loss.
DP, a level 2. Like he's actually giving you something. What's
Bardock's a
Bardock
level
giving
2.
you? Not on DHC.
Depression usually playing bottom.
Depression. That's what.
He's-
That's
He
he's
what
don't
giving
give
me
you no
depression, that's for
assist. He don't
sure.
give you no level 3 mix.
Key blast.
I mean, he just plays a solid game, to be honest, compared to
Larry-
what he was.
It's
Word.
too
He's
sorry,
just,
though. That's the problem.
Larry-
he's
The
obsolete
issue-
and outdated
now.
at this point. The nigga's
Yeah,
still
but I don't think
stupid.
he's bottom one. I'll still give bottom one to UI for sure.
Back in my day, I was on
I'm
every
down
team
with
at
giving
Evo.
UI bottom one,
Of course you are, bro. You've been spreading the gospel for how long?
bro. I've been right this whole time.
Dog, I'm super torn on bottom one. I got like UI Yamcha Trunks down there.
I don't even think Yamcha's like. I think Yamcha's at least.
They didn't give him back old Wolfang Fist. Like what?
That is true.
I got,
Like,
I got Yamcha, Bardock, and base Goku down there for the possible.
When we
for me.
say down there, we're talking C, B, D. Like, what are we saying?
So character power in this game is so high that I don't know if there's an actual like, C tier, but whatever you consider the bottom tier to be, it could be
They would be
fucking
like
B or A. I don't think it
C
matters
or
that much.
D tier for me, dude. I don't do none of that hand holding A minus.
Damn.
Shit.
You
Nah.
you tell him.
I agree with Cloud. I agree with Cloud. That A minus stuff is corny to me. I agree.
Yeah, like what do you mean S plus play? Remember the Goichi tier list with like S plus plus? I was like, Goichi, what are you?
No. Like I think the relevance of that is because it's to show, and I think this is especially important for like the casual or like lesser knowledgeable or informed or experienced players that look at this type of stuff. It's to show that like no, these aren't necessarily awful characters, and like obviously we're gonna talk about them a certain way, right? And but I feel like the way that we speak on things has a lot of influence over how a lot of other people view or play the game. And so when you say, oh, this character's F tier, right, because they're the worst character in the game, it's like, oh, this character's completely fucking unplayable. And like to you or I, that might be the case, especially if you're playing in a tournament. Yeah, no one wants to play fucking base Goku, but like 99% of people can go online, have plenty of fun, and win most of their games while playing base Goku. He's not actually that bad. And I think that's why it's important or relevant to have like, oh, an A minus or a B tier, or have your lowest tier not be F or D when in a game like this or like a Street Fighter 6 or whatever, the overall character power is so high. That's why I think something like that matters and is actually important.
Yeah, I think like if you compare current base Goku to, let's say, you back up until like season 3, right? The S tier of that will probably get fucked up by base Goku right now. Like clearly he has different mechanics working for him and stuff, but like he would be a menace. And like the health hasn't changed, right? Like yeah, maybe the baseline before was like what 3.2 if you're a cheater, maybe 3.5 for like a mid-screen solo combo, right? And like, oh, if you could do anything more, oh, you're S tier. Like that's a really high reward. You don't have extra more health than you did back then, but like base Goku can do like what 4K solo. Like that's what I mean. Where I actually think like the list, the letters start mattering, because like the tier, like obviously in comparison to the rest of the cast, he's like below everyone else. But in the grand scheme of the game, he's still like, even the worst still has like Bardock is still like lariating at you with his original lariat. That's we're not same minus range, but he can gel into it with Vanish, into mixing you into doing 4K, right? Like that's, you compare that to any other season of S tier, like that's OD as fuck. That's why at least I think the letters matter. Like
you still have to look at like base Goku still does like 20 frame grab into now like a level 1 spirit bomb.
Yeah,
level 2 spirit bomb. Which is like in a vacuum, you look at that and it's like, well, that's fucked up. But you just look at the rest of the cast and you go,
and then you zoom out and you're like, oh wait, GT's right there. Never mind.
Welcome to the world where every character is now doing 7K off of a medium starter with supers. Everyone's building 2 bars minimum on a combo, and that basically everyone now has the things that made characters OP in previous seasons.
Not everyone's building 2 bars.
A lot of characters are built at 2 bars though.
Like
damn near everyone. I'm gonna be honest.
Even Tien is building 2 bars.
For the characters that have the meter nerf, basically every character is building 2 bars.
Speaking of, real quick, why does Tien get half a bar from volleyball fist? Even though he does EX,
he needs it.
He gets the bar back he spends.
It's so funny.
That's actually mad easy. It's so we can have fun.
Cloud, you know, if I was just like, when we were talking earlier, I just realized it. So like, if you do the EX Rekka thing, if you just frame the last hit, it doesn't take meter.
Exactly, because he builds half a bar, but he loses that half bar. That's what I'm saying.
I think the idea is they want you to be able to EX into literally 7 bars.
Also, that shit is not a real just frame, by the way. It is way too easy.
No, it's not. I don't even know what to call that.
Yeah,
it's Dragon Ball's equivalent of a just frame.
Right, that shit got a decent amount of leeway, because I definitely
that thing got like 20 minutes.
Because I like first tried it and I was like, oh, you just push it, you just get the bar. Now I didn't even realize like, oh, you're supposed to quote unquote time it. I was like, nigga, that's kind of
it's kind of cap. That's what I would call cap.
He said, I just pressed the button and it works.
No, literally, because when I read the change, I did it, and right away I got it. I was like, oh, okay, then he needed that, I guess, and I moved on. But I was like, oh, it's supposed to be a just frame, so to speak.
Difficult, by the way. But that's the part of the game, making it.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the game's MO and agenda has always been low skill floor, and it's just continuing to go further and further down that path, which, in my opinion, a lot to its detriment in a lot of ways. But you know, it being accessible and as homogenous as possible has just been what it's been doing every single patch since the beginning. So,
yeah, my problem less is the rising of the floor. My problem is the lowering of the ceiling.
I feel you on that for sure.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
I think there will always be some kind of ceiling that doesn't detract too far, simply because, like, as much crazy shit as you have to throw at your opponent, with the like high mobility in the game, technically you will still always be able to avoid it, but that is getting like the gap of being able to do so is definitely getting narrower and narrower.
Yeah, but then there's always going to be a ceiling. It's just getting to the point where just random buttons you throw out, doesn't matter how high the ceiling your ceiling was before. Like I said, like I'd just bring a perfect attack again. Doesn't matter how good your movement is. That thing's going to half the screen. So
another EX perfect attack.
Reverse comment. No matter how good your movement is to dodge that reverse comment, he's going to just do it again at you.
The reduction of the skill gap, I would say, is what gets me a lot. It's like it's one thing for things to be easier to do. It's like, oh, like everyone's combos in this game are really easy, but for like the game in general to just be easier, just because everything just comes so naturally or like so effortlessly or so thoughtlessly. It's like, damn, so you really they really meant it when they said they want anyone to be able to pick up this game and win, bro. Like
anyone can
that's why I said earlier though, like that's what I said earlier at the beginning of the conversation, right? Like, is it really shocking if we got a new player to come up from the scene and win tournaments, like a complete new player? Is it really that far-fetched?
I did still want to have that conversation if people are still going to be around for a bit to have it, but the whole idea of like newer players coming up, because that's absolutely going to be the case, because we've already seen it, right? It's like so my whole thing is that like, will we see newer players like take the place or like take the throne? Will new players come through and be good? Yeah, because I mean, season 1, the best players in America were Hook, Sage, Sonic, Nakul, you know what I'm saying? And at this point, it's who? Enzim, Pred, Nitro, you know what I'm saying? So we've already seen the old guard get replaced, and it's as long as the game is continuing to survive and have players and be at events, that will continue to be the case. And that's why I say players like Akari or Garlic Bread are gonna, come in and they'll probably be the new top dogs if people who are in this call don't continue to play it at the highest level. You know what I'm saying? So also I did my fault, Zane. I didn't even say you in the call, and I didn't even say your name when I was saying the top players. I just default to the East Coast niggas. My fault, but I got mad love and respect for you, dog.
Yeah, he plays Beerus. It's all right.
Nah, but you know what I'm saying? So like
we all understand that.
I think that obviously will continue to be the case. And obviously I want to continue to see the game succeed, even if I don't personally enjoy it. After everything all the fun and memories I've had and created with this game, all the content that I've made, as long as I play, like 5.5 years is a big chunk of like anyone's life. You know what I'm saying? So this game's always gonna have a special place in my heart, no matter how I feel about it right now, or even if I continue to play it. So I want to continue to see it succeed. And so I hope that even people in this call continue to play it. But even if they don't, I know there will be people out there playing it, and eventually there will be other players who do eventually rise to the top.
Yeah. The reason I'm bringing it up, somebody mentioned as well. Like, I don't know if he was watching Wanted the other day, but there's a guy named, I think it's Skyfox, I mentioned in my chat. He's 7-1 Yasha. So that's really
I saw that actually, because Yasha was Yasha was trying some weird shit. Who was he playing?
He tried like 5 different teams.
Different teams, and then he fought to his main one at the very end, and he still got wrecked in that last one.
No, he was kind of getting busted up. I ain't gonna lie.
It's still Yasha at the end of the day, though, right? Like
that takes nothing away from Yasha. It's like, oh, this kid is just that nice, though. You know what I'm saying?
What team was he playing? This kid that one.
Jiren, Ginyu, and I forgot the last.
And some real current shit.
I think it was like Krillin or Beerus.
But I think
it was Krillin.
It was Krillin. I think because I've heard of him before. I think he was already a Krillin player. I don't know what his team was before, but I'm pretty sure he used to already play Krillin, and then like his shit got even better. So
yeah, Jiren, Ginyu, Krillin.
The one thing I will say though about like the whole new age of like newer players, which is definitely going to happen, like as is the lifespan of every game, realistically, right? But I don't think they're going to get really that much credit, no matter what they do at that point, because of the state of the game.
Right, because we see that even now though, not, whether it's the state of the game or just the fact that other players are around. Because I've seen a fair share of discrediting coming around to like a lot of you guys in this call. Because, if Sonic was still playing the game, or if Kazunoko and Goichi were still playing the game, you know what I'm saying? You niggas would be, hello again, Dion.
Hey, welcome back.
He's back again.
I've seen a lot of downplay, and like to some degree, I understand because of the current state of the game. I too at times am guilty of saying like, well, I don't know, because like I feel like like we already said, the skill gap's been reduced, the skill ceiling has been lowered a bit, and so it's like when you argue, is like, well, is Wawa at his peak last year as good at the game as like Sonic and Goichi were in season 1, and it's like hard to compare because the games are so different. Like even though it's the same game, it's like it's
different metas, man.
Yeah,
Different generations.
different
Same thing for
metas,
basketball.
like
It's just
different mechanics and shit. Yeah, it's literally like that.
It's
It's,
literally
it's,
the
it's like
same
trying
conversation.
it's like trying to compare LeBron to Jordan. It's like certain niggas is gonna have their opinion. They're gonna be stuck on that, and there's no way you're gonna
Like,
be
if
able
you
to
saw-
convince them
you
otherwise.
saw Sonic.
It ain't stopping people from doing it. That's for sure.
Yeah,
You
you
saw
know what
Sonic
I'm saying?
playing. That's the thing, though. If you saw Goichi playing their prime, and then you stop watching the game, and then you start seeing WoW dominate, you're like, nah, Goichi would have washed. Like it's,
Yep.
it's always gonna be that way. That's just what happens with different
Living
generations
in
of
the
the
other
game.
person's shadow.
It would always be like that. You're never gonna be better. You're never gonna be better
You'll
than
never
the
be
person I
him.
first saw dominant. So
the cool part about comparing the two metas, though, I'm like I would wager that if Wawa played in the meta of season 2 and Goichi played, Goichi would still block everything. But if Goichi played in the meta that Wawa was dominant with all these 50-50s, he would not have been able to block all that because they're 50-50s.
I mean, Wawa did play in season 2, and Goichi was still cooking.
There's a set of them on YouTube.
He's still cooked, but you're not going to see.
no, for sure.
You're just not going to see these 60 seconds long worth of blocking.
Yeah,
There
I mean,
was
we
this brief period though where Wawa was playing them around. It was more of like the tail end of it. It was back when Wawa made his name by beating Kazunoko.
Yeah, when
with
he
that,
won.
like, fadeaway face
No,
over
they
the-
have a whole first
and
to 10 on
then he
YouTube,
won he won
actually.
UFA later that year.
Because he,
Like,
he
I think-
had to run the fucking gauntlet too. He beat Sonic Fox, but then lost to Goichi because he was supposedly Damascus.
We
said he was
Ben
like,
knew Wawa was nice though, because he was at UFA year 1 of the game, right? I'm pretty sure he made top 8. I think he lost to Nakul that year, but he was nasty.
To Wawa's credit,
Wawa was on like the
Yeah.
French national team for KOF 13 when
Yeah, I
he
was
was like
gonna say,
8
yeah,
years
he
old.
was mad good at KOF.
That kid's just a monster at fighting games.
He grew up on that shit, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, he grew up on that shit.
I'm pretty sure it was
I
like
will
his
say
father
though
played.
that for the sake of the argument, I just want to mention that they definitely did play around the same time. I think this is around the time where Wawa did win that tournament over Kazunoko, but there is a set on YouTube of them playing a first to 10. Like they sat down and both played their main teams, and like it was 10-1. That shit wasn't close, but that actually is kind of crazy because he's fresh off a tournament when then he got 10-1. But
Wait, Kazunoko 10-1 him?
No, Goichi 10-1 him.
Oh, Goichi.
Like this is fresh off Wawa beating or winning his tournament. Then that set happened. That's
how you know you're just outclassed. Like
we could go back to like UFA. I mean, this past year, right? We saw Goichi play and Wade still beat him, or was it Yasha? Both of them.
But see, when you start talking about things like that, it's like obviously.
Then Wade beat him.
See, it's like it's hard to compare though, because obviously I would say Goichi was a lot better at the game season 1 and 2 than he is at any of the last couple of years. Because
extremely.
Yeah, the amount of time and practice, you know,
he
what I'm
won
saying?
the Arx's World Finals for DNF Duel. And
So
that was
like
playing nothing but
I
Street
don't
Fighter,
think,
so.
and I don't know if this is what you're trying to say, but like, you know, whoever it is, whether it be Wade, Yasha, Hikari, Pret, Enzim, like someone beating Goichi or Sonic in the last 2 years is not the same as beating them season 1 or 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wasn't.
Like being in practice to the point where you are the best of the best in any of these games, especially now, it
Right.
takes so much time.
Like
It's
Goichi
actually
literally gave himself
ridiculous.
tendinitis from how like furiously he was practicing like every fucking option select in the game so that he could block and everything and escape every command grab, and you know what I'm saying, anything that wasn't a true actual guess 50-50, like
Wait,
he's
is that
not
actually
getting
true?
hit. Huh?
Is that where his hand injury came from?
I'm pretty certain, yeah. It was from all the it was from playing games, but it's just like the amount of practice he put in everything he was doing. I'm pretty sure that's why he got tendinitis.
Nah, it's because he plays. It's because his goofy ass plays stick.
No, he said it. He said that he worked on that every situation in the game, and the only thing that opened him was the character that he doesn't know. Like that's how in season 2 when I played him, he has like 5 times my level, but I still smoked him because I play hit, and he has no hit in Japan, so he gets fucked by hit.
Hit player admitting to being carried.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a couple that's true. There's
big fucking shoulders.
What's the name? Icon, and I think Mame Spot.
Icon.
Yeah, but I mean, not to say that they on the level like a Wade or a OB, but
nah, you go
Kefla Blue Gogeta.
He couldn't play his hit like he plays SJ Goku, bro.
No, for sure. There's definitely a difference in style.
At Worlds, when Fenrich knew he was fighting Wade, I literally watched Fenrich lab for 3 hours before they would fight the finals to lab hits.
Wade
Like,
is
bro,
sitting here sleeping. I'm like, bro.
And like even when Tachikawa played hit, he didn't play hit
Yeah.
the same way that like you guys play hit. So
No, they don't play.
Cool.
Like the first time when Fenwich came for the finals, for the Japan qualifier,
Mhm.
we played on free play, and I just 10-1 him. He didn't understand anything about the new hit. It was like, what the fuck's happening? Every situation was like, bro, what the fuck?
He's getting memed.
And then I think just lab the character like hidden Janemba. He labbed them for like 2 hours alone on screen.
Welcome.
That was just
That's actually the issue with Japan to begin with. Like they find their top tiers and they're just like, all right, everyone else,
they stick with
whatever.
that shit.
And then
They're
they
very
get
stubborn on changing them.
they
stick
get
to that.
memed, bro.
They stick to that
Tournament.
100%.
Because even whatchamacallit, Taco, he was telling me, he was just like, yeah, you know, you should have played 18, right? He was like, we have no idea what to do against that character. Like he's like at all. He's like they have literally 0 18 players. And then I seen Kane pick 18 against Finrich as just a last ditch effort, and he did EX 17, and Finrich kept holding tag. I'm like, yo, like what?
Yeah, what are you doing?
I mean,
I'm like,
it does extend a bit even beyond Japanese player. Like if you recall Jilla picking Yamcha at World and just washed Apology Man. Just it was like all green bars.
Jill at that point, he literally told me while we're at Worlds, he told me that I'm done with this game after this. I don't like it. I'm just going to play the character I want to play here.
You know, and that's so ironic to me because I feel like Jilla of all niggas would thrive so much in this version of the game. I don't understand that, but I digress.
No, he said he wants to play now. I saw him.
Oh, really? I was about to say that. I feel like the game's for him.
Definitely for him.
Yeah, I played him like 2 days ago, and he loves to play the game.
I fucking bet. I fucking bet.
Yeah.
It just makes a lot of sense, right? All it does, it just makes sense.
Yeah, but like he's still mad because they're playing against my team and get fucked up by fucking EX, Invisible Shit, and Barrier. Yeah. So he's still mad against some characters, but he play Balrog and he likes it.
I would say that's all right, bro. Jill is still a war crime for the shit he was doing for the first few years of the game, so it's gonna be alright. This is just his penance or whatever it's called. Repentance, I think is the word I'm looking for.
First, I thought you said he was trying to get his pension. I was like, what?
No, not his pension.
He's rolling the retirement home. The FGC retirement home.
Final Fantasy 14.
Final Fantasy 14? Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna lab Super Saiyan Goku. Thoughts?
Why are you not labbing Vegeta instead?
Because I already kind of have a pocket Vegeta, bro.
Wait, actually, I have a question. I have a question for you.
Wait, before you ask that question, I just hit 40 subs, so we gotta do offline session. This is not a choice, Daniel.
My goodness.
All right, and before you hit that question, I'm gonna grab another beer. Y'all need anything?
Yeah. Can you get me a sparkling water?
I got you, dude.
Oh, he just
right, so I want to ask: was that your first offline tournament, Evo?
Mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. No, well,
we made it last Evo.
I went to Evo. Yeah, last Evo
As
was
a competitor,
first one.
excuse me. As a competitor.
Yeah, he played last year.
Yeah,
oh,
I played not 2022 Evo was my first, and then that was my first experience doing that shit, and I was like, damn, this offline shit's kind of fun because that was the first time I've even played offline. Like I'd never even played offline because of my location. I'm in Colorado, so California motherfuckers complaining. I'm like, nigga, you don't even know, bro. But that was my first experience like offline at all. I was like, dang, this game is actually like a completely different experience playing offline compared to online.
Oh yeah.
And I got addicted to that shit. And then I found like a local out here. I went there. I think I got top 8, and I got bounced. And then I just stopped playing for like 5 months, and then I went to Evo again.
That's so vibes.
The reason why I asked is because like, would you consider yourself to be a casual? I mean, I imagine so.
The same question.
Yeah.
I guess I would be yeah, definitely actually, because the way I define what's the opposite of that? A competitive player?
Yeah.
But I am competitive, but I guess by the dictionary definition of competitive FGC player, I'm not that because I'm not registering for a bunch of tournaments. I'm not going to a bunch of offlines. I'm not like trying to get bread at tournaments. If I do go to a tournament, I'm just there to like fuck around, talk shit, and play my characters and just see what I can do. And then if I win, I'm a content creator. If I lose, I'm a content creator.
Oh, the OS, okay.
Yeah, it's your
Definitely.
OS, Daniel.
Content creator OS is OD strong, by the way.
It's unstoppable.
It's funny though, because like
It's both.
niggas will call you content creator and like talk this shit, but if they win, it's like, what you so hyped for, nigga? I'm just a content creator. Like, why it matter?
It's the most powerful. You can use it offensively and defensively.
Nah. So
It has no weakness.
I needed to prep this because word on the street was you popped off on my man Posey when you beat him in a set.
Oh yeah, I put the pause on him.
Oh, word, you did not like this.
Okay, Posey. I ain't gonna lie.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, like, one of my first, like, a nigga I don't think who was taking me serious at all because I was a YouTuber niggas was actually Posey, and he wasn't like disrespectful with it, but I think that nigga definitely thought I was gonna be like free because I'm a YouTuber.
Like, shit was sweet.
And this shit was. You could ask him how the set went.
It was
My
me.
goodness.
It was me. It was at one of Bum's online tournaments that I fought him. And honestly, I didn't like I just saw the chat getting super hype about him. They're like, "Oh yeah, Posey's about to put the pause on this dude." Like in my head, I was just like, "Look, I don't know who bro is, but I'm about to put the pause on this dude. I don't know what's about to happen." But and then it happened, and then I found out, you found out
who he was,
and everything. Yeah, and then I met him in person for the first time at this last Evo, and we ran it offline. And I think he won like 3-2 or some shit. So he hasn't stopped talking about. No, I won first to 2. Talked a little shit. He was like, "All right, I gotta respect you." I was like, "Yeah, you do." He was like, "Oh nah, fuck that, run it again."
Run it back in blood.
I think you and Posey are legitimately like around the same level, so that makes a lot of sense. I wish I had gotten to see all that.
I got a curious question, Nitro Pred. But when you guys first met me at the US region, did you guys think I was going to be free when you first fought me?
Oh, 100%. I was talking so much shit about you. It was crazy. I was like this.
No.
I was like,
What?
I was in Discord telling Pred. I was like, this thing's not nice.
Yo,
Bro,
sorry, Zane,
I was like, your
Zane,
trading partner.
if you could have seen my face restreaming that shit, because I didn't know who you were. I was like, I don't know who Zane
when he
is.
first fought Pred, like my first introduction to him was when he fought Pred and he was using Zamasu. And
bro, if you could see my face when he, because like Pred, you know you my nigga, bro, but he was putting hands on you, and I was like
crazy, Pred.
I was like, no,
and it's all my fault.
Was ass back then.
It's all my fault.
I was talking to Yasa. I'm like, Yasa, my team had nothing to do against his team. Before the set, he was like,
I agree with you, but I just
he watched after. He was like, never mind.
Like I agree with you. Your team didn't really have an answer for that shit, but I just thought you was so nice, and I wasn't really familiar with Zane, so I was like, oh, and that shit just went the complete opposite of what I was expecting.
That was the first Zane match I ever watched, and I was just like, oh, he different. Okay.
But that's why I was so taken aback, because like I feel like I've been keeping my ear to the streets at DBSD for the most part. So I'm like, how is there like a nigga this good on the West Coast, and I didn't know who he was? It is just like, yeah, you just.
Was that your first offline?
Yeah,
that was offline. I'm not gonna lie though.
That makes sense.
Like, Nitro. I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you believed that until, and then I was like, I'm pretty sure after the first day when I was there, I mean, you played like 70 games straight. I was like, I think I won like 40% of them. I won at least a lot more.
It was actually before that. Actually, it was when you were fighting Beneath. And I was like,
oh, I was cooking.
Oh, he's actually cooking him. So I was like, I have to play this guy now.
There's a reason. There's a reason why he said my team was cheap when I fought him. When I fought him on that last day, was because the first day he's like Zane games, and I'm like, sure. And I think I won like 9-1.
I was like, I'm so glad this dude did not know the Blue Goku matchup.
That was fun. That was funny.
That actually makes a lot of sense, because to me it was mad random, Nitro, that you walked up to me. I was like, yo, did you play Zane yet? And I was like, no. He was like, I want to see you play him. I'm like, why do you want to see you play somebody else? And then I played him, and I'm like, oh, this character is.
This is why you want to see me play.
You have to play against that.
You didn't see the big red flags.
I actually think I like lost the first 2 games because I was just trying to fight Zamasu, and then I was like,
Enzem cooked me. That 100%.
No, but it was my initial reaction to fighting Zamasu though. I'm like, yo, what is happening right now? Because we literally don't have a Zamasu player at the time, so I'm just like, I'm actually making the mistake of running that character down, and I'm just dying over and over again. I think
that's the beauty of this game, and like even now, more so back then, but it's just like a Zane can just pop up playing Zamasu when nobody else was really like playing Zamasu like that at that time. And just like completely make people rethink you
Like
know, how they
reevaluate the
previously
character
done
and
it.
shit.
Yeah, how they thought about the game and the meta and like who's the best and stuff like that.
I feel like that shit has happened multiple times throughout the game's history too. Because like
I'll
even
tell
back
you-
in
I'll
season
tell you
1,
what.
when like Kazunoko picked up Yamcha, everyone was like, "Nigga, Yamcha," and it was like, "Oh, the nigga just super dashes plus assist or DP plus assist," and we all die.
I'll tell you what was up with the Zamasu thing. So, but the way the points worked then, there was one big online tournament and you got a bunch of points. I picked up Zamasu 8 days before that happened. I played that, won that, and since there was basically no locals at all on the West Coast, I basically qualified off of that alone. So basically, you could watch me play that match, and then you see nothing of me again until the actual regional qualifier.
That's crazy.
That was me,
that's
but I
how
just
that's how
played
Enzym
mad
popped up as well.
parsecs
Bro,
with
no?
Nitro, so I just didn't
Like
exist.
that's why new players can't exist. Like Zane came up the same way, Enzym came up the same way. It's definitely very doable, very possible for the new player to just be nasty.
Because I mean, there is playing like a new character nobody knows, but there is also finding a new way to play said character. Because I would like to point out, Zane, you threw all of like the international players, the French as well, especially through a loop because they had a Zamasu player, but they played him nothing like you do.
Yeah,
Where you are just like you are just in the top right hand side of the screen.
I kid you not. My favorite part across that entire first trip to France wasn't like anything involving the tournament. It was that first day where we did the 12v12. I sat down to fight against Noka. I picked my team, and it cut to the player cams, and Noka immediately like dropped his controller, looked at the other players, was like, "What the fuck?" It was just like, what the hell is this team?
He's over there losing his mind.
I'm trying to remember because I think I was actually out of town. I think I was in LA at my Airbnb and stream chat. Y'all can remind me. I think I streamed from my B&B watching that. Enzym, weren't you cooking at that shit? In that 12
Enzym ran everyone the hell over during that 12.
Okay, I was trying to remember because I think I was at my Airbnb and Enzym was fucking people up.
I went and beat 2 of them, almost beat Wade, but no one really cared about that because Enzym smoked like 5 of them.
Yeah, everyone thought I was gonna get clapped by Kane, and I'm not gonna say I thought that too. But after that first game, I was just like, "Yo, Vegito is this guy."
I was sitting here like he's about to do it to Kane, bro.
Nah, so you know what got you know what got me so tight about that though? When I beat Kane, y'all wanted to give me my gas, and I was so ready to accept my gas. I was like, "Yes,
and
let me get that
like,
shit."
No.
And then he was like, "No, go back over there. You don't get nothing." I'm like, "I don't get nothing." No, I'm like,
I just wanted to get up to get a bottle of water, and he said, "No, you're not allowed to get up. I will bring you the water."
Sit your ass down.
Okay. They were having none of it.
That event was so much. That's like still, I think, the most fun I've had in this game. To be completely honest, not even just that event, just being there.
Being there was so much fun.
That event was. I'm not gonna lie. That event was rough for me. That first day, that first match I did, I kid you not, I almost collapsed because my legs wouldn't stop shaking after I played my first match.
Wait, Zane,
the nerves were rough.
Wait, Zane, you won one game in your group, right?
I lost my first 3 all 2-0 because I fought Scientific ALF, who I beat all the time here, and I literally couldn't walk afterwards because the room was spinning. And then after that,
he made your knees weak. That was crazy.
Then after that, I fought I think Nitro after that, and then Sonic, and then I won the last 2-0 to barely qualify.
Bro, your arms were heavy.
Bro, if Nitro
let on your sweater already.
All Nitro had to do was let someone win one game.
You said all I have to do. I'm not gonna give anybody no free games.
The nerves are fine after that. That first game, even if it was against someone who I fought all the time, I couldn't walk afterwards. But then fast forward to the final 8, and I'm like, this is easy now.
I can't even lie. Like even like me, I have obviously visually, I'll see like near like 1,000 people watching me live, concurrent, whatever, and then like on YouTube even more than that. And I guess I don't put it into perspective because when I started doing that, just random local shit, I get to top 8, they put me on stream, and it's like the viewers are probably like, there's probably like 40 people in there. But for some reason, because it's like out of my comfort zone, it's not like my viewers. Yeah, it's different. And I wasn't like super like shook, but it was definitely like I was like, why am I feeling nervous? Like,
it's what the tournament setting, dude.
Yeah, they call it like it's a whole different game for a reason.
Yeah,
simply because of that.
The characters
Because,
become
like-
fast all of a sudden. That
No,
overhead
it's
is
Super Dash
it's
is
the
all
adrenaline.
reactable.
It's literally
For
the
me, shit
adrenaline.
low-key kind of slowed down, except for this one Krillin mix that I lost to, and that shit pissed me off
It's-
still.
it's-
But bro, shit kind of slowed down. Like I'm like hyper focused and shit. It was
Oh, yeah.
fun. Man,
No,
speaking of which,
There's
I'm
also
about-
like
I'm about
there
to
is
find
also
my
like
next logo.
adrenaline in there as well
Gotta
when
find
shit
your
really
next
gets
logo.
going.
Bro said Colorado. Good luck, bro.
I remember
It's real,
Worlds.
bro. It's real.
Dude, no,
They
it
got
is
people.
fucking real. When I
The
was at
local is
Worlds, like,
real.
this was my first time playing
They got
internationals.
people out here, bro. Just you know,
I
not that
literally
much.
could not drink my water properly after that first match because my hand was shaking so much. And when I
No.
was doing that, literally, like before I even got a mouthful in, the dude tapped me on the shoulder and he was like, "You're up. You have to go over there now to play again."
Raptor, do you know
Yeah.
who there's one player, he's I'm pretty sure he was Australian. I forget what event he was at, but he's like a tall-ish, I don't know, he might have been short, but
Novix?
on camera. Novix,
Yeah,
yes.
Novix.
Yes.
Yeah,
That dude.
I gotta.
That dude, I could tell that he was good, he was nice, but that dude was a nervous fucking
Yep.
wreck.
Listen, I'm not gonna linger too much on that, but in the entire lead up to Worlds, by the way, for like the next one, he did not approach me once for either like advice or information or to practice.
Hey,
Just
well,
because of
No.
nerves.
hey, he
I
sound like he
have
ain't take
no
full
idea.
advantage of the resources
I
at
got
hand.
no idea.
I
Yeah, he was not
Facts.
interested.
don't know if he was just nervous or overconfident, but either way, watching him on stream, I was like, from the gameplay, I can tell the nigga nice, but he couldn't get it together. And I felt bad.
He
watching
crumbled.
him.
He crumbled big time. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Which
felt
is why,
bad
like,
watching
It's
him.
fucking hard when you're in the
hard.
hot
Them-
seat, mate. When you're in the hot seat, it's
lights
fucking
go
hard. No
crazy.
matter
Come
who
on
you are.
now. The light starts to shine. They get bright. You get hot. It's too much.
They
The
get in
lights
your
was too
eye
bright,
because
Jared
they
Allen?
don't know how to do production.
That
Oh
was
god,
oh my
was
god,
it
that
was it Shanks? Was that Shanks who
It
was
happened
like
to a lot of
actually
us.
blind? Yeah,
no,
was it?
during
I will never-
during the actual like finals, like they had to swap like 4 PlayStations because of overheating.
Bro, my monitor turned off at the end of my first game. I was going to lose my mind.
Speaking of which, so I
And I
know
still
there's
want it.
There's a bit of controversy about like PS5 versus PS4 and like fucking USB ports melting or some, like I heard a bunch of crazy shit.
Yeah.
But rollback is gonna be, like, we have to remember, it's gonna be exclusive to the PS5 version and Xbox Series S version when it comes to consoles. So with that said, most people you would imagine are gonna get used to playing on PS5, so that's probably gonna be where they stay. And also, because they're making a new version of the game, I wonder if that, like, is rollback going to be the only thing that they add to this new version of the game, or are we going to get like any sort of performance?
I feel like it has to
enhancements
be
and shit
more.
like that.
I'm genuinely surprised they haven't announced a like an ultimate edition where they just like you package up all the DLC. Like it gives you an excuse to just resell the game again for full price because like it's got all the DLC and shit.
Right.
Which if it is only an update does make me think maybe it is because they are just like reverse engineering the rollback from whatever their next project is. Because why would you do like invest so heavily in like a 5-year-old game that you are not selling DLC for anymore? Like,
Yeah,
at all,
'cause,
and you're not even gonna repackage it. Like,
listen, I don't pretend like the business decisions that a lot of these companies make are ever from a standpoint of logic. Because if logic were a factor, there's so many more things that we would have and so many different things that would
I
exist
just think
that
like
just don't.
Bandai and Toei really fucking like money.
Yeah.
So I always think like if you have a free excuse to just sell the game again, would you know? It's I don't know, man. It's fucking. Who knows?
You want
Who
it to
knows,
make
man?
sense, but it doesn't.
It's Funhouse Mirror World over
Slept
there.
on so much money from these skins or costumes they could have done.
That being said, though, I am not convinced.
More colors.
I'm not convinced that
Like,
PS5 will be the tournament standard for DBFZ even when rollback is released. Simply just from like, I don't.
But it was last year, was it not?
No,
I mean,
like
no,
this
it was
offline.
No,
it was
not for
PS4.
Dragon Ball.
Offline, it doesn't matter, right?
But my
Offline
other
it
thing
matters,
is,
yes.
No, I think it will
matters.
be a PS5 because they'll have a new port since it's a new. Since it's only on
Yeah,
PS5.
but PS5 has more input delay.
No, but since I don't think.
No, the
I
new
think that's
version
because
is
it's
gonna
the
come
PS4.
out. Rollback
you
is
know,
going to be
if-
exclusive to PS5.
okay, so my question is, and
it's a
like
new port.
you guys are gonna have to answer this better than I will be able to, because the amount of events I go to or have gone to is very limited. Do events other than Evo have enough PS5s to even be able to do that? Because you got to remember, the vast majority, if not all of those, are going to be prioritized for Street Fighter 6.
Well,
Absolutely.
They outsource their consoles to gaming generation. right? It's not the
Mhm.
event that has their own consoles.
Right. Like they
get it from a
rent
third
them or
party.
whatever. But even still, like
Yeah.
I just because like
Yeah,
I say this because even at Evo, there just were not enough consoles around for all the games. And granted, the event's fucking massive, the biggest of all time, right? But I don't know. I just don't know if like logistically, if like it'll even work out to where the game could be.
And if you pair that with the fact that MK1 is going to come out, that's going to be on PS5.
Exactly.
I'm assuming the new Under Night will also be on PS5. The new Granblue is probably going to be on PS5.
It's gonna slowly trickle into like a world where it's gonna be PS5 standard everywhere.
I mean, eventually,
we
right?
gotta let the PS4 go eventually. That shit is
Yeah,
out now.
100%.
I just don't know
You
if
gotta
that.
let it go
I mean, I guess it depends on when rollback does eventually release. But let's say if it were to happen this year, I don't think this year DBFZ would be on PS5.
I mean, well, because
It
I
has to be.
imagine they only need they only need next gen, just because
Yeah.
the fucking hardware can't handle it. Because there's so much more it has to like be computing at all times. Because there's so much more shit happening in Dragon Ball
That makes
that the
sense.
netcode has to account for. So
I don't
when
know.
it's offline and
it'll be
when it's
interesting to see.
offline and you don't have to account for that, you could probably just get away with PS4.
It's gonna be limited though if you keep playing on PS4. Like you have to eventually just let it go. Truthfully.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
eventually.
just with every console generation in tournaments. Like eventually, niggas had to move on from PS3, and then eventually the PS4 will have to move on.
Xbox and
but-
Marvel to the PS4.
Unless you play Melee.
Well,
Unless-
the niggas is on hardware from the '90s. Still, that's crazy.
That's a
They
whole
pull out our
other
old
problem.
CCTVs.
That's fucking crazy.
Bro, that game actually made me like spend like 5 hours finding one of those TVs, and I actually found it too because I was not going to give up.
I actually have one of them still. I still in the attic though.
Eventually, they're gonna run out of that shit, right? When they mod out.
Melee's gonna outlast
more
that
offline.
age of technology. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna run out eventually.
It might, low key.
Melee will only die when they run out the ability to actually play the game.
Nah, dude, they could play it. They could play it on fucking current monitors. They have setups for it.
Yeah, they got Slippy and shit there. Yeah. But
Nintendo comes along and goes,
Do
we know how well that worked out last time.
You guys have any like final thoughts or remarks or like anything you want to get up your chest? I think about the game before we start trying to wrap this up. I guess since it's been over 3 hours now, I think we've discussed quite a lot. And also,
I'm already on the game. Can we get handled?
I'm sure
You already
Sehan,
tried, man.
I'm sure Sehan
You
and Wade
already
are
tried, man.
dying
That
to
was a
crawl
long
into
time ago. I'm
bed.
a
So
different man.
Final thing for me, I love the game. I think I would not be here if it wasn't for the game.
Dragon Ball's
I
so
don't-
good. Yes, yes, yes.
Yep, I don't like what it's become, but
Yeah,
I'm still
I'm on with
gonna
that.
play anyways.
still very hopeful for the future of the game. That's for sure.
Lay Wade
Time
go.
to-
Let's start from the bottom. Since they're later.
Yeah,
time.
let's take it from the bottom.
Go ahead, Wade.
So Zane, you've had your thoughts.
Yep, I already said. Wait, you're up.
Wade, how you feeling?
Any final thoughts, Wade, before you
TMI?
fall asleep?
No, I'm there. Final thought about the game.
you don't sound like you're there. I'm not gonna lie.
That sounds pretty gone.
Your final thoughts on the game on the game right now to close things up.
I think the game is in a better state than the just lab code fusion and stuff like 2 months ago. But I still want to see what will happen in tournament. Especially that's why I want to go to ECT because I think this tournament gonna be
Stay away,
fucked up.
please.
Not trying to find a hit player. Keep
Like shit,
Yeah,
bro.
it's
Like,
like-
get away.
I had to deal with Yasha last
try.
time. I'm not dealing with
Bro,
you. Leave.
Bro, you need to try the
Another
new
one
hit.
invades.
Nah, the new hit is just terrifying.
Y'all scared y'all can't defend the home turf? What's going on?
Yes.
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 I'm not even going to play, and I don't think I can.
Really be like that sometimes.
Don't be scared. But like, yeah, I just want to see what happened in tournament. But I kind of like the game right now.
Gotcha. What about you, Sehan?
Final thoughts. It's better than previous patch and maybe better than lab code double fusion patch, but I'll just need the rollback update to actually like see for myself if the game is really good for me or not. Yep.
For sure. Dion?
Game fun. Game real fun. Game crazy. Game real crazy. Game
Why do you start losing brain
This
cells?
nigga's an NPC, bro.
He said yes. Love
Losing
game.
brain cells because he plays this game.
Bro, because I'm enjoying the patch. What the fuck you mean, bro? I'm supposed to retain brain cells after this shit?
He said, yes, I love game. My baby.
I think the game is in a good overall place. There are some things that are just ignorant, like Blue Vegeta's command grab being completely invincible and fucking and I love it. I play Blue Vegeta, but that shit is ignorant. I love it. And then GT Goku Cloud, goddamn, bro, you really
showed me what for.
That shit
Dude, when you hit me with the command grab, I was like, damn, this is what I'm doing to people, huh?
I know. We were both just hitting each other with the ignorance, but yeah, a couple things that are just like glaringly ignorant, but outside of that, I think the game is in a good spot in terms of character diversity and a lot of people just enjoying the heck. At the end of the day, this is a video game. You play a game to have fun, and I get it from a competitive side. It's a little like whack, but I think this shit's in a good spot.
Gotcha. What about yourself, Raptor?
I'd say it's fucking Dragon Ball, baby.
It's
We're here for it. We're here for it. Yeah, let's go.
It's no longer trying to be Marvel. It's just Dragon Ball.
It's just Dragon Ball. So I'd say the game's a lot of fun.
Let's not disrespect Marvel.
Yeah, let's not go down that path.
Let's not do that.
I do think competitively it could be good depending on how it goes, but I mean it's up in the air how the meta develops, but I think I share the sentiment with a lot of fucking people in that give us the rollback and the game will just immediately get so much better without the need of a patch, without the need of changing the game, anything else.
Gotcha.
That's not exactly a hot take.
I will quickly say, I wanted to mention this and I forgot to say it earlier, is that I've seen a very common sentiment being that the game, it finally feels like Dragon Ball. It feels more Dragon Ball than ever before. And I don't know about you guys, but I never really felt like the game wasn't Dragon Ball enough. Like I always felt like it was very
always Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I always felt like it was a very good representation of like the characters.
I just think it's more Dragon Ball.
No, you're missing it. It was Dragon Ball. Now it's Dragon Ball Z, brother. Like it's
all right. Anyway, Nitro.
Hey, I was cooking, bro. Let me cook. Go ahead.
Nitro.
Oh, me. My standpoint still stands where it's like, competitively, I don't think I would even want to attempt.
You gonna do it though?
Possibly.
You're still gonna enter the game.
We're just seeing how much time it takes to hit the sub goal, and then we'll see.
Dude, when you enter a Guilty Gear tournament, you're gonna sign up for Dragon Ball anyway.
Bro, just play.
I'm not sure about that one. Like I would have last patch, I would have been like, yes, it's time. But this patch, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I don't know.
Just playing it by ear at this point.
Nah, I see AOC, man.
All right, we'll see. I actually wasn't even going to go this week, so that was it's funny that you mentioned that.
So you want to be an AOC, Fred?
Yeah, I'm a guy.
So you still playing the game?
Right,
I'm playing Team Gohan.
I would say he's trying to play some Team Gohan. He's trying to play some Team. Bro said, I mean, like, I don't really know, but my character got crazy buffs, so like.
I think they finally made him a character.
Finally,
brother, bro.
Finally,
here we go.
I think he finally became a character when he got the auto combo.
Finally, my nigga. I feel like
he's been a character since season 2.
I was saying he been a character for like 4 years, but for sure.
All I got here for me.
No, he was a character in season 2, and then everyone else got better, and then he wasn't a character. And
anyways.
No, nigga, see, this is what happens when you come from a place of fucking privilege. Because I've played characters that actually were not characters. Meanwhile, Team Gohan just wasn't number 1, so he wasn't a character.
The crazy thing, this is the same thing with Adult Gohan. Everybody swore Adult Gohan was like the worst character in the game.
You're also a Kid Buu player, and y'all was doing that shit every patch for 4 years.
I always thought Adult Gohan was sick nasty. All right, I wasn't an Adult Gohan.
Yeah, you're clean. You're clean.
But Kid Buu. Well,
we can talk about
it took 5 years, but you niggas are finally right. It took 5 years, but you're finally right. Kid Buu's not that great anymore. Holy shit.
Yeah, Lotus, I will say though.
We knew it was gonna happen eventually.
Isn't Big Function's broken, so I don't know if you play a low tier.
I do, bro.
Trunks is not. Trunks has been theoretically broken for like 4 years and has still yet to actually come to
I'm
that.
gonna be
Like,
honest.
that potential.
I don't think that shit is theoretical anymore. I'm
He
sorry.
hasn't been good
No,
since
no,
the
no.
game
I
launched,
no.
right?
Don't get me wrong. I think the character is significantly stronger now
Like, he's
in this
always been
patch
alright.
than he is last patch. But I mean, I also just feel like, again, character power is so high. I'd have to see more to feel like, if I feel like he's actually moved up that significantly, because like so many characters are dumb right now. I don't know if his changes are enough for him to also be considered really dumb. But I do think he's good. Like, I think he's way better. A lot of the changes he got are shit I wanted to see. But you know,
Actually, in a team game, you can't really look at changes in a vacuum either, because
For
you will be dealing with 3 different matchups every time you play.
for sure. That being said, what about you, Enzo?
Oh, kind of the same thing as earlier, right? Like competitively, I think I don't want to say it's the worst it's ever been, but it's up there just given how like these options are. But casually wise, it's definitely really fun. Kind of like the whole thing is like this game has always felt like Dragon Ball, but like now it's just like it feels like, I don't want to say like the old games where like somebody will hop into a stream and they'll see like their favorite character, like they'll see Vegeta just do this crazy 100 hit combo into a Big Bang attack, into a final flash that like sends them off the planet. They're gonna be thinking like, damn.
Yeah, they're really playing a Dragon Ball game. That should look kind of
he's like, he just got packed up. So in that regard, it's really, really good. But it's the same thing, right? Like the rollback has to come out for it to be like even remotely where it probably should be, right? For a game as big as this, like, because it doesn't match what it used to be. That's for sure.
For sure. I got you, Daniel.
Overall, I think the game is really good. I mean, overall final thoughts, I would say, if you have fun on a casual level, you should get into the game now today. And as a competitor, I think you should still at least give this game a tournament shot, like give it one more shot. But it'll be fun to break down the game, see how it goes on here on out. But overall, I think the game is good. It's good. Final thoughts. It's good.
And Cloud.
Besides when the game first dropped, it's probably the most exciting at a spectator level, right? Because you're not gonna see fucking the same teams over and over, right? The fusions are still solid, right? But now you can see, GT Goku, you're gonna see more Jun, you're gonna see more hits, right? You're gonna see a variety of characters. So the game in terms of what I guess Bandai was going for the spectator and casual point, they made it. They did what they wanted to, right? A lot of characters viable now. Tournament scene, you're gonna see a bunch of different characters, right? Obviously, you're still gonna see the current top players still. In top 8s, maybe you'll see, another person, but the top 16, 32s. Spectators are gonna fucking love that shit, dude. They're like, oh my god, it's Blue Vegeta. Holy shit. It's fucking GT Goku. Oh my god, is that a fucking rare sighting of Krillin, right? Garlic bread, shouts to him.
Who shouldn't be that rare,
Krillin
by the
might
way.
low key be top 3, by the way. I'm just gonna say it.
Exactly, right? Asians are crazy,
Fuck that bald ass character.
I hate him too. I hate him too, but I'm scared of him.
They accomplished their goal, but the point is, at the end of the day, how well is that going to be for the game, right? Like that they already gave up on us competitors, but I mean, yeah, right. It's you laugh like yeah, exactly. They're thinking of the casual audience, right? But I think competitively still worth giving a shot, especially because they're giving us another world tour, which is insane to me. This is what, the fifth one?
Fourth one, I think.
I was. Never mind.
No.
All I want to say is that they don't really care about us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jackson. But yeah, so they still want to see a competitive aspect of the game, and they're giving it to us. And the question is, will we answer the call? A lot of people don't like it, but some of us will still be there, right? So I think there's still reason to compete in the game because they're like, hey, here's another tour.
I mean, absolutely.
We're giving it to you guys.
And I'm sure there are several players. I mean, like even Enzo himself, he says like, I'm still gonna play because I'm trying to finish out this world tour. But beyond that, we'll see what happens. So I definitely hear that. Yeah. So I actually thoroughly enjoy this. I'd love for it to go on even longer, but obviously time zones are a thing, and also I've just got some things that I personally need to handle. But I'm very glad that we were able to get together and do this, and hopefully it's something that we can do again at some point, whether it's just discussing more about the current state of the game or the future, or if there's any other updates or DLCs or patches or anything that end up coming to the game. This is definitely something I'd like to do again, as long as you guys are willing to as well. Obviously working it out because we're scattered out all over the world. Time zones are very difficult, but all the more reason why I'm eternally grateful and very appreciative of Raptor, Seon, Wade all coming out tonight. and for all of you guys. So I greatly appreciate it. And hopefully everyone out there watching, both in my stream and everyone else's streams, enjoy this, and you guys out there on YouTube as well. I think we had a great conversation, a great mix of opinions, whether they be positive or negative about the patch, and shed a lot of light on how a lot of people view the game and certain perspectives, whether it be the competitive aspect or the casual aspect. So yeah, I'm very grateful. I'm very appreciative. Even though the game for me isn't in my ideal state, even though I'm not having the most fun playing it, I'm very not grateful, but I'm happy for those of you who are. I'll say that. And
it'll grow on you. Give it some time.
I don't know. We'll see.
I'm not gonna lie, that low key might be true because it has so far grown on everyone. It's funny to see the transition.
We'll talk a bit more about this after I end it here. But I just want to close this out, and like I said, you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoy it. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you can stay tuned for all this content when I bring you. With all that being said, it's pretty much off today. And remember, nothing can happen to you, swing the bat. Later.
Tee
Peace.
Boy. Wait, before everybody,
I almost just lost my mind.
Before everybody leaves, is anybody still going to be streaming after this? I'm gonna send my peeps to you.
I'm probably into Lotus.
I'm ending. Is what I was gonna say.
Have you ended your stream, Lotus?
Yeah, I'm sending them to Shorty.
All right, dude. Let's Eiffel Tower somebody with a raid, and I'm getting off too.
I was gonna drop
Oh,
it off
yeah.
on my
Just
girl's stream.
dogpile them.
Yeah.
I wasn't ending right this moment because I was gonna say, as far as like the game growing on me, I just didn't want to be like the overly negative one or like end the video off with this, so that's why I just ended the recording there. But as far as the game growing on me, like I have legitimately, I keep over and over trying to go back to the game, and I just get so like unreasonably like frustrated and angry when I play this game. Yeah, well, it's not even like a tilted ass. I mean, tilted is part of it, right? But it's like I'm just genuinely not having any fun at all when I play the game anymore. It's like I keep because I love the game so much for so long and everything it's done for me and like what it means to me. I want to like it so bad, and I've tried to let it grow on me, but I get in an unbelievably awful mood every single time I try to touch the game. So I don't believe it's gonna grow on me at all. But yeah.
You have to learn.
You gotta learn to let go, dude.
No, trust me. No, listen. I like
16 coming in with the assist. What the fuck?
I really mean it when I say like I've spent so much time thinking about this and trying to change my perspective and like damn near like literally just fucking meditating, and I can't do it, bro.
Hitting that Jiren pose.
I don't like the game
100%. That's the first thing I thought.
It's funny you say that because I boot up training mode, I play Team Going, and I have so much fun. Then I play the game or play someone online. I'm like, never mind, I don't want to play.
Bro, no, but literally, like I
don't want to sound like a fucking broken record, being like, oh, just when you wait for the rollback, mate, it'll be fine. Like everything will work itself out. But like, it can't be understated that if it's good, it will vastly improve your experience. But there is a level of like,
and when the rollback does come, that's absolutely another chance I'm gonna give the game, and I'm gonna be playing and stuff. I'm not saying I'm never touching it again, but what I'm saying is that like I've uninstalled the game and hidden it from the library on both my PlayStation and my PC for a reason.
Nah, hiding it from your library is something new.
But I mean that's legitimately the point. That is legitimately the point it has pushed me to, because like it literally feels like something that I need to move on from a player's standpoint, because I
need an intervention at this point.
Well, no, it's because like
I need to go on his Kratos shit.
I keep trying to like let it grow on me or give it another chance, but like I just feel like I came to the conclusion that like it's just not for me anymore, and I need to move on. And so that's why I've gone to that length, because it's just like I am only hurting myself every time I play it. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
and it's like, yeah, I can sit
hard enough if you haven't played with your friend Dion yet. That's all I'm saying.
But you're saying at the same time you're grateful for everything the game has given you, but you just don't like the way it is currently.
Absolutely.
Nah, that's too understanding. Fuck all that.
You come right. Yeah, you come right.
So what do you want violence?
Fuck that.
I want no peace. I want violence always.
I will say I definitely felt like that for a really long time about the game, very recently too. I don't know what happened, but like one day I was just playing it and I was just like, you know what? This is not the game that I fell in love with previously, but at the same time, this isn't the worst. Like the second I stop comparing it to the actual Dragon Ball you're speaking of, and we've had this conversation before, like,
yeah.
So I know you know what I'm talking about. I actually started having a little bit of fun, which
it's just
I feel
extremely
like a lot
difficult
of
for me to
players.
readjust.
Can I
my
ask a
perspective.
question to everybody in here? Is this whose first love of a fighting game is this for?
This is
Like-
my first fighting game, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, exactly.
I played a
I've-
bunch of fighting games. Hold on, let me rephrase that. I played a bunch of fighting games. This is the first one that I tried to like learn, like, you know,
Seriously.
beyond just fucking
Same.
around. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've also played fighting games like my entire life, but as far as like saying I fell in love with a game, this was definitely the one. Because like when Tekken 7 came out, that was the first time I was like, oh, I'm really going to practice this game. I really want to get good. But I legitimately like fell in love with this game, and that's why I ended up like doing with it the things that I did, and like making it part of my entire brand and taking it as far as I did.
I legitimately did not know what a fighting game was 10 years ago.
Damn.
No,
So this is a
I'm
lot
not-
of
no, I'm
people's
not kidding.
first love for fighting games.
First love and first
I would say
heartbreak.
so, yeah. Because I'm
And it
also
just
in the
took a
same.
Dragon Ball IP.
Goddamn, yeah. Because I
I'm
grew up
just-
with fighting games like playing Tekken 4 as a kid, but you live out in a fucking small Aussie town where online infrastructure doesn't exist yet. It was like, yeah, it's Dragon Ball was absolutely the first fighting game I really stuck to.
Like everyone played a little Smash and like a little bit of you know off the like
Tekken or Mortal Kombat or
Street
some
Fighter.
shit.
Yep.
Like we all played it, but this is the first one that I was like, hey, let me actually like try to learn this shit and be decent.
Yeah, no, I had dreams of being like a top 8 Evo finalist in this shit when it first got announced. Now, little did I realize that was what exactly I was setting myself up for. And then I also I found my own lane in content creation, right? And like I got really nice at the game, but like I legitimately was like, hey, I think if I like really like try my hardest, bro, I could be in some top 8s. And like I've made some top 8s, like some online events, but you know,
I made noise.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I made my little waves, you know what I'm saying? Not too bad for content creator
Not
type
light.
shit, you feel me? So I'm light. But
Remember, you always got the OS
yeah.
on deck. It don't matter.
It don't matter. It do not matter. But that was actually one of the things too. I remember because before Dragon Ball FighterZ came out, the last Dragon Ball game or like big anime game was Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. So my thing was I wanted to be like, ah, damn, you really listen to a Xenoverse player? Mind you, at the time I fell off of playing that game and I hated that shit too. But that was my whole thing. Hey, but Pred, no, he was
You should
out
be
there in the
using that
fields.
now.
I was so
You should be using that
happy
now.
when I saw Pred cooking people. Because like I knew Pred before anybody knew Pred, bro.
Well, we knew him at the same time.
In Xenoverse, bro. Like back in the Xenoverse 2 beta, I was playing with Pred. So that's why, like, because there was a stigma when FighterZ was about to come out. Everyone who like I guess played fighting games was like, oh yeah, you're good at Xenoverse, but like anybody who comes from Xenoverse is gonna be ass at FighterZ. Like, wait till this real fighting
Okay, but
game
that was
comes
the
out.
case for a lot of niggas though. But it's funny because a lot of niggas
I definitely played Xenoverse at the start.
but a lot of niggas who said shit like that were also garbage at the game and stopped playing it. That was the funniest part.
To be honest, though,
You guys know who Saturn is? Saturn was really good at
Yes.
Xenoverse, and Saturn's nice at FighterZ too.
You still
I
talk to
was-
Saturn?
I know what you're talking about.
I'm not
That
gonna
happens
lie.
when-
I
that
had a
happens when every
mean
fighting game comes
Goku.
out. That happens when Strive came out. That happened when Street Fighter 6 came out. It's always a thing. Like, oh, you're not a.
Yeah, it's
that
always the
conversation's
thing.
corny. Yeah, that conversation's corny.
They were like, Dragon Ball players will be good at
these are-
Strive, and then I started watching them, and they were like, damn, he has hands.
Yeah, wow, he was
saying that shit.
nah. Strive came out. I was like, yo, this nigga Nitro looked like he could fuck around, and be the best in the country at this shit. You know what I'm saying? And I think
And
he
then
kind
I
of
stopped playing.
Yeah,
to play
I was
Dragon
like,
Ball. I was
you
like,
fell
what
off
a
to play DBZ, and I was like,
decision.
damn,
There's
bro,
a
I feel like
timeline out
Nitro
there,
had a lot of
Nitro,
potential.
There's
there.
a timeline where I'm
There's a
actually
timeline
enjoying
out there
myself.
somewhere.
There's a timeline where fucking Nitro's a goddamn Guilty Gear Strive Evo champion potentially. You know what I'm saying?
Pain, bro, pain.
Be the
Why do I
worst
make
people
such
saying stupid
horrible
shit
life
like that, too.
decisions?
I mean, it would have made those Evo finals actually exciting.
I
Did you?
definitely- I
Did anyone else?
definitely-
Did anyone else see the crowd reaction when fucking Leffen won?
No, I was,
but
bro. You
know
watched
what
it
it
on
is?
stream. I was there in the third row
The
of the
crowd
arena.
literally went mild.
You know what it is? Like people just
Mild,
don't like Leffen.
yeah.
Yeah, the crowd
They,
went mild.
they just
Yeah,
they
but
just
that's
do not
his
like Leffen.
fault. That's
Yeah,
his
I mean,
fault.
sure. I mean, but
He says a
I,
lot of-
I'm
he said
talking
a
about
lot
just
of
the crowd, though, right?
Dumb
Like,
shit.
I
over the
mean,
years.
I don't feel like, again, as somebody who was there in the arena, I definitely heard a
Oh,
lot of
mate.
shit that was OD and definitely not deserved or warranted. But I mean, it is what it is. I think a lot of it just comes from a reputation that he's built that doesn't really necessarily apply anymore. And
Nah,
I'm
yeah.
not saying he didn't do anything.
Yeah, that's
to
what
like,
I'm saying. He
to-
said a bunch of dumb stuff in the past, but people won't let go. You know.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I still be trying to fuck with the game, but every time I do, I'm just like, damn, bro, I hate myself. So you know,
All I'm saying
It's
is
one
the
of those
last
things-
50 seconds I've been having the time of my life playing neutral with Nitro right now.
Hell
You
yeah.
just got. It's one of those things you just take the game for what it is at face value type thing.
It's
Yeah,
so it's so hard to do for me,
I
man.
still do feel, at least personally, the heart of what made me fall in love with it is still there. In most respects, but I like
in some form, yeah.
There's no way that anyone can look at the game who's been here since I was playing since day one.
Right.
Be like,
I've
it's
been,
so
I've been
like,
here since the first closed beta. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Like it ain't what it used to be, but I still think there's something good to be found in where it is now.
Yeah, there's
It's just-
there's like
it's-
some light in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the end of that tunnel.
My
just
thing
gotta
is
get through
everyone
the
like
fucking
looks at
tunnel.
like party game as like negative connotation, but low key like
Party games are
going
supposed to
to
be
a
fun.
party and like playing some fighters would be kind of it. With
Exactly,
this fucking
it's supposed to
patch,
be
I'm not
fun.
gonna lie.
Nah, I did that once and I was the best player there and nobody wanted to play after like 2 games. So it's not as fun as it
Yeah, you
sounds.
gotta hide your power level.
That is also true. There's nobody to ever compete with.
Like I legitimately got the chance to do that once, and after I won my first 2 games, nobody wanted to play Dragon Ball anymore. So not as fun as it sounds.
Early on, that's how it was with you with the squad outside of me. Like
Bro, that's every time we get into some shit, bro. Cause like yeah, go on.
Everyone like you was just folding everyone or whatever. And then some people just did not like that. Me, I'm a masochist, so I enjoyed it. But like I remember everyone else was just like after some time they were just like, yeah, I'm good off this.
Yeah, I just
Damn, I see you, Zane.
Yeah, I gotta run. So I didn't want to interrupt, so I decided to do the outro and the raid on mute.
No,
very
you're all
nice.
good, homie. You're all good. But yeah, I think this is where I'm gonna take off, boys. I mean, y'all are free to stick in here and hang out if y'all want. I got some things I gotta go handle.
Wait, but who's streaming, dude? We got a dog pile them.
I told
Raid
you,
me, bro.
I'm
Just
sending
come raid
them.
me.
I'm sending them to my girl.
He's streaming.
Nitro's
Yeah,
on. Yeah,
he's raiding
Nitro's
his
on.
girl, but Nitro's live.
Oh, all right, Nitro. I'm gonna send the kids to you.
But all right,
comes the
fellas,
day.
I greatly appreciate all of y'all for
can watch
coming
me
through,
cook
man.
with
It
Hit
was
real quick.
it's been real. It's been a
hell
lot of
yeah.
fun, and I hope to
Never mind.
hear from a lot of you guys
Never
again
mind. Don't
soon.
look.
Appreciate
bro.
you having us.
Thanks for having
Lotus
us.
mixerization station.
Yeah,
Hold
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Always a
Thanks
pleasure
Thanks so much for having us.
talking, man.
We should definitely do this again later.
For sure, I'm gonna try to
Hopefully-
organize more
Hopefully
shit.
on better times.
Yeah.
Better terms.
Nah, for sure.
With maybe some better netcode.
Reconvene every month, dude.
Y'all boys be easy,
Every
though.
month
Same
is.
time
I
next
don't
week.
like. I don't like you guys that much.
Once a month update, just update. Freaking a month from now happens, and we're all just like, so how's everyone doing about the game right now? Oh, I'm playing something else now.
Well,
He's like one of us is on MK, the other one else is still on
Yeah,
Strive.
Someone went to Strive, someone went to Street Fighter, someone went to MK, some's going in.
It's probably gonna
someone's
get Multiverse back.
Yeah, Pred's going to Multiverse. A couple people are waiting on Tekken or Under Night in like 2
All of
months from
us
then.
graduating high
I
school.
will be on time.
Literally, you just the high school reunion just here.
Anyway, y'all boys be easy. I'm out, man.
Alright,
Have a good night, guys.
Take it easy.
Then, bro.
All right, I'm sending you guys over to Eunice, but Nitro's live. I think Pred is live. So if you guys want to hear them hang out for a bit longer, I'm sure a lot of them guys are also taking off, especially Sound and Wait because it's so late over there for them. But yeah, you guys can feel free to disperse. I'm dropping you guys off at Eunice's stream. I greatly appreciate if you show some love over there, drop some follows and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Don't be stupid. Asakura Kawaii emotes, please. Flutter chat with Asakura Kawaii. Yeah, I'm taking off. That was a lot of fun. I'm going to try to get some sort of video up for the night just because I haven't uploaded anything. As far as 2K goes, I deadass might come back after I upload a video to play 2K because I haven't played 2K yet. And y'all know the new joint just dropped. So appreciate y'all. Thank you for subbing. Oh, wait, no, let me run through notifications. Let me run through notifications real quick. I know a bunch of people already left, but before I forget. Noble Flame, thank you for the 33 months. Greatly appreciate it. Raptor with the 25. Good looks. Greatly appreciate you. Blessed Vibes. Thank you for the 35 months. Cupid the Gamer, thank you for the 23. Van with the 39, greatly appreciated. Yudi again, shout out for the raid. Night Road, thank you for the 43 months. Dark Ninja with the 27. Mount Fresh with the 26. Prey with the 36. Young Nemo with the 46. Schlump with the 33. Greatly appreciate all of you guys. Thank you for the subs, give subs, bids, follows, all that good shit. And now I'll be dropping you guys off at Eunice's stream. Like I said, if you guys could flood her chat with Asakura Kawaii emotes, I would greatly appreciate that. And I will see you guys, if not again later tonight for some 2K shit, then definitely tomorrow. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I hope I get to chop it up with all those guys again soon, man. Y'all be easy. Later.